and it's not just on the back of CM. I think their offlane player 33 stood out so well against his amazing teammates. Definitely one of their star players on the back of heroes like Visage. Visage has been absolutely instrumental for their and it's not just on the back of CM. I think their offlane player 33 stood
in our team, and he's irreplaceable. I love him.
There we are, Tundra talking about their coach Aoi, and Aoi, we've seen coaches this tournament be instrumental, but Aoi's, he's not been, he's a little bit quieter in terms of he hasn't spoken too much, but he seems like the brain of the tournament when it comes to wanting someone behind your team.
Yeah, he doesn't reveal way too much when Slacks is interviewing him, but when he talks to us, back 1 year ago when he was paneling with us, that man has a brain that's constantly on Dota. That's the only thing he thinks about. It's these small little intricacies that they just mentioned. He's going to make and force his players by branches, just so they have that extra efficiency. Or mangoes.
The mangoes, yeah. I feel like Aoi he has everything in terms of the toolkit, so you don't have to rely on other people. He can just literally do the in-game, the out-game. He's just like an all-rounded, just kind of a perfect coach, basically.
I like him too.
Yeah, thank you, Sheep. Yeah, and of course, they're going to be going against Team Secret. So Team Secret, if I would say Tundra are the brains, Team Secret, really the dedication. Puppy founded his team a very long time ago, and this is the first time, I believe, that he's got his team, Team Secret, into the grand finals. He won TI1, and 10 TIs later, he is here. But to tell us more about this specific tournament, this TI's road to the grand finals, it's going to be Tsunami.
You heard it from James. This has been a hell of a journey for Team Secret, and it's been going on for quite a while. Obviously, the organization was formed many, many years ago. Getting it to this grand finals, getting it to this year's grand finals has been a hell of a route. It all started at the beginning of Tour number 1. To qualify directly for TI, you had to get some DPC points. And to get into the DPC points, you got to do well in the leagues. Secret didn't do so well, and it wasn't even with this roster. Sumail and Ice Ice Ice, they bore that Secret jersey at the beginning of the year, got 5th place. Tour 2, keep the same roster, get 5th place. Tour 3 start mixing up a little bit. Unfortunately, Yapzor had to take a step down due to health reasons, and yet again, they get 5th place. You need 1,020 points to directly qualify for TI. Secret ended the year with 78. That means that they need to go to qualifiers. They go to the European qualifiers, they go to the Western European qualifiers. They go up against Entity. They get 2nd place. Yet again, they fall just barely short. Now they have to go through last chance qualifiers. Now they have to bring out a little bit of their own knowledge, a little bit of their own secret sauce. They bring out the Leshrac. Yes, obviously this hero has become a signature for all of TI-11, but it all started in the group stage, and Resolution has been using it to great effect. Yeah, take a bow. You've been doing good, not only for Secret, but for everyone else. Something that Secret especially have been very effective with is their flexibility, though. They've been bringing Dawnbreaker to a great deal of prominence throughout this tournament, and yet again, it seems that they are comfortable putting it in a variety of roles. You never really know where this hero is going to be. Offlane, carry. She's been doing work for Team Secret, and it's kind of hard not to expect that when you've played so many matches. Yes, because of this very, very long journey that Team Secret have had to go through, they have quite a litany of games under their belt. 45 games played throughout Last Chance Qualifier, and I guess that's around 3 hours ago. It has been a arduous task for Team Secret to wrap this up, but let's see if they're able to do it. You don't need to hear it from me, though. Let's hear how Team Secret themselves felt about their run.
I mean, the best moment obviously was beating PSG LGD in the upper bracket and then beating Thunder in the upper bracket again to solidify top 3. Mattered a lot because now I'm exactly in the same spot as I was in last TI, so that's pretty good.
It meant so much to me because I always come to TI, I always go to the upper bracket, and then I always lose the first game in the upper bracket, and I start all over again from the lower bracket. But this time, we won the first game. I was like, oh my god, this is the first time ever I won my first game in the upper bracket. It meant so much to me.
It does definitely feel like we're sneaking in this time. And I mean, sneaky last chance qualifier. You know, you see Team Liquid there also at the same time.
I think they helped us a lot, but I would say as well that it was super hard to be in those qualifiers because it's a mini TI, like 100% mini TI. Like you gotta go through some tough games. I don't really know the future, but so far I feel like we're in a pretty good state to take the whole thing. I don't know like what's gonna happen. Maybe we're gonna choke. Maybe we're gonna play our best Dota ever. But I feel it. I feel it.
Rezo feels it, and Puppy, it's amazed he's here, and the journey he's come on, really, with the sneaking in the last chance qualifiers, is this Team Secret's grand finals.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to say yes, but I feel like it should be. He won the first one.
Is that just because they put inspirational music on their video, but not on Tundra?
I can feel it. Yeah, they've actually kind of like brainwashed me. They brainwashed me. Yeah. But no, I feel like it would be so poetic if they can get
just
the
looked
first
Rezo in the eyes.
Yeah, I fell in love.
Sea blue eyes, and you fell in love. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah, you guys, come on, man. Tundra already beat them once. Come on, they can do it again. And I really like their approach to Dota. Like, I think they just have a pick your poison type style where you can't just, you can just try and ban 33, but then you have 9 and Skitter, and they just kind of cover each other so well with all of their different strats. And they kind of exposed some problems with Secret last series already in this third game where you have 33 who's reliably building this Wraith Pact every game, and Rezo doesn't because he's trying to play as a core. You have a Puppy trying to build it himself like 30 minutes into the game. It's, they have 2 different styles coming into this. It is just whose ideas are better.
That's right. Like on the offlane, you have a carry player being the offlaner, and then you have that.
Is it? We're ready. The grand finals are coming your way. Let's introduce our first team. It's going to be Team Secret. Led Puppy finally making it to the grand finals, joined by Chrysalis, Nisha, Resolution, and Zayats, getting ready to sit down to play their best of 5 and their opponents, Tundra Esports. The undefeated so far of this international, Skitter 933, Satsa, and Snaking, joined by Coach Aoi. This team have only dropped 1 map, and they dropped it to their opponents that will be facing in the grand finals, Team Secret. One of these teams will go down in history, their names added to the Aegis. This match, who knows what it has in store, but let's hear from the teams, because we actually got Secret to talk about their undefeated opponents, Tundra.
I think Tundra overall have 5 skilled players, and they are a bunch of, I call them cheaters, you know? They're just a bunch of cheaters. They got some cheaty strats, you know? 33 is just gonna come up with some stuff, and you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, yep, that's cheating. That's just cheating.
They have 2 guys, basically like 9 and 33. They're like kind of unique in a way that what heroes they're playing. Like 9 is playing some Spirit Breaker mid lane.
Tundra using a lot of Zoo heroes for Search 3, because that heroes kinda cheesy, because if he plays it and you not counter well, you're gonna lose like in 20 minutes.
In my opinion, in my head, Tundra is still the best team to beat. On top of the fact that they're 5 skilled players, they just kind of like manipulate the game a lot. And that's what Dota really is about. It's about breaking the game. And they do it pretty well.
Manipulating the game, Tundra have been doing that all the way through this tournament. And last time they played Secret, every time they got that big team fight, that 1 win sheep, they just held control, Tundra. It was so hard for Secret to really kind of just push back against them.
It's because they're so good at micro and just abusing the map to its fullest. You take any half of the enemy's map and you're cutting waves. You know, you saw they lost a team fight and 33's just using his courier to drag a creep wave down the river to keep it away from their towers. Like, these guys are just abusing this so hard, and you can't ban all of them.
And you're speaking of micro and all these cheesy heroes from 33, Pup even calling them kind of cheaters. But that's not what I saw, like, in the last series that they've played. Tundra outplayed them hard. They got into Team Spirit's head.
Yeah, Tundra's kind of morphed themselves into this hyper-defensive team where they wait until they know the best timing they can play on, and then when they hit that timing, they cross the river, they occupy the map, and they choke out their opponents. Like this series, it's Secret having to come in with the adaptations, with the understanding of Tundra. Like Tundra, they don't need to change anything.
Yeah, it's a really good point, because Secret have been adapting though. Last time these 2 teams played, they picked up the Silencer, which they had success with, and that was their counter to Tundra's team fight. When Tundra wanted to go in, the Silencer bought enough time. Last series, Secret beat out Liquid, and they pick up the Earthshaker. This is a great counter initiator, also with the Beastmaster that had Raw, and they really allowed their carries to shine. Admittedly, we saw Puppy on the crazy
the carry
Ench, but that felt like it was an evolved Secret. It felt like I feel like this time they've got more in their arsenal to come up against
Definitely.
Tundra.
It did look like they prepared for Liquid. What were Liquid good at? They were good at kind of losing the mid game, but then clutching it at the end. Like the way Secret drafted as well, Morph and Sniper, they went late. They got that Shaker that you were speaking of. Like they got that Shaker to secure those late game team fights. But honestly, Puppy is angry. Like he picked that Ench first phase Enchanters, 0 heals, leveled stats, just carried the game.
Yeah, but it's the fact that we're talking about adaptation, but for Secret, it's not about finding new heroes. It's about going back to the heroes that they have had incredible careers on. You know, like with Puppy and Enchantress, he's got 148 games, 66% win rate in his entire career. And then you go to Nisha as well. He's in like top 5 morph players in the world for quantity of games, 78% win rate. Like you just, in these moments where you're at TI, you don't try and find new. You go back to the old that has found success. And I'm expecting to see these heroes pop up again in this grand finals.
Yeah, we've seen like Crystalis as Monkey King as well coming
Yeah.
up again. Like I think he's a great story of someone who people, doubted throughout the qualifiers. I think even his old teammate Fishman said it felt like Secret didn't believe in him, but now it does. It feels like that. It feels like you can see it in his play. You can see it in the drafting. Like they'll pick Rezo early and he'll clutch it all out, and you have these later picks for Crystalis, and he is really showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, Crystalis is showing up, but you've got to think about Tundra esports carry as well. Skidder, in his interview, he just said, this TI just feels right. And people have considered him just to be probably the best performing carry here. Obviously, they're in the grand final, so certainly, that there's some proof to that. But what about Skitter?
If you know Skitter, and if you go all the way back to like some small European tournaments, like these heroes that are in the meta right now, that are being played on TI, these are all his comfort heroes. I go back to their series versus Aster. They win against Stark, then they pick it up themselves, and he goes like ultra kill godlike on it. Like all of the heroes like Slark, CK, Lifestealer, they fully fall into his comfort zone.
The fact that you talk about Skidder being comfortable and like he thinks he's gonna just be good in this TI, like that, getting a carry play in that mindset, having that confidence, and going, yeah, it just feels right. That's so scary for him. That's probably why they're also finding success, because they talk about the mental game in their pre-interview. The fact that they're in this good mind space and then they're undefeated. Oh, that is so scary.
I mean, if you're going to beat someone in the grand finals, you need to be mentally there to be able to push your heroes to the limit with your team. And we did see that from Secret when they were chasing down Liquid in the final moments to close out round 3. So I think Secret are probably going to be, on a high after that win coming into this. But Tundra should be feeling, I would say, confident. They did beat Secret earlier on.
Calm and collected. That's how I describe it.
And that's really the team.
It's big for them. It's massive for them. AUI himself was saying that it was the mental game in Arlington that caused their loss, and they got psychologists now. They're looking good.
And looking at the mid players as well, one of the things about momentum is Nine playing mid. Like, how would we describe Nine's play style? Nine, the mid for Tundra Esports, he seems to move a lot. He gets involved. Am I wrong? This
No,
is what
you're
I'm
right.
seeing.
You were super right.
He's like an ultimate playmaker at the moment that comes with a ton of flair. I feel like that kind of mid laner is what you need to win the TI. Like you need a maniac on the mid lane, like playing his tasks, just doing crazy stuff. I go back again to Topson, to Monkey King Pagna mid lane, like just innovating, doing new stuff. That's what you need from your mid. Like you need to get in their heads, like you need to pick Tusk first phase, and then they're thinking, oh, is this Tusk mid? Is it position 4? What's gonna happen?
And then they just throw it on mid, and it's like Nine getting in your head.
And he's getting like 20
But
kills.
can you kind of stop Nisha though? Can you get into Nisha's head? Nisha, the mid lane for Secret. I mean, this guy, he seems so calm and collected, and he's got Puppy next to him.
Did you see the Morphling game earlier in game 1 against Liquid? Him just like taking over the tough, snowballing into high ground, going for high ground, pike, waveforming in, piking out. Like, yeah, Nisha right now, if he plays like he did in that first series, he is.
Wait. You say right now, like in the first series, Sheep. When's the last time you saw Nisha underperform?
Never.
Go back through your calendar, yeah.
I mean, Nisha is amazing, and so is Nine. I really respect Nine's thoughts on Dota. Like, he loves mid because he loves controlling the pace, he loves controlling the map, he likes having access to side lanes and making stuff happen. Like, Skidder was saying that him and Snaking are just like, Nine talks about his teammates and say how they're biggest nerds, and they all just love talking about Dota. Like, they just all bring so much to the table, like 33 bringing a lot of micro information, helping with item skill builds. It feels like everyone has something that helps each other, and you bring that to Nine on his mid, and he's just able to like make everyone's like strengths shine.
The thorn in the side of some of these players, though, were often the soft support. Zayats was killing it in his last game on the Earthshaker.
But he's also bringing the energy, and that's the key thing. When we see these little player shots going right now, Secret, they're the ones like
That's
Resolution. Zayat's right there on camera. Like Rezo, he's joining in with the crowd. He's like doing the wave. Zayat's during the game, he's standing up. He's hitting a fidget. He's like air punching to the enemy team. Like this team is energy. Tundra, on the other hand, calm. Like literally, they win a fight. You hear the team cons of the true sight thing. Nice.
Just like Aoi
Nice.
said it would go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, Master Aoi. Thank you. We shall win this for you. Like they are just. It's polar opposites in energy between these two teams right now.
Yeah, if you're Tundra though, you don't need energy. You're winning every single game. Like,
Hey, they lost the map.
stay cool, stay calm,
Exactly.
all
Look at
according to
them.
plan. Yeah.
God,
Of
they're
course, this
so
will be a best of 5, and this will push them to their limits. Do you think they can have the stamina? Because they've played a lot less games than Secret.
Game
So
of
these
games,
Secret-
come on.
You've been here before, this time in a bit of a different capacity. What do you have to say about these two teams, the roads that they've been on, and what you're expecting to see today in these drafts?
The best Dota you can get all year. This is going to be absolutely amazing. You know, as a Dota fan, I couldn't be
Let's just get the 5 games.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I mean, the first bands went away, like they went straight ahead with the Doom and the Brood that they did.
Yep.
Also,
Nisha has been incredible on the hero. Rezo has been also doing, you know, great games on it. So yeah, very, very big statement already from Tundra. It's like we're ready to break your best hero.
it's going really fast already. I really hope that it slows down a bit for the second
5
bands,
seconds
because I
remaining.
wanted to mention Neta's hero is in first phase this time around. Quite often they end up with a Visage or a Doom or whatever they can get their hands on. I thought that yesterday in the third game they should have banned the Enigma second phase. They ended up not, and I think now they beat their Visage. If they ban the Enigma and kind of coerce them into the Visage pick again and have a strong idea, beat it one more time, I think they can set themselves up for like an advantage for the rest of the series.
Seems like a pretty solid approach that a lot of teams have been taking, right? Try to limit 33 if he's not opened up with, as we see, the Doom, the Brood, try to force him into something that's less comfortable.
I think you go through with this path, you know, and if you're going to go against the Enigma one more time, I really hope you got the right answer. Because it seems to be one of the strongest heroes, like first item, Wraith Pack kind of hero in this meta.
I'm glad you brought it up too, because I think Pano was also mentioning there is a different dynamic between both teams, right? Rezo never really buys the Wraith Pact for the most part for this team, while for Tundra, 33 tends to be like taking a step back more, being that support offlaner. So it's a really interesting dynamic they do have between both teams.
Yeah,
also,
yeah, they have two very different styles. These two teams, like these are really two different styles of Dota that are going to be clashing. Secret is very much about, you know, the lanes and the momentum. They also enjoy to scale, whereas Tundra, I would say, is a style that utilizes the map much more.
And the early game. Like, Tundra has almost been winning every single early game that they go into. I mean, statistically, they just seem to have this snowball effect, also related to the Wraith Pack. But yeah, they get a lead early on, the map starts closing in. There's a few, I guess, cases where it hasn't happened, but I think right now I'm quite happy for what Secret got and what the position that they're in.
There are a few things to mention. Obviously, in the grand finals and in the best of 5, you know, side and pick priority matters a lot. Second pick has been king so far. Every team, I think, left in this tournament, like the top 4 were favoring second pick. Tundra and Secret are both also favoring second pick. Tundra got priority for this game, and they went ahead and picked second pick. It's very classic when you're in a second pick situation to try to pick open heroes. And in Tundra's case, it is. Saksa can play the Mirana, so does Snake King. I think 9 even played it one game. The Tuskar can obviously be put on support position as well as mid, so they're keeping it open and they're looking to really try to counterpick Secret as much as they can in the second phase.
I think they're looking to match the Tusk with the Leshrac mid in case they get the notion, but we've seen Resolution also play a very mean Leshrac this tournament.
Mid players have investigated the Mirana versus Leshrac also matchup, so I don't know if it's something we could see.
Probably something, yeah.
We could see that too.
We haven't seen this one too much, but it's a Saksa specialty, right?
That has to be a Saksa hero. So yeah, I mean, everything is pretty still flex for Tundra, minus the Hoodwing.
Quite like the concept, at least, versus Lesh, because the biggest problem about this hero is just knocking him down, right? Not letting him use that Bloodstone to effect to just heal up. Hoodwink with the shard and everything too, you amplify damage that everyone else is doing. You have the high burst from Sharpshooter. It's an interesting concept that could
They also have this very long range high nuke. Oh, there we go. Secret go for the Enigma. I'm actually very happy to see that.
I think this could also be a support Enigma. I've seen Poppy play that Enigma himself. I mean, he's been very famous for his Enigma over the years, but he actually brought it back to his own kind of playbook very recently. Obviously, it could very well be an offlane hero and Rezo's hero. That's probably the most likely, but we'll see what Secret goes with that.
Yeah, really interesting. Because that also could probably be the Wraith Pact carrier as well too for Secret, so maybe now they're starting to switch their dynamic a little bit to match Tundra.
Definitely, and Yeah, I think this is one of the few drafts where 33 has been really set up for success. Usually they kind of throw him under the bus. I mean, you know, when it's 33, it's not really throwing him under the bus. He strives under, you know, with any hero in any situation. But right now he's gonna get a late pick, you know, either 18th pick, like after this sequence from Secret, or actually the ultimate last pick maybe for Tundra. So, you know, we're looking to see 33 in a very favorable situation, which is always scary to play against.
7 out of 9 games where his hero got first phase.
Yeah.
He gets a delicious second phase. I'm curious to see what is going to be.
Beast is out, Brood is out.
Visage
Doom.
is still in, but last time he picked Visage, they lost.
He's played a lot of Tide also with a lot of success. It could be a hero he looks at. We'll see. I mean, he could also be quite innovative and, you know, do something we haven't seen him do yet.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, likely heroes are starting to get locked. Like Nisha's most likely the Lash, Enigma.
So one of the trends we've seen this tournament, obviously this Lash Shark has been dominating, and one of the answers to this Lash Shark has been a heavy amount of physical damage. It's something that punishes the Bloodstone, you know, when he kind of dies through the tag team or the Slaughter. We've seen the Snipers, the Linas, and then we've also seen, as an answer to that, the Liches and the Sven with the Shard or Lich Frost Shield, kind of helping the Lash Shark fight through. In that case, you know, Tusk counters Lash, but Lich helps Lash play against us. And we're going for the Naga.
Ooh.
I think one of the stronger strats that I've seen come out of Tundra, and also in the meta, to get the classic Naga Mirana, but it's also this very long range, kind of hard to get heroes together, so it can be a real pain to
10 seconds
be an Enigma or to even be a Lash Shark in these type of games.
And it seems to be Tundra's style that you guys were mentioning also too, so it's just opening up the map, right? That's what this hero always allows you. It lets you pick and choose your battles when you want to. When you're playing versus something like high cooldown like Enigma, you can tend to thrive.
If you want to visualize how this game might play out, you know, for Secret, think about Tundra, first of all, is one of the teams that utilizes nighttime the best, I think. You know, they respect very much the 2 sequences in Dota that is daytime and the reduced nighttime vision. So they usually go on the offensive on nighttime, which is actually a key factor on how they dominate their games. Think about nighttime, playing versus Naga Illusions, scouting your heroes, Moonlight Shadow, you do not see heroes, and then you have this Tusk Hoodwink, bottom kind of high bursty heroes that can just pop a Lash Shark, pop an Enigma right away. That's the kind of pressure, in and out pressure that Tundra really excels at in teamfights, and Naga fits that style perfectly. All their heroes are really designed to do so.
Yeah, so we see a lot of interesting things going on. They banned Nakes themselves. Last time Secret played against Naga, they actually ended up having the Nake. Nakes now, I mean, every light still works in Illusion.
The open wounds with the Lash Shark.
And now they banned the Morphling to protect the Naga pick. They were already planning it, and now they're also banning Bloodseeker, which is something that they also played freely. I want to say, I'm not sure. But there was a Morphling game here, and Bloodseeker the same thing. You can also end up becoming this lifesteal bot where the illusion poke stops mattering. But yeah, I wonder what Crusades is going to go for. I don't think it's an easy choice for him.
No, they've targeted him a lot, right? We've seen throughout all DPC, people that kind of made the jokes for him, especially him himself. He's like, yeah, I have my 3 big heroes, right? A lot of them
he proved all the hate wrong. Like,
Absolutely.
honestly, that's why he's here.
They really have to think about and try to guess what 33 is going to be looking at also, and try to kind of...
They don't even care the Visage. Look at that. I think that's a big statement also coming into game number 1. You know, you have a chance to make him maybe feel uncomfortable, but instead you're going for what you think is the right pick for them.
Not sure how much I would like Visage for Tundra anyways as the last pick.
I mean, probably not the strat with Naga, I would say. I don't think at all that's what he would should go for. It could be the Tide,
I think they have to respect the Tide, and most likely will try to pre-pick for the Tide Hunter.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Tide is also what he would be looking at. I also think Bat Rider is a really strong hero with this kind of strategy. I don't know if it works. It has some value, you know, with the heroes that you have, but even against the Lash and the Lich, you can get like some high magical damage scaling meta hero, but I don't think he's played a single Bat Rider game.
Maybe not this tournament, but it's definitely one of his very strong heroes, so it would not be a surprise.
Seen a couple teams even try like the Brewmaster versus the Lash, right, where you just lift him, ignore him. A lot of situations too. Is left in the pool.
You also get a dispel. You get a dispel for the Frost Shield.
Yep.
Okay.
It could be a great brew pick, by the way, and it's a very big 33 heroes.
Yeah.
33 hero, by the way. I think it's a great suggestion.
When I see like the Drow as well too, we saw, even though the game was kind of back and forth, you saw that long duration silence in a lot of fights just devastate him too, so.
I do think it's a little anti-synergy with the Naga quite often. It doesn't really mesh super well. But of course, I mean, I respect, I'm the biggest Brew fan on this panel. I don't care what you guys say. Brew for life. I would pick Brew every day.
It's a great
every
hero.
game.
Same, but not really. Yeah, but I don't know, if I could play it, then, you know.
Let's see, I mean, they have very little time to work with. And Crystallis. Yeah. I mean, he's played some Ursa and
Ursa this game.
No, probably not, right? But out of the heroes that he's been looking at, I mean,
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard for him to choose.
He's played Ursa and Dawnbreaker that I can think of this tournament.
Dawn is still
that aren't banned. So,
The Dawn was nice when they played it. That is an illusion. That's an illusion killer too.
Nice. Yeah, and the Flesh Sheep now also working against small instances of damage.
it's a good matchup. I mean, I think it scales pretty nicely into a Naga.
It's also the hook versus the sleep. It has a lot of value. I mean, even now you can even hook through sleep. They changed that, so you can hook your allies out, you can hook the enemy. Yeah, and this Naga cannot sleep TP with the early levels of sleep. You need, I think it's level 3 sleep to get full max range.
And this Pudge with Frost Shield, he's going to be really hard to take down.
It's a nice frontliner, nice like distraction as well for the Lesh to kind of do his own thing. The Pudge can kind of force spells onto him and then protect the Lesh. That's
Do you think this is Crystallis calling, or do you think this is like the team and he providing also good suggestions? Because I didn't even think of, Pudge coming in here. I had forgotten.
I think a lot of people, it has kind of started getting forgotten in a way, right? But because Lifestealer was so prominent, people have started to learn how to like play versus it. But
hey, isn't this Lich Pudge against the Tidehunter?
But I think he looks a lot of the Tide bottom, chain stun, with the sleep. It's like they're going for their bread and butter strat. And obviously, I do feel like Secret covered very nice angles. Both teams really got drafts they must be super happy about, and that's the first game. So it's very exciting.
Who would you rather be?
Hard to say. I think Tundra, their strategy is very strong. I'd put Secret on the back foot, even though I really like what they went for.
So I believe that this is just too good of a Lesh game. I think Lesh is going to pace on them, and I think it's going to force them into these early fights. And with the early game that I see Secret having, I would have to go with Secret draft to draft, even though I'm also the biggest Naga lover on this panel. Like, I think Naga is an incredible hero. I think if it goes past a certain point, I think Naga is going to start being too much of an issue. But I think Secret's going to roll on them.
Foggia, yourself, I mean, that first pick sort of still standing strong as these two sort of said. And Nisha, he's sort of been the one to stand out and kind of single-handedly carry Secret through some of the tougher games. Is this going to be another one of them, or do you think Tundra do have the methods to deal with this Lesh?
I'm with my boy Johan, I think this time. I like the Lesh Pudge versus the Illusion strat. I think it's going to be pretty hard for Skeeter, but maybe 9. His Tusk has been miraculous in some games, so eyes on him.
I hope this game doesn't go on for Secret's case. If not, I think we're going to see another repeat of yesterday's game. Long game, Naga doing his thing. Slowly, people start getting picked off. You get forced into your base. Yeah, I mean, Secret, they're going to have to bring the same early game that they did yesterday and keep the ball rolling.
Sure, and Seb, do you sort of also agree in sort of that timing sense that if this does go on, Tundra as a squad, and especially with the lineup that they have here, it's going to be tough for Secret as the minutes pass?
I've seen Tundra's first map this tournament, and ever since I can't stop thinking about them. I've watched all their replays. I think the way they play Dota is absolutely wonderful, and in my opinion, steps ahead of other teams. So, I can't not put them favorites, whatever they're gonna play actually. So I really want Secret to challenge them.
Yeah, and sort of just in terms of overall feel as well. You're coming into this game 1 of the grand finals on the main stage. Who's got the easier to execute lineup?
Easier? I mean, I think it's Secret.
Yeah.
I would say it's Secret. Like, I think Tundra have to dodge bullets. Like, they have to dodge the Tide lane. They have to dodge, like, the snowball from to get momentum. Yeah. I mean, my gut is telling me Clement wants to break the curse. He is not here for second place. He's here to win.
Okay, well, thank you very much, boys. Looking forward to having you join us for Game 2 draft. But for now, just before the game, we're going to be able to head over to Slacks and hear from the coach.
You look ravaged.
My keyboard is not working.
the action. We've got a very little special video here from Resolution, a bit of a pep talk before this game begins. Let's hear what he had to say. There we go, some fantastic words there from Rezo. Nice. Smiles all around as well, very much ready for the game. We'll see how ready he is though, because Tundra, they're going to find him here for this first bit of action. Trapped out by the shots, or maybe not, no, we can't quite get around. Doesn't matter, they're fine. He's going to get hooked underneath the tower. Chris is just the other, but Saxa was the first to get that first kill. Gets first blood for Saxa, but in return, Nisha will be able to pick up the kill onto 9 there off the back of that excellent hook for Crystallis.
Trade, but Nisha, as you mentioned, he gets the kill, so we'll get that earlier bottle for the matchup mid. And yeah, let's look at all these lanes, how they're going to be broken down, right? We've got the snaking. He's been playing this Mirana time and time again throughout this tournament. 4 branches, strong laning items, and we've got this, this 33 tied with Saxa on his Hoodwink. Something they haven't played too much as of late, but they used to play it a lot. Get a hook onto the Tide, he'll be just fine. And yeah, lots of physical damage coming out from this bottom lane. Something that I think can be sometimes deceptive.
Well, I mean, look at that. Nisha's kind of interested in getting involved in a bit of a chase there. Ooh. But won't continue to mention away from the middle lane, or just be left to Crystallis and Puppey to chase 33 down a little bit. Crystallis, of course, having to be careful himself. We'll see them settle here into the laning stage. And, you know, we've got to sort of talk about as well comments there from Aoi before the game. Do you sort of like that approach? Game 1 of the grand finals, you leave the OP hero in just to see if you can deal with it. You've got many games to recover if it doesn't go great.
You know, it's something that people always talk about with Puppey, right? What he does, he gives the team their heroes. If he beats it, then it's like, oh my god, you know, you kind of break a team strategy. So I think it's a really cool approach. And just looking at these lanes now, we have the Lich Pudge versus the Tide versus Hoodwink. Both of the bottom heroes on Secret starting with bringing up protections to deal with that physical damage, to try to tank up, because sometimes, like we were mentioning, it can be a bit deceptive.
Let's have a look at some of these lanes. I mean, overall, who do you have the biggest concerns for? Anybody going to have a specifically tough time in these early minutes?
I'm looking at bottom, to be honest with you. I mean, it depends on how much damage they're able to do with this, like, Gush plus this Acorn shot, but it's a lot of magical burst that could sometimes trip up a Tide, so see if 33 is able to hold up with it. They are pretty limited on regen also, but it tends to be, you know, the Tundra approach, not having too many tangos. They like their mangoes a lot.
And this mid lane matchup in particular, you know, of course, 9, one of the fantastic mid players to just continue to bring these heroes in that nobody else will really consider playing mid. Here he is, of course, bringing out the Tusk once again on game 1 of the grand finals. Up against the Nisha Leshrak, though. Yeah, you've got to imagine on paper, this is not going to be too easy for the Tusk, right? He's got to be careful against Nisha.
I think just because of that kill that Nisha gets, you know, the bottle coming out so early. Otherwise, I've seen this Tusk actually do pretty decent in a lot of these matchups versus range. But yeah, I think Nisha, he's going to have a blast.
If Crystallis is going to be okay here. Spells on cooldown from Saxa and 33, so no further chase, but fair bit of a harass, keeping Crystallis pressured underneath the tower.
It starts to get easier for Secret once they get the Frost Shield levels, which they now do have, so a lot of that physical damage resistance for Crystallis. But as we've seen so many times, Tundra, this offlane, these two, they're special together. There's something about them. They even lane matchups you think they can't win, they sometimes end up just doing some type of crazy lane shenanigans and coming out ahead of it. So let's see how they do adapt.
I mean, what are some of the things that they do so well that kind of means that they, you know, countless times they are the duo that's just winning out in this lane?
It just feels like they always know how to trade a little bit better. Either they either trade or they just do these constant lane pulls shenanigans with Saxa, just re-manipulating where the lane positioning is. So it's just a Tundra specialty. We're seeing top also starting to have a bit of struggle as tends to happen versus these Enigmas. The Eidolon's building up. Crystallis.
I mean, that bottom lane really, it's
the lane
very
to
much,
watch.
it's a case of, you know, how much do Tundra try and push for that kill on the Pudge? Yeah, before Crystallis is suddenly getting buffed up and able to turn around. You know, Saxa in particular has to be very, very careful how close he gets to the Pudge. On the top lane so far, any sort of surprises here?
No, not so much. I mean, the Eidolon spam, you know, it continues to happen whenever you are playing those carries. It's going to be affecting you a little bit. But Skeeter, he's holding his own, him and Snaking. They have kill threat constantly, too. The early point in net with that arrow combo. Something to look out for, especially on Zayats. Rezo, he's always got those Eidolons, so they have a lot of ways to protect and block arrow combos and stuff like that with the summons.
Yeah, and all in all, in terms of the how good the game is for the Enigma, you know, how good is it for Rezo? Is it going to be easy for him to have impact with the Black Hole, or is this going to be one of those games where it's kind of everything else about the hero that's going to have its strengths?
It feels like that tends to be the story for the Enigma a lot of times. But if you look at his items that he's got queued up, you know, we did mention the Wraith Pack comparison to the team. He's going to go for the Black Hole plays and just play around his Malefice and stuns from a distance.
Absolutely, I think something that we're all going to be very, very happy to see.
Yeah.
None of this sort of Wraith Pack rubbish. You know, we want the action, we want the Black Holes.
Hey, if you look at the way the lineups can go at some point, there is going to be that lack of BKB disable, of course, for the Enigma. Sure, they're going to be able to sleep and reset and do these kind of fights that we see Tundra do a lot of times. We see a lot of teams do with Naga Siren, but could get to some points where you have to take these fights.
Oh, he lands it! Lovely little angle there. They've got the blast as well to slow Saxa down, but because the creeps are pushed in, tower hits will be tanked up by the wave, so Saxa are able to walk out. But Crystal's definitely showing so far. I don't think he's missed a hook, really. Every single one of them on point, so gotta watch out for those down the road.
But 33 is free farming, so that lane that we were taking a look at, they've actually been able to solidify for this Tidehunter pretty nicely with Saxa's harassment. And Chris is just staying kind of low, which is a bit scary. He could constantly be getting gone on.
I love that health coming out to him, so likely to consistently in a position where his health's a bit higher. Saxa will find himself on top of Chrysalis. They're trying to get aggressive on towards the punch. Saxa has the stick charges at the ready. Chrysalis, he's going to get the kill before he goes down. So they push for the kill there on the carry. I imagine something that Tundra's going to be pretty happy with. Saxa goes down, but all according to plan, I'd imagine there for Tundra, taking down Chrysalis.
Yeah, they just have, like we said, there's just such an interesting approach to the way they do it. Even the Blades of Attack being picked up early on 33, not going for any tanky items. This is a fighting build. Phase boots right away, trying to benefit off that Blightstone, any type of minus armor they can put onto this Pudge. And it worked.
Yep, and this is sort of the classic def you see at this sort of moment from supports in that bottom lane. Me and Saxa can get over to mid, get the bottle top back up. Voila. Definitely the sort of trades that your secret, you're not going to want to allow Tundra to get against you anymore in this laning stage. Be a bit more careful on when they make the calls to commit for kills.
Top, not enough to chase. Catch on bottom though. Constant aggression on these side lanes.
Once again, Chrysalis trying his best to trade, but especially when it's 33 that's the one on top of him, not at the point where Pudge just has enough damage to kind of bring down the tide. Tide's able to threaten them. Back up in the top jungle, Zayat's and Snaking.
Snaking might be able to get
one-on-one.
this.
Same time in the mid, Nisha has got a decent amount of mana to try and run down 9. Stick charges are there though, 9 far enough under the tower to survive, but back in the jungle, Snaking will win the battle of the supports.
Yeah, we see that stat build for Snaking really working. Nisha
very low around this mid lane.
There's a punch.
Saxa's coming to try and help out with the setup. He's got a bit of a bottle charge and a fairy fire. It's not enough to keep him alive though. 9 and Saxa take him down. Saxa coming out with some top moves already from the intentional death bottom, helping out the mid, and once again being around that mid lane, around these power runes to get that extra bit of power that 9 needs to get a kill.
And now look at bottom. That physical damage, Chrysalis. It's too much.
Bushwhack. I mean, Saxa. He's in every single bit of place that they need him to be, and it's a big hit, of course, with that 3 points and anchor smash and the blaze of attack on top of the face, but that's a hefty right click coming out from 33 off the back of the anchor smash, and I mean, this Hoodwink is looking kind of spooky, Fog. He's all over the place, and he's making big moves.
And it's into, like, Secret, they did the preparation, right? They had to bring a protection to kind of try to protect versus physical. They had the Frost Shield, but it's not enough. This build, 33, going for that Wraith Pact, more than likely rushing it. He's going to be able to keep his sustain down there, too.
Top lane. An excellent angle there for Snaking, sneaking around through the trees, catches Rezo by surprise. Wow. Tundra getting kills up and down the map right now. The Eidolon's not quite enough to finish Snaking off. Maybe they can still find him in the jungle. They can, and just off to the side of the lane. They will be able to take him down in return. But very much we're seeing sort of the supports from Tundra really just enabling the cause already in this early laning stage, getting them that extra bit of a bonus off the back of these kills. 6-3, 1k lead at the moment for Tundra.
Really clever moves. Really clever positioning as well, too. And we're probably going to see more of these rotations, 15 seconds until we do have that power rune coming out. So eyes on Saxa, see if he does make the rotation. Even filling up again for 9, so I want him to be as fight ready as possible. 3 heroes collapsing on both sides.
Trying to get the chance to trap him in there with the shards. Won't quite find it. We'll see 8-minute power in where it's going to be. It's going to be top, and Secret this time they'll be able to hold on to it. Nisha able to grab it. Snowball coming out the way of Zayat. It's only going to set up for the stun for Nisha. He's ready to run down 9. 9 has got the help for Saxa. Saxa with a bushwhack holds them back, but they'll still be able to run down 9. At this time, Secret, they'll bring in the extra firepower required around this mid lane. They're going to make sure that this time round, Nisha, he's not left alone.
There's just so much burst damage from both sides. We're going to be seeing heroes just getting popped left left and right. But after the start of the laning phase, it's looking really nice for Tundra. Even though they were up against some of these could be tougher lanes, they've done excellent versus him. The Naga Siren farming perfectly fine versus the Enigma. Even getting that early kill is a big deal. So Secret, they want to start getting a little more active.
Yeah, early little smoke here from Nisha. Looking to join Zayat and Rezo up top around this point where level 6 is on 9 for the Enigma. He's got Black Hole if he finds the chance to turn and use it. Nina's going to try to go for him, but Rezo, he's ready. The 6 is there. Black Hole comes out onto the two of them. Zayat and Nisha, they're in with the cleanup. Tundra, they try and make that play.
And another one.
Now Saxon's got to be careful getting himself back into the trees, back behind the tower, but Zayat, he's still sweeping around. They may still find him. See how much they want to try and search. It's going to be difficult to find him. He's pretty deep, but Nisha, very resilient, continues to go further and further into the trees. They'll catch him as well. 3 dead on the top lane. Tundra that wants to start that play onto Resolution. It was a big risk to Tech. They were really banking on the fact that he was on his own, but he wasn't. The smoke from mid, Secret, they catch them by surprise.
Beautiful read, really. After these last few moments, Tundra getting all these moves that are working for them. Secret, they strike back. Tundra, and also, I mean, they made this move. It's not the squishiest of heroes on the Enigma. With just these two on Tundra, they need a little bit more burst, so do have to be careful. Now he gets tower. Gonna be really early blink going.
Yeah, early tower will definitely help fuel that purchase. Already pre-10 minutes and hitting these sort of objective timings. This top lane now, would you imagine if you're Tundra, how do you sort of start to slow down Secret speed of getting control of this half of the map?
It's not going to be easy. They might have to just start making moves elsewhere. Maybe use the illusion just to scout things out, but it's not going to be easy for them to really just contest up versus Rezo now at this point. After dying once, it kind of dissuades you from really going up there until you do have, like, Sox having level 6 to have that extra bit of burst damage to follow up with the Tusk. Might look to start playing around 33, I'd imagine. He's the one who's having that incredible game. I believe he has the Vlad's finished, so maybe looking to start pressuring this tower down here.
Of course, he has that Ravage good to go if he sees a chance to set up for a kill on Crystallis to get some extra help. They get the toss back onto Snake King. Doesn't stand a chance against the amount of damage they've got. Back down bottom, has to hold back Crystallis.
It's got the Vanguard.
A bit hard to commit.
They try to glyph for it, but does get the hook onto that siege.
They're bringing in a third hero. 9 is around. With 9 diving in.
Secret's full rotating now.
And Tundra, you know, they sort of learned from the mistake up top. Yeah. They don't want to try and push for these kills too much. They know that Secret at the moment, they are on full responsive mode.
It's a pretty devastating lineup to try to commit into these kills too. And as we saw, that Black Hole, also Chain Frost for the Lich. It can just turn any type of these tides.
Being much more careful now. See in terms of position from the Tundra, they'll leave to that top lane here for the Mirana.
Start jungling up, Skeeter's scouting out with his illusions as well. They're going to constantly get cleaned up though, seeing Zayats do that a few times.
Middle tower is under attack.
See if they're able to just continue to enable space for Skeeter to keep up on the Naga Siren. So far so good, of course, has a solid 1,000 gold lead against Crystallis, carrying here for Secret on the other side.
Things are close, so as Noto and Seb were saying, you know, the pace of the game for Secret, they probably want to accelerate things a little bit more. Tundra, whenever there's these low periods, they're pretty happy. They're not getting pressured.
We're going to see if they can take down Crystallis here with the 3 of them. See what sort of help he gets this time round. It doesn't look like there'll be enough to save him as Tundra. They'll get the kill. They strike again when they know that it's still at this point where Secret, they've probably not got the TPs back up. They just don't have the methods to respond when Tundra time their aggressive moves like that.
This Hoodwink seems to just be the specialty, right? This burst damage and getting that 6 now.
Fortification in place.
Should be able to set up for this tower, finish it up. They still have Ravage too, so the threat. Secret, look like they're going to play on other sides of the map. Nisha going to start hitting mid. He pretty much has the Bloodstone done.
Top net worth. Nisha.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's had many of these games where he's been at the top.
And he'll have this,
the whole match.
He'll have this Bloodstone a bit before the Wraith Pact is going to come out too. So we've seen a couple times Tundra, they've counteracted this Bloodstone a lot because you just prevent how much damage it does, so you prevent how much healing. So if they do get that timing, Secret could start to take advantage of the map a little bit. Here. Left of Tundra might have some issues in these next few moments. They're going to have to bring the Tusk and the Hoodwink maybe into most scenarios just to burst this Lesh down.
We're seeing a Secret, they know how strong Nisha is at this moment. They smoke him up, take him anywhere on the map. They outnumber Tundra, they'll have a very solid fight on their hands, no doubt about it. Saxa in good position, blocked up by the Moonlight.
The scan as well catches the Secret rotation.
So maybe unlikely now that Secret are going to be able to make this sort of jump of any sort of level of surprise. Quick turn with the bushwhack, make sure that there's no further jump over towards Saxo, and Saxo immediately ready to turn. They trap Zayat in the shards, sets up for both the arrow and the sharpshooter to bang on target, take down the kill.
That burst from a distance, you don't really need to commit too much of anything. Now Secret, their rotation ends up not working, not getting them anything big. Does show that the Bloodstone is finished though, so I think Tundra, they're going to keep tabs of that, sit back, farm a little bit, wait until they have an opportunity to actually catch this Lash when he split away from his team. And Skeeter, he's still doing fine. No, still loving life. Things are not too problematic, even though he has that death that they had going for the Enigma. He still has pretty good timings on his items.
Absolutely, yeah, he knows that when Secret try and poke at the rest of his team down there on the bottom half, this whole area of the map opens back up a little bit more for him. You can see the wall control, it's too bad at all for them. There's not any deep vision from Secret around this area, so Tundra pretty happy to continue to just hold this area for Skeeter to keep the farm up and stay up there towards the top. Only a couple of hundred behind Nisha's farm.
They've got the Wraith Pack down now too, so they probably can look to just fight back into this Slash Strike. They do need to just watch out of the big ultimates that are in there too. The Lich plus that Black Hole. To be careful how far they overcommit versus Secret's pretty tanky lineup. Zayats.
As we've seen many times, you've got to be careful how you try and poke towards Tundra. When Nine's around, he's just trapping you in the shards every single time you step up alone. Nisha, he's got that haste room. We'll see if he's able to chase down anything in return. Nice little sidestep there from Nine. Make sure that he doesn't get caught out by the stun. Tundra's back under the tower, and Nisha won't be getting any kills today with this haste. Yes. Sneaking.
I mean, they're watching him though.
I mean, they know that the haste is about to come to an end. Again, some excellent dodges from both sides here. Last minute or so, Nisha making sure the arrow doesn't catch him by surprise.
They need more heroes there. If they're going to go for some type of Ravage play, they need to go for those chain stuns if they're going to try to get Nisha. Very tanky, 1800 HP with the Bloodstone.
Say that is the thing as well, though, for Tundra. If they try and play with their ult Secret, they'll very much be ready to respond with their own ultimates. Both teams having huge teamfight ultimates to drop. We'll see in the middle, Nisha trying again. He's on his own and popped the Bloodstone charges, but Tundra, they're just able to blow him up. A bit of a rare situation there where Nisha was alone, and Tundra, they make sure they don't miss out on that opportunity. And they make the move immediately, and nobody else is around for Secret.
No, he didn't have any help, exactly. And they dropped the Wraith Pack down, so there you see, even though he popped Bloodstone, he has all this damage coming out. It's actually not that much damage, nor that much healing. No cares if they're going to commit Ravage there, it's perfect.
Should be a free tier 1 tower, I'd imagine. They have put the fortification. We'll see if Secret try and force a fight, but still 10 seconds, no Nisha.
Look at the vision control as well, too, from Tundra. They have ward on high ground, kind of watching everything right now.
Now they're back off for now, respecting the fact that Nisha soon to be back up, but the damage certainly done to this tier 1, incredibly low. Next push will take it off the map. Secret, as soon as Nisha's back in play, got it. Just try and find some sort of move around it. This time round, making sure that they're in position to enable the Lesh and not allow him to get caught out alone.
That's the biggest thing, right? They have to start playing as much as possible around Nisha. Try to slow down Skeeter, because all these moments ticking by, this Naga Siren's just getting all the free farm in the world. Manta's finished, has an Arcane Rune, so he's going to be able to push out these lanes freely. Just keeping all these lanes shoved in, so it's hard for Secret to really make a move without them getting caught themselves. And yeah, that deep vision, Tundra, I mean, having these deep wards that haven't been taken out is a big deal right now.
4K lead for Tundra.
Shadows.
Very much, you say, taking over the map with the Moonlight Shadow. See if they can catch Rezo alone. Rezo senses something's up though.
He is squishy now. I mean, he has not built any HP items whatsoever. 1000 HP, they have a plethora of burst damage.
Scary place. Tundra, they won't hesitate to dive if Nine's able to set up with the shards into the trees. He's going to try for it, see what he can find, and he finds it.
It's a perfect trap.
I'll get the bushwhack in as well. Rezo getting taken down behind his tier 2 once again. Nine just continuing to be bang on target every single time with these shards.
And this is pain. I mean, look at the moments. 5k gold lead now. Crystallis, he hasn't been able to find much of anything after the laning phase. They're making all the space in for Skeeter, and they're getting kills out of it too.
They need to slow Tundra down somehow, or look to make some sort of fight happen around their own ultimates. Just set the team fight up for Nisha to be able to burn through these enemies with this incredible amount of damage he can do as the Lesh.
I mean, they're keeping all the lanes pushed in. Look, Snaking goes to the scary lane. Top, he's going to push that one out quickly. Mid's pushed in, bottom's pushed in. Skeeter's already starting to look to cut some waves. Okay, maybe suiciding some illusions, but looking to cut some waves. The
If
pressure on the
anything,
map, it's too much right now for Secret.
Just getting information on who's sort of still sat back here in the base. They know that Rezo's only stepping out, so they can sort of plan for the movements of this Enigma and make sure that they're ready to prepare for any sort of jump Secret tries to make on them.
And look, they're building more and more. And Crystal, he's really far.
Very far up the lane. You can see Tundra, they're a bit hesitant. They know that if he's going to play aggressive like that, chances are that the rest of Secret's there to back him up, and Secret were able to step up.
As soon as they see anything, though, 33 is just knocking on a tier 2 bottom as this tide. Getting close to his pipe as well, so all this damage mitigation for the Lesh.
I mean,
it's starting to get online.
The amount of pressure that Tundra can apply. Something that we're seeing them always have the power to do with the drafts they normally enter in with. 33's tied, just being able to sit down here. Skeeter able to split the map up with his illusions. It's just a whole lot of everything that Secret's having to deal with right now.
Tower's just continuing to get hit. 33, he just knows he's free down here because he also has that ward back up. He has Skeeter near him too. Tundra playing the map beautifully. And yeah, they built it. They got that shard early on Soxa, so that burst damage that we were talking about, they're gonna have so much of it to be able to take out this Lash, to take out that tanky punch.
Tower is doing its best.
And yeah, lane's already starting to get cut. There's already a Naga Siren problem.
Very much seeing the net worth, and
has seen better days.
So far, Secret not really being able to use the power at the punch. Now, Chrysalis still very much behind here in the farm, and we see underneath it. Tundra, pretty low. Chain Frost will be thrown out, but not too many bounces at all. The 33's ready to go back in onto Chrysalis. Secret, at this stage of the game, they can't even protect that punch underneath their own tier 2. Rezo jumps forward. They're looking towards 9, but 9 is forced out to the side. He's going to be able to step away. See if they can continue to try and get any further catch sides. Will be able to get the toss back onto 9, so they'll take him down. But very much, it's such a struggle here as we're seeing for Chrysalis. Under tier 2, Secret, the rest of his team pretty close by. They couldn't help him. And now,
get more.
Tundra, they're ready to try and pick more kills out of this here as they head into the jungle of Secret. Catch out puppy, Ravage for 33. Puts an end to the life of Zayat. And Nisha has to step back. It's just him and Rezo on the retreat right now. Tundra, see if they can get any further setup. Gosh from 33, sharpshooter hit coming in as well. Respawns will be there for Secret. Chrysalis back in action. Tundra, they won't push their luck. They know that they're maintaining this lead. And as we've seen time and time again, once they get that lead, Tundra, they very, very rarely throw it away.
Especially if they have Skeeter on something like this Naga Siren. I mean, he's been absolutely free the whole game. He's got the Orchid, he's on his way to the heart, and it feels like there's going to start being some really big damage issues on Secret. And the map just continues to be pressured everywhere too, right? Tundra, they're forcing so much bottom. It's like 4 or 5 heroes of Secret having to react to this. Meanwhile, Skeeter's just, he's loving life. Plan is being executed perfectly by them. And for Secret, approaching into any of these fights, like Zayat, he still doesn't even have his Blink Dagger yet, so him being able to jump in, get some type of repositioning, getting some fight advantages, it's not easy. Rezo is the one with the Blink as the initiator, but as we've seen time and time again, he's just very squishy at this point. He'll just die if he goes in.
It's not easy at all for him to find the chance to get these black holes off, and especially before he has that BKB done. And pretty much impossible if Tundra, they turn up in numbers.
And look at this approach from 33. You know, we were talking about damage mitigation so much. It tends to be a big thing that Tundra's going for. The pipe, the Wraith Pact, and he's even queuing up a Mage Slayer. So really cute approach.
How do you fight through this?
Pudge and Lesh, right? Completely reliant on that magical damage. So if he just gets an Anchor Smash, if he gets that Mage Slayer applied on them, how are they going to be able to bring down the targets? Especially that Naga Siren, who's gonna have this heart pretty soon.
Each passing moment here, each minute, Tundra is getting further and further ahead. Very much feeling the control they have on the game this early on as well. 22 minutes in, 8K lead.
Yep. And they even have, you know, 9. Oh, we got the Orchid coming out.
We'll be lucky to find an illusion route.
We'll be all right. And yeah, they also have 9, who's going to be going for his standard Tusk build. He's going to be that straight physical damage burst also, so they have kind of everything going for them here to be able to take down Focus Fire the Pudge, Focus Fire the Lash, reduce their damage, and take objectives. That's the other big thing too. It's going to allow them to get Roche a little bit easier and push those towers.
It really very much is a case of, even through that Bloodstone heal, Tundra, they will kill Nisha so quickly. The Secret's response, it has to be immediate with their sort of counter initiations in terms of the black holes and such.
I mean, it's 22 minutes and there's only 2 Flesh Heap stacks. Never a position you want to be on the Pudge. But Chrysalis, he's got Ags done. Let's see what he's going to be able to do with this.
See around the mid there. Into Wars 33, this is not an easy kill.
He's very tanky.
Very tanky.
Oh my God,
for this one.
There we go.
I mean, they have to. I don't think they're getting that kill if they don't there.
They got it before he drops the pipe, before he drops the raid pack, so sure. I mean, getting him off the map is
That's
important.
the only way they kill him.
Yeah.
They've got to do it quick, they've got to do it safe, they've got to use the black hole in situations like that. I'll take him off the map, and it will at least sort of give them a bit of peace here, maybe for the 30 seconds, knowing that Tundra, they won't have the tide for the fight, but nonetheless, though, Tundra, they're still that farm that they'll definitely still go for a quick kill.
Got him.
Tide or not.
More than enough damage, probably. There it is. And some Deso stacks for 9.
See Lotus now done as well for Nisha, so a little bit of an extra way that he can try and prepare himself for the fight. Give him a bit of a better shot of not being blown up. Some of the targeted abilities from Tundra.
Yep, be able to protect him. Also, if there's like a snowball, he can even get inside the snowball if they play it a little bit perfectly. He can also dispel the boomerang buff, or debuff that is, which amplifies all that damage. Nisha?
This bottom tier 2 so scary, surely. Here for Secret, unless they can ensure that Tundra put off from diving, and they will manage to get back. Christmas, he hits the hook. Grabs back 9 before Skeeter's able to do anything to save him. The freeze the rest of Secret there with the song. So a good catch onto 9 there. Secret coming in with some level of response now to the moves from Tundra. It's definitely not as smooth sailing as it has been for the last 10 minutes. Secret able to slow them down a little bit by bit.
Yep, and now they have the blink on the Tiny, so an actual initiator rather than just forcing Rezo to be that one to jump in with Black Hole. Putting themselves back on the map. Every time they do kill one of those heroes, it feels pretty massive, at least for Secret, but Tundra doesn't seem like they care too much.
I mean, it's just the Naga Siren, right? You know, Skeeter, he doesn't care if he sees a hero or a teammate die every now and then, wants a minute just one off on their own. As long as he's still hitting the creeps, he is happy. Top of the net worth, and indeed with his heart, you can see Skeeter. Him and his illusions, it's not going to be easy to deal with. Sort of the main way to deal with it in terms of the Pudge and the Leshrac. We know that Tundra, they can kill these heroes. As underneath the tier 2 mid, they're looking towards Crystalis. Skeeter, he's ready to commit in. As they go right in on top of him. Nisha will turn up for the fight, but not able to make any sort of move in time to save, and Crystalis goes down. You see 33, he's ready to just waltz right underneath the tier 2 as well. Zayats will jump over the toss back.
Chain Frost.
They are getting 9 pretty low. He's able to get the snowball off in time. Ravage there for 33 ensures that 9's got the space to step back. Zayats will fall. The bushwhack from Saxa finishing him off. Secret trying their best to deal with this team fight. These dives, this aggression that Tundra is performing. Most times, 9 out of 10, they're not able to deal with it. No. They're not able to stop them from getting what they want. Tundra, they'll push down mids, take down this tier 2. Everything continues to just being ticked off the list here for Tundra.
This Skeeter Naga is just way too farmed, really, for them. Once he shows up to the fights, they're like, oh my god, we do not have enough damage to go through 3,000 HP. It's gonna take them quite a while, and it's into Wraith Pack, and it's into Pipe, and also we saw our beautiful observer point out an extra cloak purchased up. He is gonna be going back for the Mage Slayer, as we mentioned. He was queuing up Blink for a moment, but yeah, just really looking for all that damage mitigation, making sure that Skeeter will probably never go down unless he gets caught by absolutely everything. So for Secret, next few moments, pretty difficult for them to look for these fights. Multiple Blink daggers. You see even Puppey gets a Blink. They need any type of follow-up. They need the big burst, right? If they catch 1 or 2 heroes in a black hole, they need absolutely everything.
That's a lot of weight on Resolution.
It is.
He's got to do something incredible. Get the toss back here on the Snake King, but Puppey's on Rezo's going to use the black hole. Only catches Snake King though, and the song's out. Tundra, they're able to reset the team fight. Puppey goes down. Zayats also to fall. As they'll lose Snake King, but they get 2. Once again, Tundra just proving at this stage to be almost impossible for Secret to fight into.
Tough position to use Black Hole. Pre-BKB, even took all these stuns into Song.
I mean, he must be close to the BKB, right, Rezo?
He's getting closer. I mean, he bought the shard, he bought the lens, so he has delayed it quite some time for himself. And Tundra now, they probably are like, okay, well, no Black Hole. We can probably look for Roshan.
Straight to Roshan, indeed. They know that there's going to be no chance of Secret heading out to this area of the map.
And they kill it fast. With Riptide, with Deso, with Gush. See all that minus armor coming into play on top of the Orchid. Secret, they are reacting though, bringing 4 heroes. Scan is going to catch them.
See if they can get any sort of fight going here. It's not easy, there's no Black Hole to rely on. They'll still take straight into the fight here with Chris as he walks forward. Snowball's going to be there for now. Gets them over towards Nisha. They're trying to step back though. Nisha getting off a good amount of damage this time around. As even the sharpshooter comes in, takes down Zayats. Chris is trying to stand his ground over the dismember. They'll force 9 back to safety. Roshan falling low. Chris was also having to back away as 33. He's trying to finish off the Roche. Puppey and Nisha, they're stepping into the pit as well, but 9 heads in Snowball. They get chase back away from the pit. Very much felt like a bit of a last-ditch attempt there from Secret to try and stop Tundra, but they couldn't take the fight around the Roche pit. It's 4 dead, 9 continuing to chase. We'll see Puppey able to blink out just in time. It's a good fortune that he has that item there.
I mean, it's wild how much damage is reduced there. In most situations, if there's not a pipe, if there's not
They
a
were
race
so
pack,
clumped up and they just still didn't die.
Look how much they only. I'm saying only because when we've seen these pudges on these leshes, when they're able to stick on targets, 3 heroes inside that, you would probably see some 10,000 worth of damage or something. But look at this, the damage mitigation completely protecting everybody there.
Really do something about that middle tower.
Secret, they really had to go all in to make a move like this, and they certainly do. They go straight into the pit, and of course, having to try and fight. Rezo doesn't have his black hole back up.
Look at the micro too, right? The Wraith Pack. Look, he pops it and sends it up north to kind of hide it away from everybody. So Secret, they're panicking to try to kill this thing, and meanwhile, they're all just dropping lower and lower.
Yeah.
Great plays from 9. The Snowball initially to dodge the Chain Frost with his team, and then Snowball to kind of guarantee that they can get up that Roshan. Beautiful plays from Tundra. Masters of the team fight.
They are seeming unstoppable here so far in this game. 18k lead.
And it's also, you know, Ravage, it wasn't up until that exact moment as well, too.
Stepping up in the mid, they've got the arrow connection. He's already used the Bloodstone here. Look at the Lotus Orb off in time. A little bit of safety in his own Snowball, but it's only going to tear him far away from the safety of any of his teammates as Nisha will get slowly but surely taken out. Puppey as well to fall. Zayat's caught out by the net. It's going to be 3 dead on Secret. We'll see how much further they want to play this one out. It is grand finals after all, but this game 1, it just looks like there's very few answers at all to what Tundra's doing right here.
And it's versus that Lesh. They gave the Lesh. They had an idea, they had a concept, and it's working beautifully.
Structures are fortified.
Full control of the game.
I mean, 33. As they, you know, how we ended it at the end there, you know, talking about how important the Tide is, how good he is on this hero, and we're seeing it 4-1 and 15. Even without the Ravage, we see the effects he's able to do from start to finish of this game.
Under attack. They should retreat. Oh, wait, they don't have legs.
Of course, Tundra. Seen many, many times before in the games that they play. When they have this sort of lead, they'll ever so careful not to allow any opportunity for it to slip away from them. So they'll back off from the push for now.
Interesting to point out also, Skeeter did buy the shard as well, so feels like they're really understanding this. Limit the damage. You know, this is going to heal for 40%. They're reducing the damage that's coming out from the Pudge and Lesh, so how are they going to kill these big beefy targets?
They have to catch them split up. But as we've seen, it's very, very few situations where Tundra, especially at this moment of the game, they choose to sort of fall back into positions that allow them to get caught one by one.
Always playing around each other perfectly.
Trying to get aggressive onto 33, but he has got the Ravage. He'll pop it, and now there's the jump forward. Nine gets straight in, takes him out. Rezo, he has got the black hole off onto the 2 of them, but do they have the damage? Chain Frost is out, but the BKB's already out from 9 and Skeeter. It was a nice 2-man black hole, but there wasn't any follow-up, and now Tundra, it looks like once again, they're setting up for the cleanup. They've got the catch on Tanisha. Bushwhack will trap him against the tree. The arrow for Snake, it keeps him locked down. He'll try and step back, but Tundra, the 4-5 of them, chase him down. He'll go for the TP out. He won't make it. Everybody dead on Secret. Tundra, they're ready to resume pushing down the mid.
Just seems like they're just I mean, this time they're way too far ahead, but they're always just, like you mentioned, everyone's always playing around each other. This time, Ravage is at the ready. 33 not even coming close to dying. And now they're all full health because Skeeter pops a song and heals them up as well. Tundra.
We'll see if they go for one more fight. And that one more fight for Secret, once again, will be lacking the big ultimates. Black Hole, of course, used by Rezo there in an attempt to get something going, but really with the BKBs that Tundra have, if they get it off beforehand, then there's absolutely no chance of Secret killing these cores.
30k gold lead. I mean, full item for each hero pretty much coming out now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This is just, it's not a position where we've really seen any teams be able to turn things around when they've been against Tundra in particular. Tundra get this sort of lead against you, it very much is over, unless something incredible happens.
Especially when they have this Naga Siren, really. They've looked to be amazing. These illusion carries in particular for Skeeter, right? His CK, his Naga has been a pleasure to watch. Secret, they tried to set that pace early game, but almost never in this game did they actually have a lead. The gold was always actually pretty much in favor of Tundra.
Tundra smoked up, and you can feel it. They're ready to go for the finisher here.
Puppey Flanking in.
All right, walk it down mid.
Trying to catch the creep wave or something.
Trying to get some sort of a distraction, you know, take Tundra away from the push. But buying some time.
The waves are all in, though.
See bottom there, Nisha. Might be in a bit of trouble once again. We'll see Puppey come over the buyback, but that sharp shot there from Saxon. Nearly finishing him off. They'll go with the snowball over towards Crystallis. Chain Frost comes out from Puppey. Crystallis commits it with the BKB onto 33, but 33 is just so
There's no damage.
He barely cares at all that this Pudge is on top of him. Another hook from Crystallis will catch on, but 33... It wasn't the cleanest combo, but at this point, Tundra, they don't even need to hit these combos. They'll just back off and reset. Not the Ravage into Song that, you know, will sort of blow away Secret, but they can afford to mess that up sometimes. They got a 32k lead.
Yeah, we don't need it. It's fine, you know? Do have to watch out, though, as we see Black Hole back up in 10 seconds. It's going to have to be a 5-man. Even then, I don't know.
It has to be a 5-man.
Doesn't even feel like they'll have the damage
It's got to
anyway.
be a 5-man, and it's got to catch them before they press BKB.
Yeah. And with more raid factor.
What's Zayat? Will find 9 in the trees. He gets the BKB off of his members there. Saxon able to poke in from the side.
He's waiting.
The bushwhack. Crystallis, he's getting low. 9 tries to chase him out. Crystallis gets taken down. 9 caught by the fear. See at the side though, they're focusing down Nisha. Nisha goes down. 4-star to the side. 9 caught by the avalanche. Will go down. Secret able to find some sort of semblance of a trade there. They'll take out 9 immediately. Nisha does commit in with the... Anything Secret can do here with this minute, where Tundra are without their mid laner.
Nisha can never walk up. He just walks in, gets fully focused from everyone on Tundra. And another item coming up for Skeeter in a moment.
Oh my goodness.
More heal prevention, more damage reduction, etc. Scotty's going to be coming out also for this Naga.
Extra illusion as well with the level 20 hit. And illusion rune founders on top of that also. Expect us to continue to just see all 3 lanes push right up to the base of Secret. Secret are going to try and find that. Needs to be an immaculate team fight, 5-man black hole. It's just going to be so hard for them to do it anywhere outside of the base. Leaving this area of the map, leaving some sort of safety at the high ground, it's just so tough against what Tundra's doing on the map right now.
Tundra's on cruise control. Look, Snaking's even got boots of travel on the 5 Mirana.
There we go, very much. You can see Secret, I think they know that this is a spot game 1 that's tough, but there's a long series ahead of them, so making sure to keep things things positive. And very much still continuing it to give it their all. Smoked up here, Zayat some resolution.
I think most people find it, you know, you hear Puppey like kind of laughing in these type of games, and you're like, oh, okay, whew. A heart now for 33.
This is a scary place of resolution and Zayat. Close by to Tundra. Hiding in the trees.
Everyone on Tundra is just so farmed at this point. Pretty much every single hero core.
Zayat. So hard to get any grab, any toss back.
Snaking's got bots, Lotus, 4-staff, drum.
I mean,
it is a 5-position Mirana, by the way.
We've seen some farm supports today. This one's certainly up there from Snaking.
Tundra just tend to do this a lot of times too, right? Distribute their wealth nicely, especially, I mean, in this game, of course, when they have all the space in the world, but...
C33, but it's not an easy jump. They're going to try. Get the toss back, but it feels so rough to try and commit onto this tide.
He just Mage Slayer hits them and they do nothing.
They've got to back off. 33's toying with the idea of a Ravage as well. Nisha, maybe getting caught out by the bushwhack. Will get jumped by 9. He's in with the Walrus Punch. A Secret just scrambling back up towards the high ground, and I tell you what, I think they're quite lucky to get out of there with nobody going down.
They can't even, I mean, they tickle the tide. This build really from 33 is working. I mean,
it's unkillable.
The pipe rate back we've seen so many times on this Mage Slayer because he sees that both cores are this magic damage emphasis.
6-1 and 21, exactly what you hope to see from your offlane.
4-1-15
Roshan
on Skeeter.
Should be another one here for Tundra. Again, these illusions from Skeeter making sure that Secret, they cannot even dream of getting anywhere close to the Roshan.
Relanged in. Puppey, up for a journey, trying to maybe collect some Audi runes. Flicks will be okay. Snaking won't find him. The Roche acquired 40k gold lead. Back to business.
Absolutely just passing by the sort of 1k gold a minute, something that you very rarely see in terms of a lead in at this stage of the game. pretty much a full nullifier done as well from 9. Even tougher. Try and protect that core that gets jumped upon by 9.
They're looking to go to. They're smoked. So many of these heroes just get immediately burst down, especially Puppy.
With that Aegis, Tundra no. They can look to get into the face of Secret.
33's taking the tower by himself. He's just anchor smashing it.
Yeah.
He's got talent.
Chrysalis trying for some sort of a hook.
They can't stop him.
Now we'll see Zayas. He's looking for a toss back. The 9 in response immediately on top of him. That's Zayas gone. No buyback for him.
Chrysalis.
He'll pop the BKB. He's got to use it to step back, get some sort of distance between him and the rest of the team. He's going to try and stand his ground on 33. And 9 jumps in with a Warrior's Punch into the snowball. Overall, Nisha Rezo. He's going to go for the black hole. The song is there.
Healing him.
I mean, the black hole and damage alone, not enough to take him out through the BKB. Rezo's out. Does have a buyback, but even if he opts to do so, won't have a black hole to use. Tundra, they'll continue this push up towards the top lane. Taking down this set of barracks. A Secret, we'll see if they go for one last move. Maybe hope that Tundra gets a bit close to the fountain, but Tundra, they don't mess around. They're not making any mistakes. 33 pops the Ravage, catches out Nisha and Chrysalis. Chrysalis getting low. He might just be able to reset this time as he is over towards the fountain, actually able to lift Nisha. Also able to keep himself alive for now with the Lotus. Reflects the net, but 33 is getting in on top of him. No one else able to get Nisha away from Tundra. He's out for 100 seconds. The tier 4s are gone. They're on to the Ancient. GG is called. And Tundra, they take this game 1, and my goodness, they take this game 1. This was not close. Tundra in full, complete control. I mean, it felt like after 10 minutes, Secret, they didn't have a chance at all in this one, folks.
It felt like even from lanes, right? The rotations from Saksa kind of putting on this pressure onto Nisha. This was a miraculous game, really, from Tundra, kind of setting the tempo super early on with the Naga Siren draft. When you're able to kind of get this type of lead early on, and you have a Naga, and you start realizing, hey, we're versus only magic damage.
In one of the grand finals. Back over.
What my MMR matches look like, and yeah, but you know, I still play more.
Cheap, Tiga, they've been given Lesh, they've been given Pudge, and this Naga is still not counterable. In the last series, they've been given Magnus, Monkey King, like you've been given these Empower heroes. Ember, I believe, was in that one as well. Like you have just so much AoE damage to deal with these illusions, it just does not work. Lesh, however, they proved it here, right, T? It can be countered.
It can be countered, and I think right now for Secret after this first game, it's identifying the fact that Tundra, they are this team that when they get into an aggressive position, they're going to hold it against you. Like this lineup from Secret, if you get out ahead in the laning phase, sure, you have the AoE damage from a Pudge and a Lesh, right? You can deal with the Naga Siren. But when you lose your early game, and Tundra is the best team in the world, identifies the fact that if he gets a pipe, a a Wraith Pack, even a Mage Slayer. I think Knoxville tweeted out it's like the 5th time a Tidehunter has ever picked up Mage Slayer on this hero. Like, he can just stand up front. So now it's Secret, if they ever find the Tide, you can't kill him. If you then find anyone else, you're going to get an Argo Song. Like, it was just exceptional gameplay from them. But yeah, I think the Leshrac is the key story right now for this one.
Well, I think we need to know more about Leshrac, T.
Oh, yay.
Because will we see it again?
Oh, I mean,
tell us more.
Oh, tell us more. Well, of course. So Team Secret coming into this tournament, or at least into the playoffs, they'd beaten PSG twice in a row with the Leshrac. They had beaten Thunder Awaken twice in a row with the Leshrac. They were one of the best Leshrac teams in the tournament, but this game here is the first loss for Nisha on Leshrac, going now 4-1. Don't forget Tundra, they've not played any Leshrac at TI so far. They've not even touched it. They played it 6 months ago. So for Tundra to come into this grand finals, to give Secret one of their best heroes, beat them with it, potentially Tundra, it could slip into their hero pool throughout this grand finals.
Isn't there another team at TI?
Quite a few.
That didn't play Lash?
Yeah,
back in the day.
Back in the day, CDEC, they did not play Leshrac, and it cost them a TI win. It was pretty devastating, but looks like it's going to be the complete opposite story here.
It was also a very broken hero back in the day.
Yeah.
And it still is quite a broken hero. And luckily, Nine has played some Leshrac this week. He played 3 pub games on it. So this strategy from Tundra, give Secret Leshrac, beat them with the Leshrac, never play it at all. It could set up for some mind games going into game 2, maybe game 3, that Tundra surprises Secret with a, haha, we actually do play it type strategy. But maybe I'm kind of getting carried away there.
Well, it didn't work out in game 1. But do you think, Tundra, we talked about their map control. They had really good vision. They strangle at the map. But one of the other things is this accounted to Leshrac as well. The fact that every single person you want to kill is just so hard, and they have backup. Because you don't want to be chasing a Mirana. Hoodwink, gets into the tree line. You don't want to open up on the Tide. So it seems like they're not only masters of the map, they're really masters of control. And Leshrac needs to go deep into the fights. And so what do you do? Get a blink?
Yeah, like Lich. Lich got himself a blink. Why not Lash as well? Like blink on Leshrac is actually not that bad. It can happen later on in the game. They had different problems though. Like the initiation needed to happen after Ravage, post Ravage. That puts a lot of pressure on Rezo. Like you could see so many black holes that are targeted well. He catches a couple of heroes, but those heroes already pop the BKBs because he cannot wait. He knows that if he waits, the Ravage is there. His teammates are already dying. Leshrac, so many times he goes in, and he's the sole hero that's hitting the Raid Pact.
Tough. But of course, Team Secret will take a moment backstage. They're going to have a little bit of time to kind of regroup and pick up their heads. But we did hear from Team Secret earlier as Avo sat down with them before the grand finals.
Welcome, Team Secret, to the round table. Are you guys ready for the grand final?
I'm ready.
Nisha was the first one that answered. It's good, why everybody looking at me for?
Let's get started with the actual questions. A lot of teams, they talk about how losing makes them stronger because they get to learn about their weaknesses, when a team figures them out. Are you guys worried that they can just figure you out at the right moment and then it'll be too late to learn from it?
Yeah, Nish.
I'm worried.
I'm actually worried. I mean, in Secret, if you lose with one hero, you're not picking it again. That's the law. So it might be off.
Come on. Don't ruin the hero.
Removed from the pool.
Do you feel like the underdog to a degree?
We are underdogs. Okay. There's no question about it.
Okay. Let's talk about the addition of Rezo to the team. You guys have been playing together as a duo for a while, haven't you?
Since the VP times, yeah. We were together in VP, we were together in Hellraisers, now here.
Raise some hell.
Is it true that you guys were marketing yourself as a duo when you guys were both looking for a team? Like you were looking to lane together?
Yeah, I literally made that tweet that the best duo offlane was looking for a team.
And it worked?
Not a single request was from that tweet. Nobody reached out. They're like, yeah, whatever. Who are these guys? I mean, I think it's both the view on the game that we're sharing and outside of the game. Like we share a lot of life understanding, some certain things, and it's very easy to talk to. So it's just kind of was a very obvious way for us to go from that point on.
Is it true that you guys speak Russian to each other in the lane during the game?
Yes. It is true.
So the half the team speaks English to each other, and the other half speaks Russian.
Yeah, it's just the laning. Yeah.
Oh, just the laning.
But like sometimes we are switching lanes, so I'm laning with a Clement and it like kind of break the rules, you know.
And I'm playing with Remco and speaking English also.
Yeah.
So.
When you do things, you do what's comfortable, right? It doesn't bother us that they're speaking Russian. To be fair, it's even like a benefit because we can zone out of it.
Yeah.
Not me, I actually hear it. But like for Remco's sake and stuff like that, like he doesn't even like hear anything what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, he also has problems. He also understands what's going on, kind of.
He's not hearing anybody.
So to be fair, only Remco doesn't understand what's going on. We're all here, and we kind of get it. You know?
Let's talk about Crystallis as well. Remco, yeah?
Remco, yeah.
Yeah. You guys have both previously stated how he's a wild stallion, and you had to break him a little bit in the beginning.
Wild stallion, what?
I think I
had no idea.
Okay, not that kind of wild stallion. He's his own person, Puppy. You talked about that.
Okay,
Yes. Sorry, maybe I went a little bit too poetic.
At Riyadh or?
Yeah, it was at Riyadh.
That one. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, how's the relationship evolved going towards TI?
No, I mean it's still the same. I don't think much has changed at all. It's just still a bit of goofing. We click. It just kind of works. Yeah. I'm usually a bit more of a clown, I guess, at times. Well, you know, whatever.
I mean, I could tell you a billion Remco stories. Tell you a billion Remco stories.
What does it mean to you to be able to play in the grand finals?
I get a chance to fulfill my dreams and my goals. To me, TI is always like a celebration. Like I just completely enjoy all my days here, like including the finals or not. You know, I'm just happy to be playing the high level of Dota.
Puppy, you've been to 3 TI grand finals. What advice would you give your fellow teammates?
My advice has always been there every day, and it doesn't matter if you're playing first match of TI or last match of TI. It's the same thing, you know?
Just play the game of Dota that you're playing for how many, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever. But just play the game and do your best and be in the moment, be in the present moment. Just give it your best.
Are you excited to play in front of a crowd? Does it add to the experience to you?
When they start chanting like some names of the team, usually the enemy team, it's fun. It gets better, you know?
The enemy team. Please, crowd cheer for
It gives me
Nisha.
energy, you know? To, you know, prove them wrong, kind of.
Okay.
But it's fun, I guess, yeah.
Crowds are awesome. And especially if they do some awesome things in there, like, I don't know, remember like that Enigma doing the black hole that was happening in Benaroya Hall back in, I don't know, second TI, I think. The crowd brings a lot of good energy.
You always feel it, like, you know, even if you're completely zoned in the game, you still feel the, I don't know, sounds, even like vibrations on the ground and stuff. You know, all of the people are watching, and not only on stream, like, you know, thousands on stream, but here, literally here, and it's a very different experience.
I like to enjoy crowd because I like to scream at enemies when I'm killing them. Because after the scream, I can calm down. It's much easier. That's why I like crowd, because they're screaming. I'm like, oh, hello, and we go next.
Thank you, Team Secret, for talking to me. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Let's go.
That's the way to go.
Welcome back to the panel. Yes, I was a bit concerned for Secret coming off of game 1, of course, and how they kind of looked, but actually kind of seeing that video feel really wholesome. I think like this is a team that actually get on so well and could definitely come back. And the talks of the crowd being amazing and how Zayat wants him, and Singapore has been amazing this tournament. But any takeaways from the interview?
We heard more words from Nisha in that one interview than we did in the entirety of the DPC season. So I think that was the best content piece that I've watched from Secret.
I know, right? Doing my research for TI, I was just like, Nisha. There's nothing. Moving on.
What was his comment? It was in Secret, if we lose with a hero, we don't pick it again.
Yeah.
So that whole Leshrac piece that we did earlier, you can just ignore this kind of Leshrac
That's also
piece.
very interesting because that's not usually how Secret was, how Puppy is. Like, if you remember back in the day, he was known as that stubborn captain. If he picks a hero, he's going to stick with it no matter what, if he thinks that it's
Yeah, and I remember actually talking to Dendi, and he was like, I play what Puppy tells me to. You know, even if I don't think, you know, it's okay, Puppy says, I have to do. But let's check in as we wait for the second game to get ready. Let's check into the arena with Slacks.
Yes, hello. We are still here in the that crowd for Grand Finals Day. We still awake, crowd? Oh, fantastic. Now, I do have a very rare opportunity. These were the first things that sold out at the secret shop. These are the trap. Oh, my God, don't show that. Valve promos, man. Very rare. We're going to give these away in a little trivia contest. Now, people get a little nervous in front of the camera, so we're going to do what I like to call crowd trivia. It's basically trivia for dumbos. Now, I'm not going to say that, but all right, anyway, very easy trivia. Anybody in here a large? A large? Anybody a large? All right. Hello, sir. What is your name?
Tom.
Tom. What's your gamer tag?
My gamer tag?
Yeah.
It's on his shirt.
Here we go. That's Papa Virgin.
Call me Papa.
All right, well, that ain't changing anytime soon. Trivia question for you, my friend. All right. This is very hard. What team is Heen associated with?
Oh, God. That's a tough one.
Don't know. What?
Secret.
Secret! That's not Team Secret! There you go. One loud shirt. There you go. We got a medium. Now, this man helped me corral some fans earlier, so get your butt over here. This is practice content. All right, this is tough. How do you spell Leshrac?
Leshrac.
I actually don't know how to spell Leshrac, so here you go. Enjoy. Thank you. All right, Small. Hello, sir. You look trustworthy. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good.
Fantastic. All right, sir. I haven't really thought of a question. Okay. Who is your favorite caster, OD or Fog? Now, there is a correct answer. They're right there next to us. OD or Fog?
There's only one, sir. Fog!
Wow, that's great. Unfortunately, incorrect, though. So we'll have to go to another. No, I'm just kidding. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And everybody here, by the way, these are the primo seats, right behind the casters, right when everybody walks out. These were the guys that came in first. So give it up! And yes, we're still quite awake over here, so we'll pass it back to you guys. Keep doing your panel thing, all right? You guys give it up.
Happy Slacks as he rejoins the crowd to cause more carnage. Have you seen OD Pixel Cast, by the way? It's one of the best things, because those are the primo seats, as Slacks called it, but he is so animated, and Fog just kind of stands there.
It's all the hand movements. It's really feeling and like part of the game.
It's really good that they're standing behind OD. If it was Cap, someone might get wet as well, you know.
That's true.
This could happen. Yes, so we're going to be getting the players out for game number 2, Secret versus Tundra. And still, the storyline is Tundra dominating game 1. And Sheeps to kind of talk about, really how they put down the, not only just their opponents, but put down the lock on the map. What were they doing, Tundra?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I really liked how they utilized their Fat Tide. They brought him away from the bot lane when around 40 minutes when he finished his Wraith Pact and used his Ravage to kill the Leshrac, and this opened up the mid tower for them. And they were able to get a deep ward in the enemy's triangle during this move, which is it's very valuable, because then they move into the bot side of the map, and they know how much they can poke and dive this tier 2 tower given the information they're getting from their vision. And by combining this with having 2 high damage supports in the Mirana and Hoodwink, it meant that they were able to assassinate and kill people without even the help of their cores. So they're just constantly applying pressure and kill threat to Secret all the time.
That pressure is constantly enabled by the Naga as well. Those pesky illusions like Rezo, that wasn't a game for him. Why? Because there's always one pesky illusion following him around, breaking his blink dagger, hitting him. By the time he gets rid of the illusion, the team fight is already kind of over. And Mirana plus Naga, this combo, it needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, the position 5 Mirana, it's only Tundra doing it, and it's the fact that in all of their drafts as well, they've got the Brood or a Spirit Breaker, the Enigma, they've always got an element of just map pressure that other teams haven't been able to kind of replicate in their games. And yeah, this is why Secret in this gap, or this break at least from game 1, they need to identify always got an element of just map pressure that other teams haven't been able to kind of replicate in their games. And yeah, this is why Secret in this gap, or this break at least from game one, they need to identify how do we want to prevent Tundra having that map pressure.
Well, we'll have to see as we're going to be getting ready for game two. As you can see, the teams have now joined us on stage. And of course, we talked a little bit about Tundra, just how they're locking down the map. It really seems like they figured their opponent out, at least in terms of game one. And actually, we're going to hear from Tundra about their opponents, Team Secret.
I think Team Secret is a very formidable opponent because I think they've defined their roles for each other very well, and they know exactly what to expect from each other. I mean, obviously they have Puppy, so like it kind of goes without saying. Honestly, it doesn't need to be explained. And by this point, it's also for Nisha as well. It's just such an amazing player. If you were just to think of each of their player, not even looking at any particular game, you kind of have an idea of what each hero will play. Nisha will generally play like a very high damage hero, and then Crystallis will either be some sort of utility or counter pick for the lane, and same thing with the Resolution. They know their lane matchups very well. It's like they play these stupid combos that you feel like the lane shouldn't be strong, but then they know something about it a bit more than you do, or like the synergy is a bit better, that they manage to win these lanes, and like suddenly like they have very good synergy in the game.
The last time we played them in a group stage where we duoed them, I think they messed up their drafts in both of their games, so I don't think we actually got to play the real Secret.
Like going into this match against them, I think we are kind of on even grounds. Like both of us have kind of, since that match, both of us have kind of gone through a win streak. Yeah, I think we are on even footing, and just excited to see how the game will play out.
Really interesting there, the Tundra.
Team Secret's turn to ban.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And then the three other heroes are very fast-paced heroes. You know, the Miranas, the Tinies, the Tuskars, the Pangoliers, that are gonna strike kind of left and right on the map depending on the enemy's movement. And that's how they kind of win the economy game, hit timings, and then close the game. So I think you really have to respect that and either, you know, hurt their system or, you know, find a way to counter it. I hope that Secret will adapt and really try to counter what Tundra does on the map a little bit more that game, so that they get an even footing, because they're great players too, and they can definitely beat them if on fair ground.
Absolutely. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This game 2 draft off to a start, and no surprises so far.
I mean, I think it's a lot about the second phase bans. They do choose
10 seconds.
First phase, they could have chosen to go against either the Brood or the Doom. I also agree with Seth that you could probably, I mean, sooner rather than later, choose to change your target a bit. I think the Skitter heroes are very important for them. I mean, this Slark, this Ursa, the CK, I don't think does nearly the same that a Naga does. And Naga has been, I mean, it seems stoppable. It seems like it's not fun to play against.
Team ban.
It's not like they first phased it, but I think the second phase bans were very wasted in all the games, more or less, that they played each other. And I think, yeah, they have to find the right ones.
A bit of pivot this time from Tundra, right? No Mirana, but they do get given the Marcy and the Visage. I mean, this combo is absurd. Side-kicked birds even later on. The lane is also ridiculous. And they have a lot of different combos. I've seen Tundra do stuff like this where you're now forced to maybe ban some heroes you don't want to. I've seen them do like this Luna Visage even at times that can sometimes just, yeah, you have to waste a ban because you just don't want to play versus something like that.
It's very strong, and Marcy is also deny pick, right? I think Marcy is one of the heroes that Tundra refuses to play against when it comes to Secret's playbook, because they're so good at using it on lanes. I feel like Secret has one tool that can really cripple Tundra. It's the laning phase. They're very strong in the lanes. They execute. I mean, Neta even talked about it in interview where he said that they respect a lot their laning and how much they're willing to push these lanes, and Marcy is one of the best heroes for that. So I think obviously Tundra would have been happy with the Mirana first phase, but they're like, yeah, we're gonna take the Marcy away.
I feel it's almost a shame. Like we saw the Monkey versus the Broodmother in one of the games. Like they completely annihilated like the laning phase in that game. I think it was all 3 lanes that were going super well for them. I want to say they could have done the same, you know, like don't waste a ban on the Broodmother, get your Dawnbreaker, stay within your comfort, like get the Monkey ban, so it might have something to do with it.
So we're back to the Tundra system, you know, you're gonna have, you have to see how it's gonna develop. This Visage, gonna buy Wraith back, he's gonna take the tier 1 tower, he's gonna live in Secret Jungle, and the Marcy plus the 9 hero and the other support are gonna be missing. They're gonna be in the fog of war, and they're gonna make Secret, you know, think twice about shoving this Visage away from his area. And on the other side of the map, you're gonna have Skitter doing the same thing with a Wraith King, or, you know, he probably would have loved the Naga, now Naga's out. And I really want Secret to try to target these heroes that can achieve that map dominance and force him into a more casual Ursa game, or, you know, these heroes that really cannot apply as much pressure on the map.
And also the Visage, I mean, that was the one they lost to, right? I also think it's now Tundra 1 game up. And it's the Mirana ban.
It's quite interesting, I think, the Nyx ban, because we haven't mentioned it in game 1, but Tundra lost to Secret where they had Nyx. And Nyx is one of the better heroes at disrupting map movement, right? At finding information himself or finding pickoffs and getting. And, you know, Tundra came into this grand final saying, you know what, actually this Nyx is more annoying than the king of your heroes that has been Leshrac so far. So it kind of says a lot about what's going on, you know, Dota-wise.
I like that point a lot, too, because a lot of times you can see the Nyx and it's like, oh, he has, like, Carapace is excellent this game, there's all this, but it's actually the scouting, right?
Yes,
it's actually so much about getting the information.
Finding out if Neta is alone or if Skitter's alone, and, like, being able, to just get that quick pickoff.
And now we see, like, even, like, the Beastmaster ban, right? A similar thing that you're talking about. It's controlling the map, trying to read things. So, really interesting bans coming out from Tundra.
I like the Secret bans much more this time around the second phase. You know, like, the first phase is something else, but they're committing to a certain strategy, but the Naga's out, the Mirana's out. The amount of map tools that they get are getting very, very limited already, much more than in game 1.
I want to see the Dawnbreaker come out for Secret. I mean, I think that would be a really strong pick. They've crushed the Visage.
Yes. If you look at what Secret did there was a game when they had this next Dawnbreaker silencer, and I felt like it gives them really strong lanes, so they can kind of beat Tundra at that game. And if they transition into the mid game, they have these global tools that even if Tundra kind of pulls off this outmaneuvering on the map, you have these global tools that are gonna allow you to, you know, even it out. You get the global silence, you get the Dawnbreaker ulti, and I thought it was an interesting approach. Definitely heroes I would like to see Secret look at.
And we also get Secret as second pick for the. They won't get the choice in game 3 and in game 5, but now we're gonna be able to see how strong the second pick is gonna be for them. I think the flex pick again from the Dawn, or finding a hero that can, you know, add this global presence, break this map, but still remain, like, have some things remain flex, like the Leshrac Resolution can play it, and they can keep this till the end. But yeah, I think the second phase bans this time around much better from Secret.
Yeah. The Luna, that was when I was...
yeah, exactly.
It's
like, I think
the night vision and everything.
I think the Mirana also, they would have gone for it for snaking. I think the Naga is a must ban for the rest of the series in second phase, unless they come up with ultimate way to deal with it.
Yeah, Luna Visage, very strong combo. I mean, we've played Tundra and TI-10 qualifiers, and they were doing this Luna Manta night vision abuse. So it's definitely a hero that they can use a little bit like a Naga. You know, constantly sending the Manta illusions, shoving the waves, sending them also to scout, because Skitter is one of the players that not only farms with Manta, he actually uses it as a scouting tool to increase his map presence.
And that's what we were talking about with the Naga, like how he was using the illusions instead of just going camp to camp to camp. He's cutting the wave, even though it's not efficient. He's getting a little bit more info, especially during nighttime. I mean, they had full vision the whole night.
Yeah.
Sometimes even just suiciding illusions, just literally to get any type of information.
And you know, theoretically there are 2 ways to deal with Tundra's, like kind of split push style. The CK is one of the heroes that they really enjoy doing that with. Okay, they go for the Phoenix into Chen. It's a great Phoenix game.
That's new.
When do they play the Phoenix? I want to say it's only with Visage they've played it.
I think I only saw them play it once, if even that. I don't even know if I saw them play it here.
They played. I've seen Snaking play Phoenix once this tournament, I want to say. I'm pretty sure.
So basically, I think Secret, you have 2 approaches. When you play against this split push heavy kind of style, you either match what they want to do, or you know, group up and ball up and try to force them into a 5 versus 5 fight at a pace that they don't really want to get into. And I feel like Chen Lesh is a perfect lineup to push the issue before Tundra kind of gets online with their heroes. You know, think about the Leshrac Bloodstone and the mech timing. It's going to be very close. These heroes play together really well. Chen is going to bring a ton of armor and a ton of buffs on this Leshrac that are going to kind of help him live through the Tundra burst. And maybe they can just snowball the game, because usually Tundra don't really look at these early timings, and they hope that they get to, you know, get away with their map stuff like they did game 1.
If you force this Visage and the CK to fight before they get the shard on Visage
Exactly,
and the BKB on CK, they might just run into, you know, a Leshrac can easily solo kill them.
Yeah.
The Phoenix pick, I thought he played this tournament, but I don't see it. I think this is his first Phoenix so far at TI, and it's a classic hero versus Tusk, it's a classic hero versus Chen, and it's super good with the Visage, so I mean, we've seen him play it before. I think it's very cool to see something, you know, be busted out of the finals. It also makes a statement.
We're seeing a very different approach from Secret this game.
Very different.
Remember Chen Bristol back?
Yep.
Remember some Chen Bristol?
Yep, that was
at TI9?
Yep. I think this is a statement. It's like, you know what, this map stuff that you're forcing us to deal with, you're gonna have to play our game now. And it's gonna be a game of Leshrac, Chen, Bristol grouping up, going for early objectives, maybe even going high ground early. And it's like, have you thought about that happening to you?
You think Kuro's watching?
Hopefully he is.
I mean, inner Kuro right now is like push the base, push the base.
It lets them set the tempo even better, because last game they kind of wanted to, but their heroes didn't, especially after lanes, like things just crumbled. This one, it's, like you mentioned, they're going to be able to force them into Roche, force them to fights around towers.
Counter the Visage as well, Bristol back, like both on the lane, but also in the game. I also think he doesn't care at all, the CK and the Phoenix early on. I mean, later on it starts changing a bit. I really like Secret's approach so far.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like, Dota theory-wise, they have a much better shot this game than the last one, in my opinion. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure on the 9 hero, because he needs to be the one buying time for House Kidder, and 33 and he doesn't get last pick. He needs to enable his side laners this game.
So do you pick against the Lesh, or do you pick...
Yeah, you actually don't know. Rezo has been playing Lesh. This could be
Tusk Lesh. It's easy setup. I think it's quite laneable into the CK Phoenix, if it's going to be CK Phoenix, which I think it will be.
It's tricky. It's very tricky, actually.
Tundra's tended to not really prioritize, like, you know, counteracting like that matchup though, right? Like we've seen like Liquid's approach to Lesh, they pick like the lean a lot of times. 9 usually just sticks with his style.
Well, but still, 9 has his counter picks. Like when he saw Secret pick Pangolier, he went for Lizard Man, I forget the name.
Primal Beast.
Primal Beast. And I think he will take his opportunity to counter pick when he can. Like he really wants, you know, when he saw the Lesh before, they picked the Tusk, knowing that most likely I can get this matchup, and that's the one he likes, you know. So now he has to pick blind, and I think Nisha might have an opening to really punish if he chooses.
Let's see what he's gonna look at. I mean, we are getting a Puppy Chen in TI finals, which I think is very exciting, by the way. Like, I love it when both teams are getting their bread and butter, you know, because this is where you're gonna get kind of the finest Dota out there.
Play Dota for 20 years, and you just pick your favorite hero, you know, the one you want to play.
Puppy Chen in TI finals. What else do you want to watch, you know?
5 seconds remaining.
That's what he also picked the Chen now. How many times versus Alliance?
Probably many times, yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to remember the drafts for all 5 games.
Radiant.
10 years later, back at it. And what do they go for? Arc Warden. Okay, that is
very
interesting. That's quite the pick.
Yeah.
Quite different.
But look, I think Nisha's going to find something, don't you? I don't think he's going to accept the Leshrac mid versus this. I think he's going to choose a hero versus the Arc Warden. What's left? I mean, Pangolier is out. Batrider got banned, so they were already setting up for it. Is this 9's first Arc?
Arc Warden is very nice with the Tundra's heroes. It's very nice with their playstyle. It plays a lot like a Naga. It's a hero that's hard to deal with, that can open areas safely, get information. It's an amazing pick for Tundra's lineup. It's good against Lash, but I feel like Secret's lineup is one of the lineup that can make an Arc very scary, right? Like very scared, I mean.
But this is not a typical 9 hero, like whatsoever. Like maybe it's similar a bit to the OD, who doesn't rotate very much, but almost every 9 hero likes to rotate. Like there's Zeus and there's some other ones. Okay, Morphling.
Morphling.
Yeah, here we go.
Morphling mid most likely into the Arc. Probably expected it to be a pretty good matchup. There it is, and it's going to be a Rezo Leshrac. And they're just kind of sacking this Leshrac a little bit. And because, it's a rough matchup. Leshrac mid against Arc is not fun by any means.
But last time he played it, he ended up with Blink, Bloodstone, Hex very early on in the game. And I think if he gets the same type of snowball or the same type of game, I think it's going to look incredible. You close the gap versus the Arc. You don't care about the Visage. Like, you can also blow him up. I don't know. I like Secret's approach here. I really like it. And I think 9 might regret, you know, not having stayed for a more active hero. But let's see. I don't think anybody's going to help the Visage this game.
I mean, I feel Tundra's Dota. I think it's extremely powerful, but this is probably the first game, where I feel the most that they can be very challenged. And they can be crippled.
What do you sort of reckon, Fog? You know, Nisha Morph, it's popped off before. Is this a game where we can expect to see Nisha get to a level where he's going to be having the potential to 1v5 in these team fights?
He's got good scaling. They got good ways to force team fights. It looks pretty strong.
I mean, I've said it before, also in the last game, I think they do want to keep the ball rolling, Secret, and if they don't, Thunder's going to run away with it again, and they're going to get to play the map, and it's going to be a very painful slow death for Secret. Yeah, I mean, I think the ball is in Secret's court. They really have to score.
Nisha Morph is incredible. Like, he's one of the best morphs out there. He hasn't gotten to play it as much lately, but I think everybody that ever got to face his morph still remembers. He is an incredible morph player. He can make wonders in this game.
Let's have a look. We'll find out soon. Surely we'll be able to pop over to Coach, but before we lose your kind of final word, Seb, Secret, how do they bring us back from that loss in game one?
Tempo. Play their heroes to their strength. You know, it's a Bristleback, a Lesha, like a Chen.
Thank you very much, Seb. Over to Slacks now.
He's always ready for a fight. Prepare for battle.
You again?
Voila.
"30 seconds to battle."
We're a little bit better because that game one, it was a rough one. Tundra coming out all guns blazing and being able to take that first against Secret. I mean, overall, we did it, of course, towards the end of the game. You know, Secret, they were able to keep spirits high. We had a lot of positivity from the comms. Sure. Exactly what you need right after, towards the end of a very rough start to the grand finals fall.
Yeah, and I like the big pivot that they made this game. Rather than looking to chase heroes around, looking to try to catch Tundra, which has seemed to be one of the biggest problems for most teams this tournament, they're the ones who's going to be forcing the issue and forcing Tundra to kind of react to them. So let's see if that works. We see right away, Tundra, they go for this level 1 smoke play. Incredibly strong level 1 with the Marcy with the CK stun to chase heroes. But we see the Secret prepared. They had this early ward placed on top of their outpost to see immediately when smoke broke. Prepared for that early game.
We'll see how well, Secret can deal with some of the more different heroes that Tundra are bringing into the fray this time. Eyes are going to be on 9, see how much he can do.
Oh, that is annoying.
He's going to be able to get a just Chrysalis as he tries to get towards his lane.
He knows he has no risk. He's playing versus Chen in the lane, so you can easily go for these type of pressure plays. Give 33 that first few creeps advantage.
I mean, so this mid matchup as well. We're seeing two sort of greedy heroes here that have potential to really become the carries for both teams. The Morphling versus the Arc Ward. And anything exciting to come out of the laning stage? Is just going to be a trade in farm, or do one of these heroes have to be more careful than the other in this matchup?
Probably a trade in farm, maybe 9 slightly ahead if anything, but no, I'd say mostly just a trade. We've seen Nisha and just Morphlings in general. With the new skill build that you can go, you only have to put 2 points in attribute shift. You're able to prioritize having more points in adaptive and waveform. You're able to secure CS constantly, so I'd imagine Nisha does do just fine. Looking at top, this is probably the more exciting lane, I would imagine, to look at. The shards, the stun, flash, constant kill threats onto the Phoenix, maybe even onto CK.
Bottom lane. Blue sprays aren't stacking up, but the damage from Saction 33 is enough to burst through Chrysalis and take him out. Actually, he's going to even give a bit of a chase down onto Puppey.
He might go down too.
Finish him off as well. Saxon will be ready to dive in under the tower. It's the lane starting off with a double kill for 33. That's not something you want to see if you're Secret.
This is just the Tundra offlane special, right? I mean, this is always what they do. Somehow they're able to just always know how to apply so much pressure. And with this death, Soxa comes back, 6 tangos, a salve, 33. You see the items. They do this almost every time on the Visage. Tries to start with no regen, just tries to get mangoes and stats. So they can just keep doing this. I think Chrysalis
so much damage. He comes back into the lane and he's pretty much immediately down to a third of his HP. Top lane as well, we're seeing Resolution. He's getting zoned back, Snaking able to take down Zayas' courier. the shards down, but dives at the ready.
The first few levels are incredibly oppressive from this Marcy and Visage. This is one of their bread and butters. Puppey will start to attempt some stabilization with the lane, get the pullback. See what creeps he's able to get to kind of dissuade this damage that's going to be coming out. He gets a pretty good one. It's a good one to at least harass them back, kind of stop their aggression.
See how soon they're able to get to a point where Chrysalis is feel a bit more confident to step up the creep waves. It's not easy. Off to the side, Saxa. He's going to go to look to take down the creep.
They know how strong that creep can be. Good choice to kind of go for it there. And this is a great lane for the Visage where it's like, yeah, the Bristle, you know, as the panel, as Sabinoto were talking about, you know, you do counter this hero in a way as the game progresses, and even in lane sometimes, but also you have infinite mana, right? Visage is just always able to just bash out those spells constantly onto Crystallis's Bristle.
See that. Puppey quite able to take the small camp back before the respawn. Saxa ensure that it'll be ever more tougher and tougher for Secret to gain momentum and control of the creep waves down in this bottom lane. 33 is able to hold it in a fantastic position.
Good position and tons of regen, so they can always go for this harassment. Crystallis, I believe he's got his ring. Yeah, he's got it on the courier, so we'll have some sustain, but his stats overall will be a bit low. I think it's going to take a very long time for that to come out, so could still look to apply pressure onto him there.
Has got both his spells on cooldown at the moment, so Secret choose this time to strike. Skidder drags back Zayas though, and ensure that that last right click required to take Snaking down won't be allowed to be there.
Still holding the Fairy Fire as well too. He's just kind of baiting them a little bit if they did try to commit. So far looking at the mid lane, yeah, Nisha, he's doing just fine. He's actually gone 3-1-1 skill build. Okay. Not really feeling like he needs to go for any attribute shift at all versus an Arm Warden, only that 1 point.
On this bottom lane, Puppey in particular has to be very careful. I mean, Chrysalis as well, honestly. With a sidekick, with the rebound, Quill Sprays are stacking up, but Tundra, at this stage, with the lead that they've already managed to get against the Bristle, it very much seems that Marcy and Visage, they can kill that Bristle before the Quill Sprays become too much and he starts killing them. They know exactly when to push it, and they know that they can get away with it.
It's just like last time, right? When they have this Tide plus this Hoodwink versus that Pudge. This time it's Visage with Marcy. Heavy physical damage, Blades of Attack again on 33. Same build he's gonna go as last time. Not the phase boots, but of course just Wraith Pact, high damage.
I mean, how do you sort of recover from the state of this bottom lane? It feels like one more death from Crystallis down here, and it's going to be very, very difficult to bring this lane back in Secret's favor.
I like that he bought the raindrop. I think that's a good, at least, attempt to be able to... You can get a trade kill probably with those quills that we saw Saxa drop low. Just any type of small stats, any type of small survivability will help. His ring still sitting behind the tower. He actually hasn't brought it out to himself. He won a second.
I think the scary thing as well, of course, is from Saxa, you know, having a good start down bottom with the levels that he's going to be getting in on him. You know, the other lanes, they've got to be prepared as well, right? The perfect hero Marcy to have high impact at any part of the map that happens around these tier 1 towers early. They've got to be prepared for Saxa to turn up and turn things around, just like he was doing in game 1 as in Hoodwink. Bottom lane, another jump over towards Puppey. It's Puppey and Chrysalis try and stand their ground, but Puppey goes down. Chrysalis might have a chance to chase Saxa out this time, as Saxa has got any further options of getting away. He doesn't, so Chrysalis finally finding a bit of action going in his direction.
Honestly, maybe that's the way you have to do it. Just Puppey has to sacrifice himself. He has to be the one to just soak those soul assumptions for Bristleback to just get this type of trade, because otherwise, yeah, definitely seeing a bit of problems. But Crystallis, once he has Vanguard, he'll be able to at least stay down here a lot easier, and he's getting pretty close to it.
As we can see now, despite sort of the deaths that have occurred down on that bottom lane, Chrysalis, he's pretty much keeping straight even with the farm that Skeeter, you know, carrying for Tundra on the other side. The map is getting as well.
Yeah, pretty much Vanguard is going to be done, so should be a lot safer. And Puppey, he's going to start getting some levels, so he's going to be able to actually protect Crystallis. We see him grab some magic resistance and also just a little bit of extra damage. So that actually would help a lot. That little bit of Cloak Aura is going to come out. Could protect Crystallis enough. Let's see.
See if Saxa 33 can get away with this, but now with the levels, indeed, at this stage, it very much feels like it's not going to be nearly as easy as it was for Tundra in the early minutes of this lane to take down the Bristle. Chrysalis, as there's been a few deaths here and there, he's got through the rough bit of the lane.
But level 6 already. That is pretty massive for 33, having it this early on. The Blads is going to be on too.
Caught him in. Charge Nisha. He'll look to step over and finish off the kill. He'll get it. Zayas should go down into the Spark Crate. So both Mid's able to take a kill out of this one.
33's here.
He's turned up with the familiar. Chase out Nisha. Nisha's got a fair few one charges. Can
only
he find
level
a
one
touch away
shift.
for backup? He can't. The burst is there from 9. It ends up being a double kill for the mid-arc warden.
And they do punish him for having level 1 attribute shift, right? Maxing a waveform, having 2 points in the adaptive. You do see that they're actually able to get that damage come out. And all that is because 33 hits the 6 so fast down bottom.
He's able to come in, and of course the timings that are enabled off the back of that is pretty huge already. The completed Midas out onto 9. He's able to get this started very, very early on.
Beautiful.
As he's going to be making the money. There's every reason to believe that unless Secret can make any moves to find this Arc Warden, 9, he's going to start shooting far, far ahead of anyone else in this game with regards to the farm he'll get.
It feels like it could get to these points where maybe the CK pick is kind of this distraction, you know, and this Arc Warden, he's going to try to transition hard into that real carry for his team. Other good thing about the double Midas, as we saw there, you automatically get 2 neutral items. It's actually very nice when you're able to get it this early on onto 9.
The Dire's top tower is doing its best, but it doesn't.
And now they're actually, so look at this, bit of a dynamic change. Yep. They're going to put the Visage mid, have him match up versus that Morphling, and they're going to send the Arc Warden for the time being down the bottom.
To top lane. Trying to go for snaking. They do connect with the stun.
Nice
the
play.
Secret get in and take him down, and will in fact see Tundra sort of bail out from this top lane. Give a chance for Secret. They'll put some pressure on. Likely with the TPs out, probably not going to be an area at the map that Tundra will look to hold on to. I mean, we did see this, of course, last time round as well, right? Game 1, 9 minutes in, Secret, they get this good timing on the tier 1. Snaking will turn back up. If he's able to do anything on his own, he has to be very cautious. Secret still with 3 members around, looking to pressure on this top lane. So
He's just soaking, it looks like. Just trying to soak up any of that bit of experience.
But the fact that this has happened twice now, it very much seems that, you know, Tundra as a team, they sort of make the call to just not put any resources into holding that tower. Just let it go.
They tend to be, you know, that extremely efficient team, as we hear lots of players talk about. Very frustrating to play versus Tundra because they know how to dodge these plays, dodge this aggression, trying to make as little mistakes as possible. Another neutral item, of course. And yeah, giving Soxon now some levels too. So distributing that wealth, top 2 net worth, and the CK Skeeter. He's hero. He jungles just fine. He's going to be able to keep his pace up. And probably look to do what he was doing anyway last time. And still look to connect top, use Phantasm just to farm, kind of acting as this pseudo Naga Siren.
Of course, last game, very much saw that Secret, they never really found that chance to sort of get Crystallis involved. Top play snaking, out with the dive, doesn't matter. Nisha has got those final few right clicks chasing him down. Get the kill, so things looking for Nisha. And despite the quick Midas timing on 9, Nisha very much close behind him in farm.
And he's got this matchup always as he sucks, so they actually get on him.
He's got anything to rebound out towards. He doesn't. Secret, they hold him in the river. Able to bring it up even now, 6-6. Secret definitely doing a bit of a better job this time round at responding to some of these movements that Tundra's making around the map.
And playing around Nisha, right? With the skill build that he has so much potential. He actually has the gap closing potential as well too versus most of these heroes that can sometimes be a bit annoying to get on top of. So far looking to continue to play aggressive around this Morphling.
Definitely seems sort of a bit of a heavier focus around playing around this jungle of Tundra. Just trying to make sure that Skeeter doesn't get nearly as much space as he did last game. Obviously, the difference in dynamic this time is the concern that too much is focused on trying to shut down Skeeter's area. 9 goes uncontested, and it's been quite a few minutes now that 9's been able to sit down here on this bottom lane. He's getting complete free fall. A lot of space.
He's starting to be pretty annoying too. Crystallis is caught in an awkward position, eats 2 or 3 of those spark rates.
Smoke up from Secret. I'm going to try and make moves here. So far, Resolution Sides have done a pretty good job at killing off Snaking when they catch him. Skeeter, it's going to be a bit of a big kill. They're going to go straight in for him.
It's close to the tower, though. Let's see.
And it looks like Tundra made the call to not sort of throw in any further TPs. I mean, it's not even needed there. Tundra, they make the sort of calm response to not react with TPs, knowing that Skeeter's just able to walk that one off.
But with that slight moment of like space at all, you see Puppey rotate toward mid. This is how they want to play. They want to be the ones who are dictating that pace, dictating this tower aggression. We'll be able to claim this one early. Nisha, he's almost got his Dragon Lance also finished up, so very farmed so far on Secret. And they're also, in the meantime, I saw they are starting to stack Ancients a little bit too, so making sure they do have that condition for the Bristleback to continue getting that increase.
Got it.
Or Secret though, infinitely better than that last game.
It's certainly feeling a bit more solid, but I imagine to a sort of a point with regards to the drafts, this is sort of expected, right? This time around, Secret, they gave themselves a bit of a better shot of having this sort of earlier hold, earlier pressure that they're able to apply, and at the same time, you know, the change with 9 playing an arc warden instead of a
like
Tusk.
a carry.
He's going to react to sort of these moves a little less. So I don't think, you know, Tundra, they're not going to feel too under pressure despite losing some of these early towers. They've gone for a bit of a different approach this time round.
Absolutely.
And, you know, at the moment, under a 1k gold difference between the two teams. 9, I think he's still very happy.
Yeah, it's a totally different approach, right? The Tusk, who's super aggressive, constantly rotating, making plays. Now it's just, it's a full economy game, really. Everyone's just trying to find as much farm as possible until they find this timing. Wraith Pact is done. Looks like now they're trying to speed up a little bit, go for a tower pressure of their own.
They'll take this one for sure. Secret, they'll have no interest in this fight, this defense around this bottom tower.
Secret's maximizing. You see now, as we were mentioning, the stacks. Triple ancient stack, double hard camp. So Chrysalis will have a bit of enabling coming out here. Juicy.
Good farm for Chrysalis. We saw very much in game 1 as the Pudge pretty much held behind the entire time in terms of farm on cores. Clear these stacks, get on the road towards the Aghanims. That's going to be the point where you can imagine that Secret, they're going to really start stepping things up and get up towards the tier 2 pushes with a Vanguard, Aghanims, Bristle. They're going to want to do as much as they can aggressively with it before 9 suddenly turns up and he has 3 items done.
Very farm heavy game though. Showing all 3 lanes. See the Morphling shows bottom for a second. They show mid, I believe, on Zayats. Lesh top 2, but good ward coverage. So Secret, they know they're safe for the moments. Kind of grouping together with Puppy with the mech with the Hand of God. They're tanky. There's a lot of damage on Tundra, but this Bristleback with all these heals might just be able to pierce through them.
See if they can get top of any of Tundra.
Either.
Tundra's staying pretty hidden outside of the vision, you know, Secret. I mean, Secret, they know that Tundra do have a few up here in the jungle.
If they get any big kills, Secret could even look for Roche potentially.
They're going to settle for Saxa. Zayas catches wind of the Marcy off to the side. They'll go for Saxa. For Tundra, definitely not the biggest of losses there. They had a few cores farming in that area, and Secret, they weren't able to find them. They go for the support.
They're going to go
towards
for this.
Roche.
They have more than enough damage. They have the goo.
Do they do anything about this Tundra? Are they going to expect the Secret back up as quickly as they did into the pit?
It's not an easy place to fight.
It's going down so quick.
Yeah, it's going to be dead already. Secret, maintain the pace.
Very good moves here for the Secret so far. Absolutely getting to play their game so much more than they were able to do so last game here. 10 minutes in, they've got the Aegis in their hands. So.
Oh, so close.
Oh, it's close indeed. Snaking indeed throwing out a tip for that one. That was as close as it gets really on the back of an escape in the TP.
Tundra perhaps wanting to make a move of their own now. They do, because everyone's showing, right? Secret, they have been showing a lot in these lanes, so Tundra looks like they do want to try to counteract this. They have 9 who can constantly always show up to the fights too.
Yeah, I think for the most part, Tundra know that even though the Secret have that Aegis, it's sort of an Aegis that's going to be used to just continue to allow Nisha to farm safely, and Secret will be a little bit split up. There's the chance for Tundra to push for towers themselves, and to sort of head straight into these fights, knowing that they'll probably have the numbers advantage at this stage.
And they can take these towers pretty quickly as well, too. The Visage, the CK Phantasm tends to be always a Tundra strategy, right? There's so much on the floor. Wraith Pact, Illusions, Familiars, etc. So they can go for the push, but on the other side, Secret.
Taking Titu Tower here. Nice and early, 16 minutes in. Full on the top lane. Now they'll really be able to start taking over this jungle, this half of the map from Tundra. Really sort of shutting down the areas that Tundra, they kind of need to find, right? At least at their 2 main cores, they need space. Skeeter and 9, they want to be soaking up quite a lot of the map to get farm on these 2 carries.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be quite a long time before Tundra just looks for this head-on type of fight. Unless they see, like we said, unless they see Secret completely split up or something like that. Feels like it's going to be quite a farm game coming out from them. Even Soxon now showing mid. He might get punished for this.
They got him before. Looks like they're going to go for him again.
Find him, Zayats. I don't think they got vision of him for a second. Now they did.
Saxa has Skeeter by his side, but
too much.
Won't be able to jump over towards him in time. And there's Saxa going down.
Similar wards coming out from Tundra as they did in the last game. So this one, exact same ward, and actually this one not on the high ground this time, but similar kind of similar kind of purpose to watch any of these movements that are coming out from Secret, because Tundra, as we said, I think this is really going to be pretty emphasis of farm until 9 says, hey guys, I'm ready to show up. And maybe that's going to actually happen sooner than we expect, because I believe the Gleipnir is about to be done.
Just a recipe away.
That could be the indicator for them to show up. It does add so much potential for this hero. The damage, the control, everything, of course. But allows you to just freely land spark rates and kind of just keep people away from getting on top of you. So let's see if that is when they are going to look to fight.
It could be difficult to close that gap onto 9, especially considering the heroes that are drafted around him. A lot of frontline, even sort of from the supports, from Snaking getting him with the Supernova, Saxa throwing himself in as the Marcy, getting him with the rebound. Very much multiple ways that Tundra can set up a team fight to just allow 9 to go to work, with Secret having a really tough time getting on top of it.
Honestly thinking about it.
It's hard to push for this tower, even with the moments left on the Aegis. Secret very careful about how they look to make the next step.
Risky move. The one overextending at 5-man. They haven't seen this. They haven't seen the Arc Warden in a while, so probably don't know either what 9's got just yet. Level 13 on this Arc already. Running around as a unit. 4 heroes together on Secret. Was Chrysalis. Looks like he's got the BKB ready, so it feels like, yeah, Secret, they're just going to keep trying to push the tempo a little bit faster here. Out of blink now on the Lesh too for Reza. So as you mentioned, can be a little bit hard to maybe get to this Arc Warden without just the Morphling getting on him. Now Rezo's got a tool of his own.
Okay. And do you very much feel that Secret are on a timer? Like, even though they have this niche Morphling that's going to be able to get to these incredible power in terms of scaling, you still kind of fear the Arc Warden as the moments pass?
Fear the high ground for sure. Rezo.
Tundra. Quickly back out, Snaking. It's away in time, that snowball not able to catch him. Tundra avoiding the moves of Secret. Secret just trying to get some sort of aggressive play out of these final few seconds that they have on the Aegis of Nisha. Back over towards the mid, Saxa. A bit of a chase down onto Puppey. Puppey has got back up on the way. Chrysalis heading over to help out, and Tundra won't try and poke up into the triangle of Secret quite yet. Will Mosquito at the front. He's actually going to go for Puppey. Chrysalis now. Chrysalis starts to try and push back Tundra and Nisha. It's coming in from the side there, with the snowball for Mosquito, but Saxon's in with the rebound. Stone on to Nisha. Nisha starting to try and shift, and that's him gone. He's got Aegis. He's going to be back for round 2. Chrysalis charges in with the BKB over towards the Phoenix. Snaking able to get the Supernova off. Secret, they've got it back away from the ultimate for now. As 9 turns up with the Tempest double. No longer an easy fight for Secret to charge into. Zayas, he's trying to find some sort of angle from the side. But Tundra, here's a full 5-man. They're looking for Snaking, but the dives back up. They get the stun. Control out onto Skeeter. Skeeter turns with the stun himself, but he's life stealing back up. It's not enough though. Skeeter goes down. Secret able to get 1 kill out of this, maybe more. Chrysalis trying to lead the charge. Secret, they want to get something else out of this. Tundra, Thatcher in the trees, quick juke off to the side, back under the tier 2, he'll be fine. But Secret, they force a fight there around the expiring Aegis of Nisha. They get Skeeter, and with that in mind, they'll be able to get themselves straight onto Tundra's half of the map, continue to grow this lead.
Perfectly rallied, right? Rallied on Puppey. That's got to be the name of the game. He's got the flats, he's got the mech, he's got all these auras. We see the ice armor coming into play. Chrysalis had no fear. He pops DKB and he starts charging right through everybody. And then they nicely kite and play around that Supernova beautifully. Tundra maybe going a little bit too hard going into this Secret lineup when there still is that Aegis. So 10 seconds until it was going to go down.
Yeah, it was a very clean reset as well there for the Secret. As soon as the Supernova comes out, they're able to sort of back off. And you can see, from Tundra, they still commit into this. They very much feel that they've got the strength to do so with the 5 of them. Wasn't quite the case. Losing Skeeter here to what was a very patient Zayas, just keeping himself held to the side, looking for that opportunity to onto Tundra from maybe an angle that they weren't quite ready to sort of expect that entrance from the Tusk from. Back in action, talking about the Tusk, Zayas. He's in with a jump, they lock down Snake. To turn them at the blinding control out, but Skeeter's trapped. Trapped on the low ground, he'll stand his ground, the title was ready, the Prince going behind the and take out the 2 of them. It's a double kill for 9.
Oh my, Saxa gets the 2-man rebound and they get the tank stun from the birds.
I mean,
man.
This time round, very much a case of Secret kind of making the move into committing for the fight, but not having what it took there to sort of take Skeeter down at the same speed they're able to do back mid. Tundra able to turn and immediately off the back and taking down those 2 cores. They'll take the tip. One tower, closing that lead. The Secret were building. It's back down to sort of straight even here on the gold.
It's so much sustain that comes out really from Tundra's draft too. Their Vlads, their sidekick, everything coming to. I mean, look at Skeeter.
I mean,
watch his HP.
I think a couple of nice armlet toggles there as well for Skeeter, very much keeping him fully in action. Between that and the heals, there's just too much. They couldn't kill the CK this time round.
Not rallied around Puppey, you know. They have to be a little bit careful when they don't have all these auras that are making them that much tankier. Tundra's damage is pretty insane.
Yep. And when they go for those plays and Nine's just able to sort of sit back at a distance, it's concerning. You know,
He's
2 kills for 9.
And now they also have an AC, so starting to build up these auras to even counteract and play against this champ, but also protect versus this big damage that comes out from the Bristle and that morph. 33 is quite large.
Yeah, and we see with 9 next time queued up is going to be the Blink Dagger, so it'll be even harder.
Okay.
For Secret to get that jump onto him. We see any sort of snowball or hero running up at this Arc Warden. 9, he's going to be able to blink back, reposition, and allow the rest of his team to sort of be there in between him and Secret.
I love this type of build. Eventually, you can always build into like these overwhelming blinks and whatnot on Arc Warden, and then you have these double blinks and all this aggression you can do too. It's very oppressive as Tundra now starting to find their footing completely.
Well, look for Tier 2 themselves.
Sidekick Bird. Look how quick the tower drops. See you later.
Push. Gone in a matter of seconds, even if that. And off the back of that immediate smoke from Tundra, they know that Secret's playing over on Tundra's half of the map around their jungle.
They're feeling incredibly strong with this newfound AC on 33.
This is enough time for Secret to take a fight.
They also disassembled, so the
BKB
BKB
high grab 9 with the Tempest doubling starts things off with the Glype. They grab back Zayat. Secret, they've got to run.
I mean, that's also really cool that he can do with the blink too. Right now, he has an initiator. They don't need to actually rely on jump in. He just blinks in and gets a Gleipnir initiation. Yeah, BKB Skeeter had just finished that one up, so they felt strong to be able to go for this play. And now he's got Mage Slayer as well too, so items starting to being picked up on the side of Tundra, not only just to do lots of damage, but of course damage mitigation, as we've seen so much from them. AC, Mage Slayer, it's gonna start to reduce a lot of Secret's potential.
Yeah, it's so hard for them to burst through Skeeter like they were able to do that one time when he was caught on their half of the map.
It's a really good item this game, just like last time, versus that Lash versus the Bristle, reduce the damage of the Quills, even the burst that comes out from Morphling. So it's starting to come together for them. It's a very common build, of course, Super Skeeter.
I think for Secret, Nisha almost certainly making the call for them to just sort of hold off on any further engagements until he gets his BKB done.
Yeah.
Half the gold away from the rest of the, and it will be there, but it's going to be a little later than the timing that Roshan is going to be back in the game here. Roshan respawning.
They're walking up.
They are up on the high ground. They definitely want to try and do their best to push Tundra away from going for the Roche. See if they can hold them off from it. It's Tundra. They won't feel the need to be too scared of Secret. I don't know how strong they are. Secret, look at the smoke up. Trying to catch Tundra from an angle they won't expect. It's not going to be easy when Secret currently hold the position they are. They're going to try and swing around from the west.
Lanes are starting to kind of get pushed out, though. We see Tundra cutting a wave mid.
They've got this board on 9. 9. Already out of this area.
This is the Tundra special, right? They start shoving those side lanes in to try to put you into this awkward position of a fight. Everyone rallies together.
How do you make the call as Secret? How do you make the jump? Tundra with their own smoke.
They don't want to overextend for these type of jumps either. Like we were saying before, they need to stay kind of rallied around Puppey. Make sure that they can utilize these auras at a maximum.
Tundra rotating sort of all the way around where Secret's trying to step out for.
They found Puppey.
They're going to be able to get on the easy kill first. Straight on over the chair. Puppey caught by the Hex, taken down. Science tries to roll in, but there's no place for him here.
Puppey pig-pulled himself. Doesn't even get to get any heals off or anything. No Wraith Pack, no mech. Caught by the stun anyway, so likely dies. But now it's an option for them to go for Roche.
And with both supports down, I don't think the cause of Secret are going to want to turn up for this.
Oh boy.
This should be a free and easy Roshan for Tundra.
Pretty sharp as well. Skeeter's going to be loving that. Actually passes it away. Looks like he's gonna give it to 9. Okay, so more ways for him to protect himself and also magic resistance. So they can actually hold it. So we're talking so much about damage mitigation, of course, but this is another element that I feel like we don't really get to see too often. You fight inside the bubble.
Yep.
Your Lash, this Bristle, the damage might not be there.
It's going to be a fair bit of protection. Able to be kept consistently up and out on the field.
And things are starting to get a bit scary because the scaling for Tundra is getting quite strong. Even the Marcy, level 12 is online. BKB is on the horizon. 12 on Phoenix. Game plan for Secret is starting to get kind of dissuaded.
Around the mid, they do find 33.
Okay.
Alan on his own.
He's very deep.
They might be able to do something about the familiars as well here.
Big pickup.
A slip of a rare one as well there from 33. Out on his own for 40 seconds.
Can they turn it into more?
Is there something they can do with this one?
Yeah, they have to push out this bottom lane. Top is being dealt with Puppey, but do they have an opportunity to go for anything here?
Sax is very close to his BKB. Ready once again, you know, Tundra support, so many games where their supports just turn into additional cores. This is a Marcy, very much sort of the direction that Saxon will go as the minutes pass. Skeeter, so having his Blink Dagger done, they have killed 33, but it definitely feels like there's not a whole lot they can do with that. They're looking towards Nine's Tempest double at the top. See if they can sort of burst through that, get a bit of extra gold for themselves. They will, they'll take it down.
Have to go for the top play, because if you looked at the side lanes, lane, Phantasm was pushing it bottom, Phantasm Illusion was also pushing it, so it's a typical Tundra trying to shove those lanes down, and now they see this, they see them split up. So Tundra, they're looking to strike.
Full axe on Crystallis.
Comes out late though.
It does not quite at the timing that would have hoped for, especially considering the decent start they did have to this game. Zayat left behind up top. Tundra, everybody back on the map now. To get together, push down on this top lane. Still many minutes of Aegis to play with. Full Octarine done on 9.
He's so farmed. 6,000 ahead of his counterpart.
And there's going to be no catching up in terms of farm unless Secret are able to find these fights where Niche is able to pop off, get the kills, somehow take down this Arc Ward, and it's going to be a lot of money if they're able to do so.
It's not an easy task.
He's got his Crystallis on Nisha, so stepping up the damage a bit. We'll see how explosive he will be if he's able to get in the center of the fight, the waveform, stand his ground between the BKB and the mountains that he has.
I need as much. I feel like it's really appropriate that he's going this. I feel like they're really just going to need all physical damage as possible, because as we're saying, you know, we just have so many different ways to mitigate the magic damage that we always tend to do, especially with the Arc Ward and bubble as well. So yeah, straight physical damage, go waveform attack target, and with that, with the goo as well too, he could be dealing a lot of damage, but so far Tundra, they've started to really just take over this map.
Being attacked.
Okay, lead for 4 to 5k. Nowhere near as terrifying as the numbers were showing at this moment in the game, in game 1. Still very much feel that one more fight, next fight crumbles for Secret. That number, that lead's going to triple. Secret, they can't afford lose another team fight here against Tundra. At the moment, very much seems like they're opting to wait out the Aegis the Skeeter has. Not looking to head straight into anything for this final minute. Skeeter has that second life.
And Pablo's Phantasm to send out to all these side lanes. Bottom is being pushed, but immediately Naya goes down. So again, sticking together Tundra, and they will just find a free.
They will indeed. I mean, anyone that they catch, farm that Skeeter has, now that's completely destroyed.
High ground. They've got drums for the birds. They've got the sidekick we're going to see on the bird. Look at the speed. How fast it drops.
It's going quickly. Fortification is there from Secret.
They've got the Rezo. They've got Shard on Rezo, so he's going to be able to slow it down a little bit with these chain stuns.
We'll see if Nisha can do anything here as he's ready to see Fiova help out with the defense.
Oh, this is pretty. Look at these birds. Birds with magnetic field magic resistance, the attack. I mean, they're so strong.
They are huge annoyance to deal with here for Secret. We'll go for the resummon.
Stun
33 here. It's low, but he's still got 20 seconds or so left on the each. He's going back off. We'll see them catch out the two of them at the roof. Skeeter focuses in. Oh, that's him going down. Look at those final few seconds of the Aegis. He's ready for round 2. Saxa, he'll try with the unleash of the BKB. Quickly standing for water with his right click. So the Marcy's life. Saxa the football. Grab now on the Crimson. Skeeter 33. They get back in on top of the bristle. They take him down. Nisha popping the BKB. The retreat back behind her. Skeeter straight away. Blinks up into the high ground. They've got the lockdown. Everyone. Nisha wait for back up in time. Nisha gets away. Double buyback from Secret. They're putting everything into this defense. But Skeeter's in with the chaos ball. Oh, North resolution. It doesn't matter though. Skeeter goes down. Secret with the 2 buybacks will be able to hold and push Tundra back.
Nisha able to stand his ground there. Look at the damage done. 9,000 damage from the Morphling. The buybacks coming perfectly.
A defense That's for sure here from Secret. So they want more.
They gotta push forward for sure.
Crystal is spending up for that one. So up to the side, Zayat. Got the gap control onto Snaking. Snaking pops the supernova, but Crystal is gonna
die.
And he's ready to out, taking eggs down. Secret. They'll find another down bottom. Rezo. He's got his eyes on 9. Stun has already used it. Down in time. 9. Able to get away before Nisha's able to put a top to him. They'll still clean up the temp. Double. And Secret, with it sort of pushback, they're bringing the mid lane, bringing the bottom lane. Able to get the creep waves back under sort of their momentum, and they may just be able to take some tier 2s away from Tundra here. Close the gap, close the lead that Tundra's had to the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, this time it's Tundra fueling themselves a little bit too much in that fight. Just get counteracted from those buybacks. The damage. This time Rezo's able to hold his ground.
I mean, we're very much seeing it. You know, you get given sort of any window from Tundra, you have to take full opportunity of it.
Immediate smoke.
Exactly what Secret's doing.
Yeah, they got it. Smoke, sweep the map. They still have Skipper's dead. Ults on cooldown. Try to get as much as you can out of all
they've
this.
got to keep their foot slammed down on the pedal. So to find 33 off to the sun. But they're surrounding him, and he's got nobody else in the area. So 33, he'll go down. Secret. They continue to play it hard and fast, fighting back at Tundra.
I mean, huge play, really. Those buybacks are really coming into play. 33 even, he accepts his that he had the Aeon disc locked. He's like, no one's coming to help me. Just find their way back into this game. Nisha, he's massive now. Level 20 about to be taken. Also, Daedalus is finished.
Big damage to come out from this.
Gonna be able to focus fire these targets a little bit better.
I mean, we've seen it, as I say, so many times before. Nisha on morphing. This is the hero. You want to have him in this sort of position. He can absolutely carry any sort of game to the later stages when he's on his morphling. To top lane. So talk down.
Rezo,
9.
He's very deep. There's a Hex.
Hex. And Rezo should be able to get anything off. He's not. Phantasm's out. An overwhelming amount of damage there. Skeeter and the Phantasm.
That's the Hex reveal. He had no idea that was going to come. Usually you'd be able to maybe play around with the pounds coming in or the rebound coming in from Marcy with the KB, but did not expect that Hex from the tree lines. Roche will be a long spawn, 2 minutes. Zayat's ending under a ward here. Very careful how far up he is.
I mean, absolutely got to want to do their best to keep tabs of when Tundra head into the pit. They want to get out there, they'll want to contest them. They do not want Tundra getting this next Roshan.
Nice play from Nisha. The illusions down bottom, we see them cutting the wave. So making sure that they always deal with those lanes. It's always like the most important thing when you're playing versus Tundra, keep that lane equilibrium. Will be addressed immediately. 9 shows up. We're gonna just keep keeping into the pit. That's gonna be that next thing, 90 seconds.
Yeah, it really is. So Secret can set up in a fashion to make sure that they are ready to take the fight around this area.
Important to look at these buyback statuses at the moment too. So.
Oh. Uh-oh. Simply sort of maybe just a hotkey issue or something. It's going to be fixed by a quick reset here, the snaking. Very much, yeah, the moment that we're going to see them leading towards now. He's back in. Let's see if he can use his courier now. Quick check.
Look at lane positioning at the moment, though. Secret have to try to fix their lanes a little bit. They have this harpy creep. They need to perhaps try to cut things, but the moment Tundra have lanes in a very good position.
Let's have a look.
Phantasm is up in a moment as well. They're going to be able to keep going for this shove play. And yeah, Roche constantly going to be getting scouted. And the important thing is, Secret doesn't know about that deep ward down south. The one that was scouting side for, that's a very sneaky one that has not been seen. Oh.
It's not a good sign.
Uh-oh. His courier's bugged.
Let's see if there's going to be a hopefully simple solution to this.
A standard unlucky.
You can say so. Yeah, unlucky.
And that Nisha smile.
See if we get this sorted. Bit of a, you know, not really something you can play on with.
The big thing really to look at is, I mean, this Hex is going to be a big one, really.
Looks like we're just getting this checked out now on the stage. Should be, enough fix. I mean, not something I could say I've run into before, right?
I've had it with neutral items sometimes when you're trying to take it with waters and smoke. It doesn't have a neutral there.
So I think maybe the speed that we did have to reconnect the first time round could have been without a client set, so probably go for the full restart this time round.
Hopefully, if not, he'll be able to at least drop the wards and give them to a different courier so somebody else can bring them, but...
Be ideal. This ball is coming at a very important moment of the game. 17-17 here, 35 minutes in. Without a doubt, very much getting much more of a balanced game of Dota 2 on our hands this time round. Could they have dealt much better with what Tundra's brought against them this time round?
It's really neck and neck. Just because, I mean, especially how big Nisha really is. What's going to be able to do with this Daedalus? Approaching his second item afterwards, too. Survivability will be there for him. Let's see.
Let's have a look. Just cross, ladies and gentlemen. So are going to be all working after the pause. Let's see. Looks good.
Oh, no, it's I actually see it. It's like it's like stutter walking actually in the base, I think. Second, it tried to move. Yeah, it says retrieving items. See, look. Click on snake items. On the actual courier, it's above.
Okay, now we're giving it another try.
Usually he tries to pull it from... Well, he dropped it. There we go. Looks like we're good to go.
A little bit of a way to break out of a bit of a soft lock there on the courier. It's all good. We're all good.
I think we all needed that. You know, a little bit of a reset. Okay, let's get back into it.
So, you know, that was always a bit of a concerning position, but we're all good. We're all good. It has been fixed. Because there shouldn't be an issue down the line. Maybe the courier is just sort of stuck or something. But it's good. It's all good. We're back on. And around, of course, the focus next up for both teams is going to be this Roche out. That's the minute. Killer's going to respawn.
Wow, Nisha already.
All satanic.
He has it.
He's getting the items, Nisha. He's getting the items to be able to do this. But still, obviously a huge gap in net worth between him and the Arc Warden. That's always going to be expected up to a certain point at this stage, especially with the amount of freedom that Nine's had. Nine, of course, just get ball 0-5. It's a pretty much complete free fall across the map.
Tundra got the hex though.
They're again opening. There's no save though. It's going to be there to give Nisha a bit of a chance to break out of this initiation from Tundra. They jump across sides, looks towards 33. They push Saxa out towards the side. Nisha beating him down, takes out the Marcy. Towards the Tempest double next. Tundra losing Marcy, losing Saxa like this. Very careful about how they come up with the fight first.
Beautiful play really from Zayats. Just immediately, that's the big thing they have to watch out for. It's just the chain control. If they can chain stun, chain hex the Morphling, that's the way that Tundra kills him. I mean, all eyes on Zayats to go for those saves.
Wall there to get the hex, so Zayats is by his side.
He's got to be there
every single time. Zayats making sure that there's a chance for Nisha to fight back to catch him with the furthest. Someone trouble, they're taking him down!
He got out!
Out for 80 seconds!
He didn't have BKB still available, and they just commit for him. I don't think Sigurd saw that.
All he had was the stage 6 line, but even if he gets that off, he's getting caught in the stuns.
Oh boy.
Almost certainly.
And Roche is for the taking.
It certainly is.
It's a big one.
Perfect time for it to be back up here for Tundra. They head over to the pit. And with no Nisha, no Zayats, nothing that Secret could do about this. There's going to be a free rope chat here for Tundra.
And Zayats is there. He's there perfectly to try to go for the Sage. BKB Mantha still on cooldown. The double brutes. You see Gleipnir coming in. He's able to... So much control. And yeah. Page's cheese. Refresher shard.
Who's taking the refresher shard? Who do you want this on?
Usually it's the Phoenix, but let's see if he does opt to pass it to somebody
very
else.
Close to hitting the level up scene as well. The Supernovas have the potential to be huge.
Oh, they have this word up top too. Rezo. There's a hex.
There's not again.
They've got the chain stun.
Finding the opening in with the rebound as well. Toss back with it exposed. They take him down before the hex comes to an end, and aiming opportunities there for Resolution to respond. He's out for 70. He does have buyback himself. Still at 10 seconds without Nisha. Tundra, they're straight down the mid. They take out the range rats, and they'll look to get the melee rank as well. Crystal is trying to toss them away from him, but they don't care too much about him. In fact, they're just going to get aggressive on him, drag him back in. He has to put the BKB here. As the Phantasms continue to take down the melee racks, the full set now in the mid, removed here by Tundra, and they're sticking around. Nine up towards the top of the Tempest double. They're trying their best to force out this buyback from Resolution until the tier 3 is gone. A second set of ranks exposed.
Tundra to dice.
Be forced back at all. Fortifications pond. Sinisha. On top of the Tempest double. As soon as you know, Nisha's been caught with this other snowball. It's there. Zayat's able to bail the initiate that from the BKB. Look towards a second from the beginning. Turns towards Crystallis, disposes there. Crystallis is down. No buyback for him. There's 100 seconds now without their Bristle. Rezo, his own BKB to come to it, and he has to back off. He's just going to be so careful. The loose puppy. 2 heroes dead, no buyback on them. Tundra, they take a full second to the barracks.
They're just so good at just resetting and poking, forcing BKBs, forcing mistakes. Well, for the perfect opportunity.
They're not going back anywhere.
No way, Snaking still has a refresher shard. They couldn't even touch the egg in that last fight.
I mean, with it, so the purchases from Crystallis, he did spend up. Would have had buyback back in 3 seconds, but 700 gold short of it.
It's all gone. I mean, the way they show those buildings is way too fast.
I mean, the terrifying thing as well is indeed Cedar still with that egg, is Snaking still with the refresher shot. There's no reason, no need for Tundra to back off. They're looking to close this game 2 out. It's follows fall. Secret, they'll look to smoke up. Final attempt to stop this push from Tundra, but again just falling to the front. Rezo looks to jump in. Skeeter will drag back Resolution. Resolution trying to get the heal off with the Bloodstone. They'll keep him alive. The hand they've got from Puppy will protect him for now. But the Ancient still dying here to the familiar Secret. They're trying to push them back, but it's not going to be possible. It's going to be called.
Wow.
As game 2 also going to Tundra, who now lead the series 2-0 against Team Secret.
I mean, I feel like the whole game kind of flips the script, everything looking kind of finished. 9 gets this hex, immediately the game just becomes
Secret, they were just never able to catch him, Fog.
no, he kept the distance, he was like the initiator half the time, so it felt like he did it pretty much everything for this team, catching the split push, etc. Remarkable game from Tundra.
Well, as we said, a bit of an improvement maybe from game 1 to game 2, but it really feels like Secret, they've got to step it up so much more to have any sort of chance of stopping Tundra in their tracks, as Tundra now leading the series 2-0, just 1 win away from taking the championship.
Thank you very much, Odie, Pixel and Fog. Welcome back to our panel. And it doesn't seem to matter what lineup they play. They put on an absolutely clinical game of Dota. One mistake and then it's just, thank you very much, it's our map. I'm joined by Tika, Blizzard and Sheep. I'm just amazed with Tundra right now. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It looks so dominating. You know, it's like, is it a grand finals?
I feel like they just keep on pulling heroes out of the bag, right? Like even this Arc Warden, and it's not like they're picking heroes that they're constantly playing, but they make it look like they have so much practice on them. Meanwhile, Secret, at the same time, I think Tundra is in their head again. Like you can't play against an Arc Warden and let it be all alone on the bottom lane for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yep.
Just using that double Midas off cooldown.
Yeah, and this was the big turning point in this highlight here. Secret, after quite a dominating early game, even from tower to tower, they just kind of fall victim to that kind of choke point fight. And unfortunately, even if you are taking some of these earlier towers, feeling that you're taking the map away from Tundra, like Blizzard just mentioned, you're not stopping the Arc from farming. So at some point, you are going to hit that boiling point where Tundra hits a team timing and then gets to set the pace of the game themselves.
How many ways they have to initiate, Shipo?
I mean, they kept gaining ways to initiate throughout the game. That was like what I found the most impressive. When they finished this Gleipnir and stuff, they're starting with that and going into the Marcy Dispose. You know, before that they're using Marcy. Later they get the Hex. They're creating their own ways of initiation. They're sitting with 4 heroes in the trees waiting for Resolution Distract to just come up the lane and then pick him off like that. They are bleeding Secret dry.
And again, they're just getting multiple ways of gaining info, gaining vision. Like before you had, I don't know, a Broodmother Naga. Now you have this Arc Warden just spamming spirits everywhere. You have Visage as well. And speaking of Visage, it wasn't only 33 Visage, it was a Visage with a Marcy. Now you have a sidekick on those birds. The objectives are just melting.
Yeah, just the fact that you have as well, like 33 in lane, it's a Visage killing the Bristleback. Like this lane, you're not meant to win it. When you pick Bristleback, you're meant to beat the Visage in lane. So Tundra already just excelling inside that laning phase and just kind of catapulting themselves to kind of weather the storm. And maybe if that Visage lane didn't go so well for Tundra, you could argue that the Bristle will be a little bit bigger. The pace Secret could set could be a little bit better. But the fact that you win that lane, it stalls it out a little bit longer. So Tundra then eventually, like we already mentioned, hit this beautiful team timing where they just punish Secret once again in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, Chrysalis still had a decentish timing. They stacked the Ancients hard.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, Skidder here, the carry for Tundra. He's just had not only a great performance, but a great team enabling him. And I don't think he's put a foot wrong, really. He's always known what he needs to do, his objectives, and of course, his team fighting skills are, on par with that as well.
The optimization once again, right? Like you have this Chaos Knight who is building into a very early Mage Slayer. He's mitigating the damage that Lashrak is dishing out, and overall just being a true team player, just being up front, helping the Visage, and the Arc Warden do the majority of the work.
Again, just look at the stats that you see here, right? Like this is his first TI. He's hitting firsts in multiple categories. Like he is unnerved. He has unlocked his ability just to enable himself, enable the team. Again, we've had so many interviews where they just feel like everything's clicking, everything's right. And again, we're going into a game 3 where it feels like Secret just has nothing to answer yet to Tundra's playstyle.
But in defense of Secret, this was a better performance than game 1.
Yes, they adapted a lot. So from game 1 to game 2, you can clearly see how the cogs were turning with Heen and Puppy's mentality on how to approach Tundra. They needed to take towers early. They wanted to take away the map. Don't allow that fortified style of Tundra to set into play. Unfortunately, that didn't then lead to them dominating the map, them holding an aggressive position, because they fought it a little and Tundra then kind of sneaked their way through into the map and played again. So I think if you're going Secrets looking at this again, game 3, we need to do what we did in game 2, but better. We need to execute faster, quicker, take away the map. Don't let them even get that up.
Sheep, do you snatch, do you ban the Lash? Do you leave it in the pool? Do you pick it? You just lost twice with it. You lost on mid, you lost on offlane.
Yeah, I don't know if they need to ban it because I don't think Tundra are interested in taking it. Yeah, like it feels like they have a very solid idea against the Lashrak. I also feel like their way of drafting versus the style is not working either because they've tried this like Magnus strat with Ember, like ways to clear all these illusions and stuff, and it's not working. They've tried Bristleback and Lashrak. Also here is typically thought to be good against these illusions. It's not working. I feel like at this point your draft needs to go more in the direction of taking your own map control, fighting back against Tundra, because they are just able to play the map too well. You have to break that. That has to be the goal of your draft.
And this is something you mentioned, Lizard. The Arc Warden sat on the Tundra's off lane for 5 minutes, but Secret didn't want to engage. They were not interested in going down and making moves there. Instead, though, they did have the Dire jungle, and they did pick up a few kills. Do you think it was too passive to play around the jungle and not take on the Arc Warden, who was played by 9?
Yeah, I feel like it's easy to be complacent when you're playing a draft such as Secrets. You have this Morphling. He is going to be the ultra carry late game. The problem is you're playing versus an Arc Warden. You won't get to the late game if you let him roam and do whatever he wants in the first 15 minutes. He just gets too big, too fast, and gets that hex fast enough. You've seen what happens.
Well, we have to see what Secret are going to do for game 3. But right now, I think we need to hear a little bit from Tundra because before the grand finals, they sat down with Avo.
Welcome, Tundra Esports, to the Grand Finals round table. What is a peak Tundra game? What game do you guys think expresses your playstyle the most?
I can say that to me, it's not about the heroes. Like for me, like the peak Tundra, in my words, would be controlled chaos. I think that's how I would describe us.
Wow. Very cool. Is it a close relationship between you guys?
I think it's very important to be close to one another, to be able to function as a team. And I think right now, like, I really enjoy spending time with all of the guys. I think it's also partly the reason why we are playing well as a team, I think.
It's your first TI, Skidder. First time you get to play in front of such a big crowd at a TI.
Correct.
Well, how does it feel?
I mean, it feels great. It's all I ever dreamed it to be. And, I always wanted this to be a reality, so I'm just happy to live it.
You've had your experience at TI, particularly that second place with DC. In that tournament, you came in as the underdogs, right, into TI, or at least maybe not one of the favorites. Do you feel like that this tournament?
I would say so. Like, I feel like after the results in Saudi and the Arlington Major, we kind of had some pretty bad results, so people weren't looking at us as one of the contenders. which I think, like in hindsight, it was a very good thing to us. Even after we lost, we kind of said, like, no, it's good. Now we can go in as the underdogs, you know.
How do you guys feel about snaking as a captain?
He's always trying his hardest, and I think he's been doing a really great job. Like, he's always managed to stay positive, even through kind of our rough times.
And I feel like he's done a great job. I feel like sometimes as a captain, people fall into these traps where they kind of like, they had like maybe a bit too much in the ego and they believe in their ideas too much and they don't try to empower the teammates. But I feel like Sneh has done a good job of balancing this out, like empowering the teammates' ideas and also believing in his and trying to make them work. So I feel like he's exceeded my expectations for sure.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think he's very great at enabling players and their ideas.
We don't need like a strong leader in terms of someone that makes all the decisions. I'm really happy that we kind of have a captain in him, but he still listens to everyone. We still make decisions together and everything.
You guys seem to all have your own ideas of Dota, and you get to put them in your gameplay, right?
Yeah, everyone has like, especially when it comes to the different lanes, I'm happy that everyone gets to play the lane they want to, how they want to, you know. I know that whatever I want to play on mid lane, Sneh is gonna support me.
I'm curious about that. When you first described your idea of the mid lane to them, how was the conversation?
I think it started with Winter Wyvern. And I was just playing the hero in a pub, and I got pushed into playing it in scrims, basically. It's not like I was saying from the beginning that, oh, I want to play this hero, it's so broken in pubs. I started being more open to the idea of playing different heroes, and every time I started winning with things, people saw it and supported me and pushed me as well. I think everyone is very open to trying new things in his team.
How are the feelings towards finals?
I try not to think too much about it because I think the more you think about it, the more you'll overthink things. And you should just treat it as another game you're playing. It's not a big deal. Obviously, there's going to be a big crowd. You just have to mentally prepare yourself for that in advance. So then you're not overwhelmed by it by the time that the crowd is there.
I'm excited, honestly, which is a very good thing because I'm rarely excited.
I was very much emotionally neutral. So I just want to go in these games, play my game and just have fun and show some good Dota to the viewers. So.
How does it feel to play in front of a big crowd at TI? Is it different than when you play in the majors or anything like that?
For now, it has been easier than all the other crowds I've played in front of. I really feel like all the things come together this TI. Like so many moments. So many losses in the past year that taught me specific things. I use them now to win.
I'm just excited that I've been playing this game for 15 years now, or Dota 1 and Dota 2 combined, and I finally get the opportunity to play on this arena and get a grand finals. It's been a dream of mine for many years, and I'm just happy and grateful that I was able to accomplish it.
Yes, this is kind of going to be the biggest game of my life, but I think something we've been working about with our psychologists to kind of try and lower the stress is that all our hard work has already been done. Now, all we have to do is just go and play. So what I would like to do is just try not to think about it too much, pretend this is just a regular game and just go and play.
It was always my goal to come to TI and to win it. And since I've made it to the finals, I'm very happy for myself and for my teammates that I managed to do it. And now, it's the final step. I'm ready to take it.
It's been very long and very stressful road even in some ways. And you even have this feeling of being burnt out a bit, but now it's just finally here. I'm just super happy, and it's the only thing left to do is just play.
So there we have it. Tundra sitting down with Avo, and I just got to congratulate whoever the psychologist is. Either you've just worked magic and they're doing meditation, or you've got them all on meds, because they are the most chill team. That's a grand final, pre-grand final sit-down interview. They were so calm. They're here and they just want to take it. And they might 3-0.
I feel like they could just win 4 TIs in a row right now. If they keep right now, if they play tomorrow another grand finals and then another one, the fact that they're all 5 just in the same mindset, answering in the same tone of voice, they're just
a unit.
That is scary. They are one.
I did like the fact that they did ask everybody what snaking as a captain as he sat on the end of the table.
How does he drive them?
He's just going,
He's just sitting there and listening as they praise him for 10 minutes.
But they should. I mean, they made it to the grand finals, and he's very chill. And 15 years of Dota, from Dota 1 to Dota 2, and we can take a look here at some of the win rates versus Puppey, and there is snaking.
He's positive.
Exactly. This is the most important thing. So the other day I was looking at snaking win rate versus Puppey, and I saw Noxel starting tweeting about it. So I went onto that Dota, looked a bit deeper, and yeah, it's basically there's only 4 players who've ever got a 50% win rate positive against Puppey. Only 4 players. Everyone else is sub 50%. So snaking today, with his victory, yesterday, bumped him up to over 50, drawing with RK. Now he's winning the 2 games currently. He's now 51.8. If he wins the next game in this grand finals, he'll then leapfrog Bulldog and be 2nd place. Again, it is insane.
But with what number?
With a 52.6% win rate.
Oh, I love it when you talk numbers.
There we go. Oh, you like that? But yeah, everyone, all the Tundra fans, they love snaking right now because he clearly is the secret source, maybe, for understanding that Puppey mentality.
When's the last time you've been to NA? Tell the truth.
Last time?
Tell the truth. What's this NA copium over here?
They're literally like insane. Like, again, to be clear, Secret, they have to do some mad work in this interim. They need to properly break down Tundra, understand everything that's happened in TI in a single 15-minute break, because Tundra is looking flawless.
I don't know how you're meant to do it in time. I actually genuinely, they've tried 3-4 different strats and this was meant to be their idea. We're bringing in the Chen. We need something to take objectives. We need towers. They took that Roche in 14 minutes. They were doing everything right, and they still crumbled. Their strats were just not up to par with Tundra.
And it's not just the heroes, right? If you look at the players, it's in the first 2 games, they literally switched up the roles. You had Crystallis playing a carry, then he was literally dual flame Bristleback. It wasn't some Midas Aghanim's rushing Bristleback. No, that was Vanguard BKB. He's just gonna stand in front. Nisha was the Leshrac, the mid laner, the classic playmaker. Then he was the Morphling, the ultimate win condition. They're switching everything up, and nothing seemingly works.
If they have to focus on one particular thing to improve, draft, map control, team fight, in terms of draft or the team fight, because they can obviously team fight, but they just seem to be just outmastered a little bit. But what's the one thing that you would want Secret to kind of really have a conversation about in those 15 minutes between game 2 and where we're going in game 3?
Would you like to take it?
I think you just reset it, right?
Okay.
But you've got to change something. You need a reset, but it's...
maybe it is just draft. I've seen a lot of success on the Rezo, Crystallis, Dawnbreaker. That's not getting banned in first phase. Maybe that's something to explore as a strat. It's something that lets them fight globally and often, it covers a lot of your heroes. This heal might let them turn the fights around.
I'd lean more on conviction. When you take an area of the map, they want to be able to play there. Don't allow Tundra to be able to sneak back out and then start skipping the waves that way. So if you have this early aggression, make sure you have extra catch to get there.
Well, we'll see, because their time for Team Strat talking over. Puppey with Team Secret will re-enter the arena. If they are to take this, it needs to be a reverse sweep. Sitting with a 2-0 lead, Tundra, calm, cool and collected. They are smart, but Snaking said in his interview, do not overthink it. Don't try and get too smart, and that's exactly what they've done. They've just been able to play their game, and it's Team Secret that need to break it. This could be a 3-0. Tundra scary right now, and it's, even though it might not be if it was a 3-0, it's sure, as a fan for either of the teams, you want an absolute amazing game of Dota with all the back and forths, but really, if Tundra can take this 3-0, it's still so impressive.
Now, let's be real. We want more games, right? We want more games than just the 3-0. But if you're Secret as well, you just need to focus on yourself. You can't let Tundra get into your head in the last best of 3. Focus on your drafts. Focus on what made you get this far. Because nothing works against Tundra if you're focusing on their heroes and banning them out.
This is one of those grand finals where if Tundra win at 3-0, it's the celebration, the pro enthusiasts will be they just played such beautiful Dota. And this will now be how do we want to play Dota? The whole shift of DPC season will be, we'll look at Tundra. How do they skip waves? How do they always have the same element in every draft? Win at 3-0, it's the celebration, the pro enthusiasts will be they just played such beautiful Dota, and this will now be how do we want to play Dota? The whole shift of DPC season will be, we'll look at Tundra. How do they skip waves? How do they always have the same element in every draft, even though heroes are different?
Is there something you'd ban out, Sheep? Is there a big element of Tundra that needs to go?
I don't know. There's too many heroes to ban for them. When I looked at last game, I think the biggest crack that I saw in their gameplay was when they were repelled from Secret's base and they were suddenly on the back foot of we have to get out of here. And I think Secret took advantage of that really well for a short time. They were chasing them down lanes. They were getting pickoffs. They were forcing them to use their ults, and they kind of fell apart for a moment. Like, they didn't reset properly. Their resetting was usually really good, but when they kind of had to re-engage in the map, it felt like they were just kind of getting picked off, like on their Visage top. Stuff like that, if they can just apply more pressure from the side of Secret, like maybe Morphling is too slow of a hero. Maybe they do need to just go all in on that hard tempo, all 5 heroes, go, go, go.
Full divide dota.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how LGD started getting taken down at Arlington, for example.
Now, how dangerous are Tundra going to be with a 2-0 up? Because already their drafts are hard to ban out, but now they have options. They've got games in the bag to kind of... I'm sure they don't want to throw one. You're shaking your finger at me,
No,
T-Gov.
no. You watch that interview, they are one. You know, they say draft, there's no need to change. We are winning. We shall win. We shall pick the same heroes. We have exactly. We have that second lowest hero pool in all of TI. We just continue winning. Like they don't need to change.
Imagine Aoi, right, staring at you with an expressionless face. He shrugs his shoulder. Why change it? Of course.
When they can communicate, you know, telepathically, that's when it will get scary, but it almost seems like it at this point. But can Team Secret bring it back? That's what I want to know.
I completely agree with what Sheepo said.
Focus on their draft, not the enemy.
Focus on their draft and their gameplay. If they could be a little bit more aggressive, if they could be a tiny little bit faster like they were once they defended their base, it looked like they had that game back in their control. But then a couple of mistakes here and there, they just need to be more focused. I know it sounds like such a generic thing to say, but the moment they got the game back, they fed a couple of kills, unnecessarily kills on the side lanes.
Yeah, and on top of that, have something that can kill Wraith Pact. I hear really.
Tundra leading the way to. And Seb, Notel and Fox here with me for the draft. I mean, boys, 2 games now where Tundra, they've looked scary. We saw in the second game, Secret maybe trying to break successfully into sort of this sort of impenetrable force that Tundra hold the game hostage with, but it still wasn't enough. Can you see them taking it to the next level, or are you concerned for them now going into this game 3?
I don't know, there's very few names I could find, you know, around the world to pick, like to break Tundra, but Poppy would be one of them, right? I mean, Poppy, Heen, they have so much experience. Of course they can. Of course they can. I want to believe they can, you know, I want more games, and yeah, of course they can.
I want to believe too. The copium tank is pretty low right now. It's running very low. I think Orange player was to admit they need to push it to the limit. You know, I think Nisha was having an incredible game. I don't think they missed a few moments last game that could have turned into. It could have made the game look a lot more doable for them, but you also see the power of Tundra. Like, they have some ideas. They seem to be on top of their heroes, like the combinations, the Arc Warden with the Visage too. We haven't seen this before. Yeah, and now we're at least seeing Secret get their Marcy hero, so I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to have a hard time believing that Tundra can be broken.
I mean, there's one thing maybe we haven't seen as much in this grand finals from Secret is like full-on lane dominance.
Yes.
You know, Marcy could kind of draw the, like, lead the direction, lead the back into, crushing 3 lanes, and maybe Tundra just doesn't come online. You know, we net up like 33 play Brood against Secret in the upper bracket finals, and that's probably one of the worst had in the entire tournament, and that's what Secret. And yeah, they can do that, so it could be one route.
That was with Monkey though, and Monkey has been banned in every game.
True. Yep. They are setting up for it.
This Bristleback also, I mean, I don't know, it's like Tundra knows their heroes so well, and I feel like they had counterpicked the lane in last game, and yet it didn't work.
But you know, I feel like they banned the Monkey maybe to threaten the Brood, but Secret still let the Brood in, and they decided to ban the Tusk instead. So I think now it's like, Tundra, do you still dare to Brood? Like, you want to test our ability to counter Brood once again? And Tundra is like, no, let's keep it open, and let's decide a little bit later what 33 is going to be playing.
Yeah, he has options, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're just going to save him for later on. He'll have a bunch of cool options. And you're going to be forced now, when you see this, they're going to have to ban the Naga Siren. They're still going to have to take the same initiative they did the last time. They're still going to stick with the Lesh.
I don't think it's wrong for them to stick with the Lesh. I think Lesh had tons of openings in both games. Solution was playing it really well, and it opened up this Morph pick, but they were second pick. I mean, I think this game's going to be really hard also because it's drafting order. Like, it's extra tough for Secret to figure out what what they want to do, because they can't keep it open till the end. They might go back for the Dawnbreaker. I mean, we haven't seen them. It's been ignored the whole series so far. But I also think rightfully so. But I don't know what Secret are going to do with first pick here, like for the next phase.
Radiant team.
And yeah, we have to really look at the bans, and they have to coerce them again into something that is going to lead into good things for them.
Yeah.
Meta's having a field day right now, you know? Like the Brood is still in, Tide is getting banned. I think, Secret need to pull out some aces.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to keep track of, but to be fair, probably their best bet is to build on what they want to do and only counter what's going to get in the way. So if they believe that this Naga is going to stop what they want to do, then sure, ban it. Else you might as well play against it. Obviously, it is scary to play against Tundra's best heroes, but at this point, it feels like all they have is best heroes.
Yes.
So you might as well.
Yep.
Always a substitute, right? Like, as we saw, we saw a lot of times a bunch of different heroes for 9, but then, I mean, we were all sitting there and we're like, wow, this magnetic field, this Arc Warden just buffing everyone up, making them like immune to damage. It's something you pulled out of left field.
That was nasty.
I mean, I wonder if the statistics, there are probably some stats for the damage reduction that teams have pulled off, like between Wraith Pact and Smash with
the pipes.
And the pipes and stuff. And I feel like they must now be up there, right? Especially with the Arc Shard. That's something new.
Mage Slayer as well too, right? Like, it seems like they always just have layers and layers and layers of it, which, I mean, you guys are very familiar with, of course.
Yeah, I love myself some damage reduction. Spectre, nice.
Yeah.
Good times.
Stampede, IO.
I mean, we'll see. I think Secret is debating whether or not they want to target the Naga. They're probably, because theoretically you could consider that, you've got yourself a Leshrac against the Naga or Leshrac against the Slark, which are the very popular skitty heroes.
Yeah.
Maybe Nyx should take higher priority, for instance. Look at matchup to matchup.
Yeah.
But it's, you're one game down, like one game away from getting eliminated, as in like losing the grand finals, and you give them the hero they've been dominating with. It's a hard call.
Oh my god, they banned a Brewmaster.
They ban up. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. I feel very scared of the Naga. That's me. Like, I would not choose to play against it, but like Seb is saying, what are you going to choose to play against? They beat the Visage before, and it honestly looked very doable last game too. Like, they had moments in this game, even though they missed, I think, a few opportunities. It does seem like, I don't really know. There's Broodmother too. Oh boy.
It's just, so many options.
So they banned the Conker out, and I think that they're really threatening, the Brood second phase with the Conker ban as well.
Yep. I would really want to see Secret address the Mirana, like address the Moonlight Shadow, because I think it's actually what makes these heroes really scary, because they really get to disengage. Like, this Tiny is gonna throw his spells and not get punished for it. Guy in the other game and the 9 heroes, like, I would want this hero to kind of, if they get too close to the action, to die.
What about Zeus?
Yeah,
Zeus
these kind of heroes, like
Zeus Lash might be a lot of the same thing, but I wonder, like, you play against Mirana Naga.
Yeah, I think like very reliable lockdown. I don't know if it's Disruptor Glimpse, if it's Zeus, ulti. They need to find a way to stop Tundra from, poking, kind of, slowly, kind of, beating them down, like kind of agony, the slow agony of in and out heroes that are using the Moonlight Shadow, like
long range, disengage all the time.
A lot of those heroes are left in the pool. The Life Stealer we've seen that's countered the Leshrac a couple times that we haven't seen Tundra go for too much, but it's been banned a lot of times. The Naga Siren's still in, so what's their option? I mean, they get their Pango instead.
They go for the Pangolier.
Leaving things open for their last 2 picks, right? Yep. Now they have 33 as the pick of the litter, 9 Skeeter does as well.
Same drafting scenario as game 1 when they were second pick. They picked the Saksa, the Snake King, and the 9 kind of trio, because these guys actually play as a trio. They play a lot in the Fog of War. As we said, they feed on Skitters and 33's map pressure. So this is what they want to play with. What they want to counter the Lash early game tempo with, and now they're just going to decide how to set their silence up for success.
And this next pick for Tundra is so scary. I mean, for Secret to pick, they maybe still want to address the Brood, right? Because, sure, Pangolier could be Neta hero, could be the 9 hero.
Silencer.
Now,
Crystallis actually has played a lot of Marcy position 1. I don't know if he's done it officially, but in pubs he's been playing it a lot. So I think that's also an option, and maybe that's a hero that he feels like will counter Neta's pull no matter what.
But isn't it really hard now? Like, you're also afraid of the Visage, Brood,
all those
picking Neta heroes, and now you pick the Silencer. Like,
I feel like if it's a +1 Marcy, I feel like it works. And to be honest, I like the global, like, I really like the Silencer Dawn route against Stun.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, take it away.
Nice.
So now the Brew ban makes sense, right?
Yeah.
At least in a way.
Makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Okay, they're taking it from Tundra. That is a...
I think it's a good approach.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
I think it's a very good approach. Also for the Mirana, we're talking about the Moonlight Shadow, we're talking about this long range. I think...
I like the pick, but the only thing that scares me is you're now in the most important game, like the hardest game to play, and you're picking something you haven't touched yourself against a team that's probably the smartest at playing with it, so perhaps also playing against it. So, you know, it's like, you have to execute it. Theory-wise, I like it, but...
But what they picked before didn't work, right? So isn't it in a way really good to switch it up?
Yes, it is. It is.
Even though, I mean, yeah, back against the wall, it won't get harder for Secret than this. 2-0 in TI finals?
Surely. Now I wonder, is this a Naga +1 or could it be flexible? That is what I don't know, because obviously we have not seen Secret use Naga as much.
Does Sayak play +4 Naga?
I haven't seen any of it.
They haven't played it.
They haven't
played it at all.
Yeah. But it's really hard to guess what they're going to do with it. This Marcy could be core or support, so that's the specs, basically.
Okay.
That's the 33 hero. It's a beast into Naga, which is interesting, but he does like the axe build a lot.
No, but I've seen it. It makes Naga suffer a lot on the lane. Like, you think it's illusions normally versus beast, but Beastmaster has skill points you can put in different things, and it turns out that you can actually get a really good lane versus illusions. Like one avalanche plus the beast, if you catch him summoning it, then you're left with just a naked Naga who only has Riptide.
Yep.
Everyone has massive wave clear. It's like the typical Tundra. Every single person can push from the fog, clear creep wave almost instantly as well too.
But Chrysalis has played this in the past. I've seen him play it in the past in pubs, and you know, I think it's a fantastic hero versus Tundra.
I see it. I mean, Tundra for sure is gonna hate the lane pressure kind of against them. They really want to, and also they do have nice wave clear. I mean, Pengo's pretty nice. Beast is also decent, but maybe Naga's still too much.
Naga will overwhelm it eventually.
Yes.
At some point.
Yeah, at some point, this bottom and Tiny, they can't push back against Naga.
I want to ask, what's Tundra going to ban here? What are they banning for? Are they banning for a Nisha mid hero? Or are they banning for a offlane hero? I mean, I'm assuming that they're assuming Naga's one.
I think the offlane heroes are more problematic than the mid heroes.
Because it could be Sayak hero coming up too, and Resolution playing the
Marcy.
The Marcy also.
Or it could be a Naga 3 or 4, which is maybe a little bit more crazy.
I wouldn't assume it,
no.
but of course.
I mean, that's probably more likely. Now we see the troll ban too. We've seen Rezo play Marcy quite a lot in the qualifiers and stuff like that. He was playing it offlane a lot.
Yeah, they've been owning with the offlane Marcy.
With great success.
I wonder what his stat is, but I think it's very positive.
It's tricky. It's tricky. We'll see what Tundra is going to decide to respect, because they also have to be taking a guess here, and it's not an easy one. So whatever they're going to ban is going to obviously tell us where they're placing the Naga and where they're placing the Marcy, assumingly, or what they care the most about. Obviously, they cannot know for sure what Secret is going to do.
Lots of going on, I think.
There's a lot of pressure on these bans. There's a lot of pressure. Okay, so...
Shaman.
That's interesting.
Right, so they're looking at Marcy core for Secret. So then, in that case, most likely a Marcy +3
but I also
and a Naga
think I think it's a very interesting read on the game, right? Like, why do they ban Rasta here? What does Rasta make? I think it makes sense with the Naga, right? It's like it's a lot to do with the Naga, and what you're saying about like this hard lockdown, not letting heroes like kite around you. Shackle can be an incredible tool.
And right now they have very poor lockdown. Like, it's only Lesh Stun and Marcy rebound, which is very unreliable.
Yes.
Right. This Hex could have helped a lot.
Yeah, and it's also one of the Sayak classics. Okay, next ban. Yeah, I think they really want the Marcy to be core. Obviously, they could still flex it. I'm not sure what Resolution could be looking at. Other than that, Sayak has a bunch of heroes, right? Like, Sayak has a bunch of heroes. He has the Earth Spirit, which is a good lockdown. He has...
He's Blade Shaker, Dusk is out.
Blade Shaker.
They do ban the Clockwork. For some reason, I feel like we might be surprised by how Secret's gonna put the heroes, but maybe that's just my mind going
pick Nisha's
crazy.
hero here, right? Nisha, what could Nisha be picking? They mentioned the Zeus. I don't know if it's that good here.
I'm stuck on this Marcy +1. I can't get over it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but we'll see. This is exciting.
Seconds remaining.
They're out of time, right? Is that reserve time?
They've got a little bit.
Okay, they've got a little bit more. 15 seconds to go. 15 seconds to decide. You know, probably your fate. A lot of pressure.
Misclick.
Ember Spirit.
Ember Spirit. All right.
For some reasons, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan if we're doing +1 Naga with the Ember. I think there's a little bit of de-synergy, but there's also some synergy. It's just not all the way.
I mean, it's a very good Ember game.
But it's good, really good versus what they're playing against. Yeah.
Ember versus bottom Tiny Pango, and even Roar, they're gonna have a really hard time catching this Ember. He has the backup of Global Silence. If he does end up catching a kind of a stun, he has the backup of Sleep. this Ember can be the king of the game. You know,
So-
Nisha can pop off on this.
But do you still think that they're doing good?
I would assume it's a Marcy last track, you know? Zach, Marcy, Rezo last track, Naga Silencer safe in an Ember mid.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I would say so too.
Natural.
But so we've seen Nine. He likes to counterpick when he gets the chance to. I wonder if he's happy with this matchup, like the Pangolier. I mean, he has to be the Pango, right? It has to be Skitter Hero. Never mind. Medusa.
Right. We have not seen that hero.
We haven't seen that hero, right?
I think that's a first USA.
Wow.
I mean, that's a Skitter Hero. We've seen him play it a lot in the past. Yeah.
Okay, Medusa.
Stylus is on the Naga, yeah. No funny business here.
Do they have enough damage to take down a Medusa is what I'm thinking, you know?
When Tundra starts grouping up and forcing...
It's not easy for these heroes to take down Medusa, because, you know, Lesh and Ember,
Lesh, yeah.
They might lack damage.
Yeah.
Probably that's what, Tundra is trying to abuse here.
We saw one Naga earlier who was from RNG. He went fusional on
Could be
the
interesting.
Naga, and it could be interesting again this game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so Tundra's plan is to get this Dusa to a point where you eventually can go tier 2, Roche, tier 3, and the group up is going to be really strong with the Beast, and the sieging is going to start happening, and that Secret I kind of demise if it does happen. Whereas if Secret, they manage to stall the game out and start splitting, and you know, Medusa is also very punished by a map that gets spread out really like quite a bit, and he doesn't like running around, so...
Funny, it feels like both teams have swapped roles in terms of how they want to play the game, right? Secret wants to be dodging, and Tundra's going to try to hit critical mass, group up around the Dusa, the Beast, and just try to, you know, end it. So we'll see how it works out. Very interesting to see how the best Naga team plays against Naga, you know? Doesn't get more interesting than that.
You have any copium left for Secret?
I do.
You do?
Of course I do.
Okay.
I want game 4.
Me too. I really want game 4.
We'll see if we're going to be getting that here. I mean, overall as well, Fog, you know, just sort of seeing Skeeter on this sort of hero. It's been, what, 2 games so far with Tundra. Each time, whether it's been Skeeter or Nine, they've just had this core that Secret haven't really been able to touch. Do you feel that may be the case here again, or do you believe that Secret, they can make sure that neither of these 2 cores from Tundra get a free game?
Tundra are magical the way they make space, especially for Skeeter, and I see 4 heroes that are pretty damn good at it. So let's see. They're the ones who know how to play versus the Naga Siren, so let's see if they can actually be put to rest.
I hope for a 5-game finals. I hope these players are in here and really enjoying the moment, you know? I hope we get some good Dota.
Absolutely. Sort of final words, Seb, you know, coming into this for Secret. We saw them able to sort of keep the positivity high at the end of game 1. Do you think they're going to get this game 3?
There's a reason why Puppy was in the finals 10 years ago and why he's there again.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here. We'll pass over to Slacks now. It's going to be with Bowie for some words before the game.
"30 seconds to battle." The battle begins for good and all.
A sweeper, a Secret able to stop them in their tracks. First of all, though, before we get into the action, we've got some words behind the scenes from Puppy during that last draft. Trying to sort of build spirits coming into this game 3. As they need everything here, Secret, to try and be able to turn things around against Tundra. 2 games now where there's just been a point where it seems all over. Tundra They've just been all over Secret, closing up the games as they wish. Here, this game 3, indeed, as we talked about during the draft, bit of a different approach from both teams.
Much
and
different.
Tundra absolutely tries something completely different there. You know, obviously, Aoi mentioning that cosmetics were a bit of an influence in terms of why Skeeter's running the Medusa in this match. But regardless, you've got to imagine they still pick it because they feel that it's going to have its strengths here. Something that other teams have not been able to find in any of the games so far here this international point.
Yeah, they probably feel like it can get to the scaling point, but the laning phase could be incredibly difficult. This is a very oppressive lane that Secret does have down here. And Mirana, I mean, we've seen Snaking do fantastic work on it, but sometimes you just can't really protect these cores. There's a reason these like Medusas and Clinks have not been picked too often. Their lanes can just get completely shut down. So let's see if Skeeter and Snaking are able to do it. Right away, we're seeing those immediate tangos. 4 or 5 of them are already being passed off to Skeeter. He's gonna have to bring more down because of the harassment that's coming out.
Of course, one thing that's gonna be feeling good for Secret, I'm seeing already some action from it here down bottom. Zayat's getting his hands on the Marcy this game. One of the stronger heroes from the tournament.
They don't have one of those heroes that really benefits the most off of the sidekick. Usually you do see, like, when Tundra does try to opt for it, they have like 2 or 3 heroes they can throw this sidekick onto. Not really many on Secret, where it's like, wow, amazing sidekick. Like, sure, the damage bonus on an Ember can be decent, but Naga Siren getting sidekicked up isn't really the best. So it's gonna be more of just this ganking Marcy in particular.
And do you feel a bit more comfortable overall with Secret's approach? You know, this game, Crystalis, playing what you could only describe sort of as more traditional carry, right? It's not this Pudge or Bristle that's going to look to be forced to get involved at an earlier time. He can look to sort of take the game a bit more on his shoulders as a harder carry as the Naga Siren in this game 3.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, like, he should be able to eventually definitely take over the map, and they do have those elements to be able to push it and abuse those side lanes. It's very, like 702 are saying, it's like the script has shifted completely. It almost looks like a Tundra draft on the Secret side, except for the silencer. So I could definitely see Crystalis perhaps get to that point, but let's see if he's able to with the pressure that comes out, because Tundra, you said, super oppressive. It looks like Skeeter, he's having a little bit of a rougher one, as we've seen. Snaking actually getting a lot of last hits in this lane 6, because Skeeter's being pushed off a lot from this aggressiveness.
I mean, that's, you know, sort of something to be said there, at least Snaking, making sure that not too much is getting missed from the both of them.
Yeah.
I'll see top. Puppey, it's going to look to chase out Saxtra a little bit. Sax will be fine and into the trees. I mean, mid lane, this time round, having the Ember Spirit here for Nisha. I mean, what's sort of your thoughts on this hero? I mean, a bit later on in the draft, is this a game where Ember Spirit's going to have the luxury of sort of darting around the team fights, or is there a few concerns for Nisha?
Definitely some limited disables on the side of Tundra. He could have a spectacular game. However, Ember at this tournament has been having some difficulties, of course, kind of committing into fights. You kind of just run out of steam at some point, it feels like, on this hero lately. So we'll see what he's going to be able to make of it. Top, Saxa.
He's trying to trade with Puppey, but Crystalis will step up, make sure that Saxa can't continue to stand his ground against the silencer.
Now we see the build, of course, from 33. It's Axe Max, but also just he started with the Sage's Mask straight into the Bassi, starting some Mangoes. It's typical approach from Tundra, and just keeping the spam on. He sees top CS.
And sort of a Secret, you know, in terms of, obviously we talked about how Tundra can deal with the mid. Secret, you know, for Secret, how well are they going to be able to deal with 9 when he hits this point where he's coming in with those early rotations, heading to the side lanes with the Rolling Thunder? Can they deal with the Pango's aggression?
He could be big problems. I think we have to watch for these globals, if he's able to catch it, like in between these rolls and stuff like that, how much Puppey's going to be able to do to catch this with the combination of Nisha. They do have burst damage to be able to just kill this Pango in some situations, so...
So far in the mid, Nisha, a decent bit of a lead here, 29-5 against the 21-2. He's best with a consistent slight spam here onto 9, keeping him low.
Both kind of doing the same thing to each other, keeping each other just at gank. That's scarier, I would say, for the Pango. He actually has to go back to base because there's a Marcy, so whenever you're getting put low, you always have to expect this rotation to come in, so we do see 9 is forced back to base.
Yeah, we did see Zayat, indeed, step over to that area, see if that opportunity was going to be had, but as you say, 9 plays it smart.
As soon as he goes missing bottom, even for a couple seconds, they do have to be very wary of it. Thinking. At the trade, he's got 2 in Starstorm, too.
True, Zayat does get too low. Snaking will look to jump in and burst through him.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more hits and he would have probably been able to go.
Bottom lane, it was a bit of a slower start in the first few waves. Looks like Skeeter's able to back up here to the amount of farm that Rezo's getting out of this. 26 for 7, 23 for 6, and he's got this full wave coming in against him. Skeeter, you know, despite the early pressure on him, dealt very well with those first few waves, those first few lanes that have had to match up against Secret down here.
They've been so good because of this Mirana, really. Like, Snaking's actually being able to bully and make sure that Skeeter's able to have a decent laning phase because these 2 points in Starstorm. He's able to trade with pretty much anybody. And we see this rotation coming in.
He used the 6, and he has indeed hit the 6, and Alamine 9, he's more than fine. In fact, trying to use that ult to set up a bit onto Nisha, but the Remnants are the ready. Nisha himself in the 6. 9's able to roll across, pick up that Arcane Rune. As Snaking and Sax are heading over to help. They're jumping with a rebound. Zayats goes down. They'll even be able to turn over towards Nisha as well. But 9 will die for that effort. Maybe feeling a bit stronger than he was there, charging forward with the backup of his 2 supports. But 9 ending up losing his life off the back of that aggressive play.
Nisha does incredible physical damage right now. The corrosion and the blaze of attack finished.
There's so much damage yet with maybe 3 points in slide.
Yeah, maybe thought he was going to be a little bit tankier, and immediately they rotate in Zayats, they fill up the bottle, so looking to play around Nisha as much as possible.
Absolutely, yeah, Secret showing that they can bring their supports mid as well. I'm sure that Nisha continues to have that edge in this mid matchup. Only about a 600 gold difference to lead here for the Ember Spirit. Nisha playing it well so far.
I mean, that tends up being the decision there. So Secret, they're going to be like, okay, no longer can we really pressure the Deucer early game. We're just going to look to buff up this Ember Spirit so he can be the one to kind of take over the map. Since Naga's now having her own free time, they're just going to be like, all right, Rezo, you're sacked for the moment. We'll deal with this Medusa later on. Still keeping the silencer even around the mid lane.
$33. Looks like he'll give sort of that top lane to Saxa. 33 will start to clear a bit of the stacks. Prepared here in the triangle.
Yep, he's got his helm creep finished up too, so now he can look to actually pressure the lane. Once he's got this creep, he can go back up there.
Bottom lane. Taking a bit of an effort onto Skeeter. Mana's starting to get pretty low here. Nice and resolution. Snaking on target though. Holds back Rezo. Limits the ability for Secret to continue to chase down Skeeter, but we're seeing heavy pressure now from these two, and it's going to become even more. Secret, they're bringing in Nisha to make the aggressive play down here. Skeeter immediately out of the area, does not want to mess around when these sort of rotations come out from the mid.
The earlier ward that Snaking placed for to watch the rotations of the Marcy, actually this time catches the Ember Spirit, making the rotation down. So Skeeter, we've seen him, actually last game did the same thing, got pushed out of lane relatively early. We'll go to jungle, and Snaking's going to sit in the trees and sap.
And it's this timing again, really. So this 8 to 9 minute window where both games, Secret, they have been allowed to get this early tier 1 tower. So once again, get some good pressure on at the moment. Snaking, same position he did with last game, sapping the XP that he can. Over in Secret's half of the map though, Saxa's got a bit of a catch on to Crystalis. Crystalis incredibly low. 9, he's ready to jump in with the Rolling Thunder. That's Crystalis gone. So while Secret put the pressure on down bottom, Tundra make the most of that information to catch out Crystalis alone.
It's so much pressure. As soon as the Dominator's finished up on the Beastmaster, he's shoving the lane in. They're looking to catch behind, and yeah, Saxa, he finds it. Maybe now going to take away some of this jungle, take away the bounty rune as well. And look at Snaking. It looks like he's potentially maybe trying to drag a wave or something. And maybe try to grab that, but unable to because he's getting chased. It does mean that they're not going to get the bottom tower on the side of Secret, and top tower is going to drop to the side of Tundra. And Snaking is just base making. Oh, unless Rezo reads him.
Nicely done there from Rezo. Giants able to jump in and throw Snaking back into the clutches of Resolution. They'll get themselves a kill out of that Secret.
Oh, beautiful play from Rezo.
And see Nisha diving in sort of pretty deep into Tundra's half of the map. Trying to really keep Skeeter on his toes. Make sure this Medusa doesn't feel too safe to farm in this sort of deep area on their half.
He's not really at risk of too much. They have to bring so many heroes to kind of punish this Ember Spirit, so really like the play from Nisha. He's just keeping this Medusa low, keeping him scared, because if a +1 hero comes in, it's a free kill every time. And now, with this, potentially able to take this bottom tower point, put into Edict. So we'll be able to match that move from Tundra up top. 2-2.
10 minutes in. Similar to sort of the close start that we were getting at least out of the game 2 of this grand finals. Secret very much having their own strengths. Overall though, see top of the board there, 33. He's making the money on this Beastmaster.
We've seen this from him a lot on his Beastmaster, especially being top net worth when it was very popular. He was playing it so much. And we'll see now if there's going to be a play from Secret to look to invade the Ancient area, because that's kind of like the Medusa specialty, is farming these Ancients. In the past, most games with Tundra, they actually don't do this for Skeeter, because he's usually playing with these illusion heroes. So let's see if they are going to look to punish him.
And sort of in comparison to the drafts that we have from Tundra in Game 1 and Game 2, would you sort of consider this Game 3-1 a little bit more vulnerable in these sort of early stages? Like Secret have a bit more of a chance of shutting them down early?
Yeah, absolutely. Medusa just takes some time before she wants to show up at all, so it does feel like they can look to be playing pretty aggressive, just have to really avoid Nine in particular. I mean, he's the big playmaker. If they can kind of
Nisha
move away from the Pangolier.
Let's see if he seizes the opportunity to go for Saxa. Sentry down though for Saxa now. He knows that she's watching him.
Tough grab though. Nine is still, I mean, really lingering in the back line.
He still wants to maybe do something.
He's got to fight the flank.
It's a bit low on the mana as well. Won't have too much to throw out here. There's the opening for Nine. In with the Rolling Thunder. They'll pop the global.
The creep takes the arrow.
Stun. He won't quite connect, and now Rezo tries to turn, but the global comes to an end. Saxa turns for the combo. Avalanche toss to take him down. Resolution falls, but Science has the backup of Nisha. Secret, they'll be able to take something in return. Oh, maybe not. He's out with the sword, but he goes for the TP. But Nisha will be able to dive in with the Remnant, pick up a couple, maybe more. Chains her up. He has enough mana to stop the TP from Saxa. Puppy's here as well. They'll chase out the Tiny, surround him in the trees. It's a triple kill for Nisha.
What a play. Skills up the Searing Chains after he gets the kills. Immediately has enough mana to do it too. Beautifully done.
This is exactly what Secret need to be seeing from Nisha. They have to have him just step up to the next level. Something that he has done before in some of the series here during the playoffs of TI. They need Nisha to be on top form to have a chance against Tundra.
And you see why they put so much emphasis on him in the mid lane. Fill up his bottle, do everything you can to make sure Nisha has this game so he can make that space for this Naga Siren, who now, Crystal's free in the jungle, and they have a regen rune sitting bottom. So Zayat, he's camping it for Nisha so he can keep his impact on the map. All about this Ember Spirit for Secret.
Skeeter isn't confident enough to step up in the mid. Secret, they'll definitely make a jump on this. They'll get him with the opening. They've taken out his mana. The damage has been done. A risky position for Skeeter to find himself in. Secret, they don't hold back at all in making that jump. They know that Medusa is in a completely dangerous spot, and it hurts. That's Skeeter out of the game for 20 seconds. Secret, they managed to put some pressure on the mid, and of course this is just continued gold and XP being fueled and funneled into this Ember Spirit.
Still has the regen running, so he's full HP, full mana for this push. They can still look to fight if anyone does come in, and Tundra doesn't feel like they do want to fight here. Dropping too fast. Big moves.
I'll have to let this one go.
And tons of space. Crystal is now able to rotate down toward bottom.
Nine is keeping his eyes on Chrysalis, but of course at this area, out on his own, not able to sort of make any sort of move or aggressive play. It's not until he has the Diffusal Blade done. When that's there, he might be able to look for some solo action.
I was looking to see if we would see that build queued up also for Crystallis, because I believe Nota was mentioning, I think it was Hector who did it actually in one of the games as Naga when he was playing, and he went this Diffusal Blade, and it was very strong. So if he can opt to do that, if they even want to.
I think
the thing is though, do they even want to though? Because like the Medusa, maybe they don't feel like they even need it. I mean, how little this hero's been played.
You might sort of see the argument for just getting that Skadi online as soon as you can. Of course, Skadi's going to have incredible benefits, limiting the Medusa in these fights.
This time around, really finding their footing. Now for Tundra, playing around 33 is probably the best option. Helm of Overlord is finished, so he is a big problem for Secret.
Resolution's pretty vulnerable, as 33 opens up with a raw easy kill there for Tundra.
That's the big hero that they do have to watch out for. And yeah, snaking with these Moonlight Shadows, this has kind of been one of the biggest things that Tundra's been able to play around.
And you got to watch out for this Ember Spirit next fight. He's got his Maelstrom done and a DD in the bottle.
Oh boy.
You don't want to fight around this Ember unless you're guaranteed to have the lockdown. And of course, this is a point where Raw has been used. Nisha is going to be able to play with that timing in mind. Not too much that he has to threat when he turns up to these team fights.
And there's Global available too, so even if the chain stun comes out, like if Sansa finds an avalanche, they can pop it down.
He feels strong, he's ready to go in chains, followed up by the Global Silence. See the Rana, Snakey try and get off to the side, but the Slight's there. They take down both supports.
And they might even get the Helm. They will.
Extra 250 gold, I believe, going the way of Resolution, so more money for him. I'll speed up the Bloodstone. Really is, you know, should being able to step it up a bit more in game 2, but here in this game 3, Ember Spirit so far, so good here with these early plays. And hitting sort of on towards the level 12. Once he gets that item done after the Maelstrom, we'll see what it's going to be if he feels he needs to get the BKB, play some sort of into some sort of safety for the next item. At the same time, as we say, with sort of the lack of lockdown, he might feel that he can just build up that damage, continue to play aggressive.
I think he probably wants to look to play as aggressive as possible. The space for Crystallis is amazing right now. He's just having the time of his life on this Naga Siren 2K lead. And Secret, they're still clustered together. The lanes are all in a good position for them, so they can just keep looking to fight. Even though they don't have global.
See what they got around a bit. Another catch here from Nisha. He's in with a slight change. They're off to the side. They're going to dispose back onto Saxa, but Science and Puppy just gets shredded by 33 and his Dinosaur. As Tundra, they're ready to see if they can catch more Snake. He's in with the arrow. Wicked over the slight change. Nisha's just able to take him out amongst them, but Tundra, they continue to get more. 9 rolls in, takes out Rezo, who's got his eyes over towards Nisha. It's pretty deep here. Up towards the tier 2, they'll continue to try and chase him. Chains back up. Oh, Nisha stops to sort of dig there, a bit risky. He's going to get caught by the avalanche. Nisha goes down. As Tundra, they hit back hard, straight down the mid. They take out 4.
And now Secret, they're looking for the fight. They're like, we don't have global, we don't really care. We can still look to get this, but an avalanche from the high ground. I think catches, what, 3 heroes? Axes as well from the Beastmaster, catches multiple. Tundra in position perfectly to counteract Secret.
Yeah, as we've seen time and time again for Tundra this series, they know when to go. You give them any sort of opening, and they just go straight for it. And both supports taken out, and then they know it's their time to run down. And it is this sort of timing as well. 33 for the most part. He's been getting so much farm out on his own. Now he's looking to play with the team. Set up action, rolls back up, opens up on a resolution. TPs are coming in, but Rezo gets burst here by 33 and Saxa. Tundra, they're really starting to get the ball rolling once again.
I-33 is just a monster. 3-0 and 3 every time he shows up. They're just
He's so farm. Look at his farm.
He's level 14 as well.
So much pressure as well. 17 minutes in, this tier 2 starting to fall. Tundra, they're sticking around here on the aggressive against Secret. But he does have the global up.
They have to try to take out this 33 Beastmaster somehow. He's doing way too much damage. Crystallis is still getting all the space in the world, but that is a pretty devastating hit. Losing Nisha like that.
Absolutely. We're going to get to see Crystallis have an impact this game that he just hasn't had in the series so far.
Sure.
Both Game 1 and Game 2, he just never really got the farm. Pretty much stuck at the bottom of the cores. It will be a different story this time. So Crystallis, he'll absolutely feel a bit more powerful when those inevitable team fights occur that he has to turn up to.
That being said, also though, Skeeter has started to get ignored a little bit because of the moves Tundra's been able to counteract for Secret. He's got Manta. Now he can freely push out those waves. Without having to show his face, he can actually survive in most situations.
That's very true. I mean, as you said, on the Medusa, you're always going to have a tougher time opening up in this sort of game. And Skeeter, arguably, he's got through that tough spot.
He got through one of the tougher ones, and he's always going to have excellent Mystic Snake targets. You just throw that onto the Lesh in most situations, you get so much mana back in the fights. Secret have to be careful in these next few moments. Can't make another mistake like that. Gonna smoke up. Nisha's still having quite a bit of gold in the bank. 2,600.
See snaking poke at the wave mid, but they want something much bigger than that. They want 33's life.
This is the best kill.
See if they can blow him up here with the combo. Straight in, but already 33's off the side. They find the chains. Saxa's here to help out. Rolls back up. They turn with the roar onto Resolution, holding back the Leshrac. They'll turn his attention over towards Saxa instead. But Tundra, they want to look to try and take this fight. 9 rolls up straight up the high ground. He's got the opening start on the Resolution. The roll continues, of course, through the song as Resolution's taken out. At 9, he's ready to close in on Crystallis as the song comes to an end. Illusion's back out for Crystallis, snaking. Jumps forward with the Starstorm, trying to burst Secret down low. The curse kicks in onto 9, so no further spells available to be casted on the chase.
But now
Resolution's gone. 33 as strong as ever, steps over into the Roshan pit. They were so close to maybe catching 33 by surprise, but they couldn't quite find the initiation off the back of the rebound.
They waited.
They're trying to poke at them here, Secret. Sort of deter Tundra from committing to the Roshan, but it's rough.
They waited a little too long, it felt like on the Global. Every spell got casted, and then Global comes out. The Roar and the Avalanche was already there to kind of let 33 get the distance, so Secret, again, they have to be careful with these mistakes. It's got to get punished every single time. Tundra is all at the ready to look for these fights, and now, with Skeeter at the ready to fight, they're going to look for their own battle in 4 or 5.
Skeeter's ready to join in. He's got a point in the Stone Gaze as well. He's ready to pop that ultimate. Stop Secret from being able to sort of take the fight head into them. He's in with a jump. He gets the toss back. They'll get the quick pick onto Puppy. Puppy gets burst through. Rebound in from Science over towards Saxa. The Stone Gaze has been popped here, so Secret they can't come in for now. He's actually going to end up tanking the Roar out the back of one of the illusions. Rezo's going to attempt to run down Tundra with this in mind, but off to the back lines. 9 straight in on top of Zayas, controlling the Marty. Good bounces here off the cliffs. Leaving Zayas no option to escape. 9 takes him out pretty much solo. Jumps over the swashbuckle. Stun will connect though. 9 is falling low. Nisha has the damage. They take down 9.
chase for more.
They've got the curse on the 33, Rezo. Pops the Bloodstone, getting that mana back up. He's ready to chase. He's closing the ammo to the Beast Master. It's going to be another for Secret. Triple kill for Nisha. Only Skeeter and Saxa left here for Tundra. Saxa, he still wants to fight. Jumps in with the toss. The Avalanche under the three of them. They're taking out Resolution. There's going to be a buyback from Zayas. Secret, they're putting everything into holding this fight. Keeping Crystallis safe. Nisha, he's so low on mana. He hasn't really got much, but obviously trapped up on the high ground. He's got one more slide of
He's
fist.
burning.
But Skeeter, he's burning off the bullet for the Dragon. 33 kills him off. Skeeter will surely die here. Can they really get him out? Oh my, they're going to get him out.
Is he really
going to
get
him out?
away?
They can't close the gap. Skeeter's going to live.
God.
He's going to live.
Oh, Nisha, he gets stuck in that little spot on
And
the ledge.
the Dragon, the burn, he feels it there.
And the whole fight,
He's
too.
stuck.
A fight that lasts, I mean, what feels like almost 2 minutes. The Hawk is scouting everything in all these situations, too. Tundra, amazing at the way that they can reset from these fights. With Secret, they do get some big kills.
I mean, yeah, more. No, sure. Nisha dying at the end of it. He's 10-2-2. He's still doing everything he can here to hold on to this game against Tundra. But in these fights, Tundra's still able to take to sort of the next level once again in this game 3.
I mean, look at the start, too. The arrow does connect on the Naga. They're almost able to get the roar, but 33 unable to get it. It's the start there. I mean, crazy chases.
Skeeter being able to walk away as he did. That's definitely going to feel frustrating there for Secret.
I mean, the way that they're able, just the reset, the constant reset and jump forward, the way they play around these cooldowns. Saxa, how many avalanche toss combos was he able to get in this one? How many axes did you see thrown out?
We'll see Skeeter about 2,300 gold away from the Skadi. Couldn't kill him easily enough then. Once he's got his next item done, he's going to be such a huge terror in these team fights.
Crystallis too, though, still getting big. The Orchid is finished, so he also has a level of control, perhaps, to catch this Pango.
They're ready to make the move. They know Roshan's up. They don't want to head straight into the pit. They want to try and get a pick off first. Secret relatively prepared, though. The fourth and grouped up. Rezo, the one to be pushing out alone. TP on cooldown for 9 seconds. We'll see if he's able to get out of this area of the map in time.
They always have the Hawks scouting out, trying to get information. If they get the initiation onto one of the big heroes of Secret, it's going to be a really tough comeback. Even though they have global, one of those heroes will probably die instantly if Tundra does get that drum.
We see sort of from Secret as well. Skeeter pushing out the mid lane as kind of aggressively as he was over on Secret's half of the map. Secret, I suspect that something's up. They're sticking together, and now, sort of keeping the timing in mind, knowing that the smoke from Tundra's probably come to an end. They might try and sneak a Roshan off the back of their own smoke, though, rather than look for a kill. They're straight into the pit. 33 shows bottom. They know that they've got a bit of space to go for this. The question is, can they do it fast enough?
It looks like they do with the Unleash. Drop down. Tundra do have the split push coming on, but yeah, this Roshan.
That's a big move for Secret. A smart timing there with the smoke.
Now Rezo probably feels a lot safer. He can charge in, almost BKB done. He's going to be able to commit into those backlines easier. Secret find themselves a pretty big window here.
See what sort of the play is to be here from Tundra. A bit of a different position to what they've been in before in the first 2 games. Secret having this first Aegis on Resolution. But for the most part, very much has been the core that Tundra have struggled the least with taking down. Now he's got that Aegis. Tundra, they're going to have to think twice about how they go about these team fights. Still going to try for it, though. They're in with the Moonlight Shadow 9. Quick burst onto Puppy. Caught out the Pango, but onto the side. Zayas been caught by the Roar. 33 commits straight down. Takes out Zayas, but Nisha's in. That's 9 out of the fight, and Nisha, Crystallis, they're in for more. Diving over towards Saxa with the Remnants. Saxa trying to toss it back, but with the axe, Nisha, he's still got Remnants to play with. Closes the gap. 2 more kills for the Ember Spirit. Nisha now up to 12 kills here, 24 minutes in.
They get the initiation onto the 2 supports, but Nisha, Secret, they're all there at the ready. Yeah, this Aghanims saved the gold, got those big kills earlier, finished it up, another 3,000 gold for him too.
I mean, he's getting to play exactly the game as you sort of expect him to be able to in this sort of draft.
Limited
and he's
control.
playing it perfectly. Nearly hitting level 18. He's got 3k gold in the bank, ready towards his next item.
And Crystallis is
He's a problem.
Crystallis is starting to get toward critical mass as well. Heart almost finished up. So, Seb No-Till, they're saying, could there be some damage issues perhaps versus this Medusa? It's starting to get to the point where could there be damage issues to deal with this Naga Siren too? With the way this game is going, with the way Secret's been able to play around Nisha.
Now, very much so. Crystallis. Very, very impressive looking this game. Something that we have seen him bring out. Look at the first 2. Puppy. To get caught out quite a few times. He's Secret. There's not Nisha, who'll go in with the first few renders. Resolution and Crystals are heading over. They've lost both support Secret, but it looks like the cores still want to try and take this fight.
The Scotty.
And Resolution, he's walked into this. The set up into the arrow. Rezo, he's out the once. I mean, can they protect him a second time? They do have the song.
It's only level 1.
They might have to use it here to disengage. I don't think Secret.
It's tiny, though.
They're not going to want to stick around for this 9.
It's only level 1 song.
He's in with the chase. He's got the slowdown over the fusion blade over towards Crystallis. They jump in with the combo. Crystallis getting burnt down to half health. Skeeter in on top of the roar. The swashbuckle. He's gone.
They have the damage.
And they're ready to look for more. He's put the BKB resolution, but Skeeter in position on top of him with the Scotty. Puppy back in action. Pops the global. They'll kill off 9 for the dive.
Skeeter free hitting.
The rest of Tundra, they're still pushing on. Under the tier 2, it's Resolution down.
Nisha
has got one more remnant.
Got 2.
It's going to go in aggressive.
Nisha. And now Skeeter.
They get the catch. The dispose. He's going for the TP. Have they got anything to stop it?
They do not.
They don't. Skeeter's out. I'm going to feel that fight all in all. Certainly could have gone a lot worse there for Secret. A very bold decision, right? They lose their 2 supports. They still try and force something with the 3 cores. Doesn't look too great of a move when they lose the Aegis as quickly as they could, and Resolution dying very quickly. But somehow, some way, they're able to punish Tundra a little bit for that aggressive move towards Secret's own tier 2.
I mean, it's the Nisha show, really, right? He's the one who's doing all the damage in the fights. If he's not controlled, he still is able to do a crazy amount.
That's
but
true.
they do get the Naga. That's the big kill. Skeeter survives, and they get Crystallis this time.
Yeah, 15, 2 and 3 here from Nisha. He's giving it his everything, and he has to.
Full Kai Assange finish up after his shard and his Aghanims. So his damage still crazy. However, his damage is incredibly good versus everybody except for the Medusa. That is still the issue. So Skeeter is still finding this footing. He's just still behind this Naga Siren in farm.
At this end of this fight, once again, you know, Tundra, understandably, they're like, it's only the 3 cores. We can chase these heroes down, get some more out of it. But they end up losing heroes themselves. Look, Unleash for Zards. We get out a Sentry Ward and a Courier from this. Let's move forward towards it. But Secret, they have the full 5-man in the area. Nisha very much fit to fight.
And Puppy now has an Aeon Disc, so if they do catch him in some of these situations, he will get the global off for his team to follow up.
Certainly will allow for a chance of a bit of a different outcome, as we've seen pretty much the last 3 times. Tundra, they always find him and sort of force Puppy to either not get the global off at all or use it in inopportune moments.
You see Cloak of Flames now picked up for Crystallis, so easier ways to cut waves, tankier for his illusions as well.
See there on the win probability, still very much a strong belief there in the power of Tundra. How much farm Skeeter still has, and how much farm 33 does. You know, 33 gets to play these fights with his Summers Alive and sets up with a Roar. His impact, it's going to be big in these team fights. Secret holding the high ground. Tundra trying to break back into their own jungle with this smoke.
They have this ward. They see they see at least 2 or 3 heroes right now in Secret.
It's a difficult area to fight for Tundra, even if they're making the jump off the back of a smoke.
They see Puppy with the Aeon Disc too, so maybe gonna look to poke and prod it, force it. Rezo forcing bottom tower with Edict.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Almost drops down. And Tundra, they opt to just go elsewhere.
Yeah, they have no interest in defending this tower for now.
Yep, looking to probably finish up the next 2 items. Skeeter still not feeling too strong. He's going for the Maelstrom build. He's starting to feel perhaps that Naga Siren will be an issue.
All right. Okay, yeah, going full in on the dealing with the illusions. And understandably, indeed, with how much farm Crystallis has, continuing to hold on to that top spot in net worth.
Neck and neck game. Closest of the 3.
I mean, it really has. We're seeing sort of the trajectory of the series so far. Game 1, Tundra, a complete stomp. Game 2, Secret very much having much more life to them, but still not enough. Now in this Game 3, Secret in the best position they've been in today in terms of being able to take a game off Tundra and holding on to their chances here in the grand finals.
And in terms of scaling overall with their draft, right? They have the Marcy who's going to be able to scale really hard. Nishas have this fantastic game. Crystallis is at the top of the net worth, so... And scaling, they should be able to deal with this Medusa. As long as she doesn't get too big like a Rapier at some point. Eventually, you do feel Tundra's draft can start to fall behind versus what Secret does have this time. But that's been said a lot of times for Tundra. Tundra has done some miraculous stuff.
This is a team that can very much find a win in even the tougher situations later on. One of the reasons they've cruised to this grand final straight through the upper bracket. Tundra, they have so many strategies, so many solutions for every single possible position they can be held in.
Look at this flank. Shadow, they see the smoke.
Oh, Crystallis Gonna step up into this, post the illusion 9. He's gonna look to jump in the backline. The global silence out, but the rolling thunder's already there. Chrysalis trying to keep them safe here with the Song of the Siren. Nisha swinging over towards the backlines with the remnants. Chrysalis having to back away from 9 over the river. Resolution and Nisha.
They're on Chrysalis.
To the south, but Chrysalis, he needs help. It doesn't look like he's gonna get up. Maybe that disposes every time. It's not enough. Nisha, see if he can get any sort of a cleanup. Jumps over the remnants. He's trying to chase down Snaking, but Secret, they've already lost 2. They'll lose sides as well. Tundra, they'll take the fight around the mid, and they'll look for more. Over towards the chase onto Rezo. He's got the BKB, but Skitter's in with the Scotty slow. Rezo goes down as well. 4 dead on Secret.
And Nisha, he's still got remnants to play with. Should be all right. The Ruin. Will it catch him? The roar.
They got the roar.
Do they have enough?
And it's the Hawks crashing down onto him. It's a little bit more, but not enough. Nisha still able to get away. I mean, lucky enough for him, 33 hadn't quite picked up the Hex. Next time around, the Hex, it will be there. 33's got it done.
But they just, in this fight, they just get the perfect wrap run. They stick on Chris, and nobody helps. He gets a global to kind of cover him, but nobody else is able to actually get him into a better position.
I mean,
they full focus him.
It very much was a case of just biting off a bit more than they could chew. You see, sort of the plan here from Nisha, he wants to jump to the back lines, try and look for the easier kills, and then off to the side, sort of this heavy attempt from Secret to sort of commit in. And try and help out Reza, you know, get this kill on Saxa. All this sort of split focus means that Chrysalis, he's got no help at all.
No help whatsoever. If they do have enough damage, if they're able to stick on him like that, they will always have enough damage to deal with this Naga Siren. Tundra now 4K lead. Right after we're saying that perhaps they could have some struggle, they find a beautiful angle, and now you said the Hex is also finished up for 33, so for Nisha, he's actually got a much harder game in front of him.
He's got to be careful, and he's got a little bit of protection, of course, with the status resist. The guy stands, he's trying to get the Lincolns off next, but in the mid, they get the toss back into the arrow, into the Hex, they're locking down, Nisha's gone!
Oh boy.
They have the power to deal with him right now.
They're feeling themselves. Instant smoke, the roar's still available. They want more, 70 seconds. He just spent the gold.
I mean, you know, Secret, they definitely are going to be feeling it after the outcome of that last fight. They know that Tundra's got this lead against them. And there's got to be sort of that really concerning feeling just sort of deep in their gut. When you get behind Tundra, you struggle immensely to get a hold back at the game. It's something that teams throughout the entire TI have struggled to do. Trying to turn around against a lead at this point, against this squad. Only very few have even come close to being able to do so. Secret, they've got to do something miraculous to hold on to this game.
It's a huge death, too. Such a long time. The Ember Spirit off the map. You can see Secret's kind of stuck in their base. Chrysalis is really being pretty aggressive being down here. He can even get caught pretty easily if there's just like a Hawk scouting him. So he's really pushing the limit of his hero down here. And Roche, it's going to get scouted instantly. It's going to spawn, and they'll have a small window to actually go for it.
Don't know if Secret's going to want to do anything about this whilst they don't have Nisha.
It's going to die so fast as well.
It really will.
With 9, all that minus armor.
A Secret, no, out of all the heroes, Ember Spirit may be one of the ones that could have gone for some sort of aggressive dive in to try and look for a steal. The rest of the 4 of them, it's so hard to do. Of course, Outpost under Tundra's control, so no real easy way for Nisha to get over here in time. Roshan gets taken, Aegis into the hands of Skeeter, and Secret, they may have come too close to the pit already. They jump on the Puppy, they pop the on this. No, it was Rolling Thunder locking Puppy down across the stairs. Puppy falls, and Zayats, he's got to run. Uphill miss there, protecting from that first instance of the Skadi attack. But Zayats, he's still got no chance of running. He's able to close on Rezo, gets the toss back. Tundra. They take the Roche, they take the Aegis, they take 3 more kills from Secret.
It's the way that, I mean, they're fighting the Roche, right? They're killing it. They're like, oh, we got this. So they Moonlight Shadow, run out, and go for catch while they're doing the Roshan time. Tundra just on another level every single time. The way they take every single approach, every single fight.
Yeah, Secret starting to crumble a little bit once more. They've got to pull themselves together.
But how now? Skitter, he's the one full critical mass. The Mjolnir's done. He's got Shard.
I mean, at the least, the Chrysalis on the Naga Siren, he can continue to do this. Keep some of these lanes, split push out, cut the creep waves, limit the areas that Tundra's able to push in on, but already this top lane, it's hitting the tier 3s. Tundra, they're gonna look to try and push on a high ground here.
And the big issue really for Chrysalis is when is he gonna be able to feel strong enough to get into a fight himself and do what Nisha's doing? He's 1, 3, and 2 on this Naga.
He's trying to get the axe here to sort of have that extra setup, but
will it be enough? Is it gonna give him damage to actually walk into these fights? It doesn't feel like it. Tundra, they've covered all their bases.
And they're so strong now around this push. 3 minutes still on the Aegis. So much time to play with. Where they can look to take so much from Secret.
Axe, it's just dropping for free. Nobody wants to step up. They're scared of getting tossed. He's got the Axe.
Zaxa! He's in with the combo. They catch Science out to the side. The arrow connects as well. Swashbuckle won't quite clip him. Neither will the Axes, but 9 in with the Rolling Thunder. Finishes off Science. Over towards Chrysalis now. The global silence holding back Tundra's aggression for now.
They're not able to make anything of that global.
Secret, gotta keep that distance throughout the remainder of the Rolling Thunder from 9. 30 seconds without their Zayas Marcy.
Another toss.
Zaxa. Set up down to Chrysalis. They get the roll. The follow-up X as well. He's been locked down. They've got to get Chrysalis back to safety. He's walking back to the fountain. They'll be able to allow Chrysalis to reset, but the damage is done. The racks have been taken out. Rezo, he tries to come in, but he gets too close. Roars up. Rezo's out for 70. No buyback for the Leshrac.
They can't kill anybody during the global. They're just on full retreat. Secret starting to look impossible.
It just doesn't stop it from Tundra. Once they've got a hold on the game, it's just this immensely tight grip. You cannot stop them. 12k lead.
All it takes is one fight, really, from Tundra. We saw 28 minutes, right? Things were kind of even, and then kaboom. They find absolutely everything they needed. And now Secret, they're pretty trapped. They've got the Linkins now for Niche, but as we said, where's the damage going to be coming from? Everyone on Tundra's feeling a bit too tanky with all these new items coming out.
And just, you know, as always, you got to really point back to sort of how impressive it is for Tundra to do with this last big Medusa, something that no one else was doing, something that was, by the sounds of it from Al, he sort of picked on a bit of a whim. Skeeter, he got the new Crimson Witness for it. He wanted to play it. It's looking pretty darn fantastic. It's up there at the top.
And they see Nisha.
And they get that opening.
They got the chain stun.
The Global's going to be bought. Can he get him out in time? They can't. The lockdown's there.
He spent his gold on the Linkins.
Oh, he's out for 80, and Zayats also found Secret. They are crumbling, falling apart once again in this game 3. Tundra, they just know how to break you.
And they just know how to play with this vision, right? The Hawk, this time around, it always seems to be scouting.
Radiant's courier has been slaughtered. How low can you get?
I believe they also now, that was the gem that they just picked up, gave to Nisha, and he didn't last with it for very long. Now it's on the Beastmaster. A full refresher, also, this Beastmaster, 33, a menace this game, 12, 1, and 16.
My goodness. I mean, there's so much pressure on Chrysalis right now to just try and keep this game going. Resolution as well, they're doing everything in their power here to just cut these waves, push them back out. Good call there with the BKB TP out. If that BKB didn't come, Resolution was dead for sure. He gets himself back to base. Secret, they're trying the best to prolong the game, buy time for Nisha to get back in, and that will certainly be the case. He'll be back up in 30. Secret, at the least, despite this incredible lead that Tundra's starting to grow against them, they were able to hold them off, give themselves another chance. But each and every time, that chance becomes slimmer and slimmer.
I mean, the Rapier is queued up for Nisha. He's really starting to feel it. And I mean, Chrysalis, he's got the Bloodthorn queued up. Perhaps this could be some solution to be able to focus fire some targets. But
he's got Tundra, a lot of money towards it.
He does. Tundra just they're just playing so well off each other, protecting each other with Lotus Orbs, 4 stabs, etc. They have so many, 9 snaking both of those Lotus Orbs. So even if someone does get focus fired either from a net or from that Bloodthorn, they'll have ways to bail them out. As we've seen them do time and time again. And now their base, right? The base is just being shoved in constantly. Tundra always going to be able to shove those lanes in.
So much damage. Now with the Bloodthorn, the aggressive, you know, the offensive items, the defensive items, the Lotus ready to bail Skeeter out of any dangerous spots. They have everything to just sort of empower this Medusa, allow Skeeter to just enter the front of the fight. And it will be so tough for Secret to take Skeeter down at this stage.
And they're even starting to get, you know, these tier 4 neutral items, so Global starts to get addressed as well. All these dispels. Tundra continue to stay as a unit. Secret continue to be trapped.
Puppy. Just going to try and come out, maybe get a bit of vision, bit of information. And to take the outpost back, or at least tease with the idea.
They're risky.
Still under cover of the smoke.
Oh, do they see it? Someone pings.
I mean, they
want the bigger target.
They've got themselves on top of Nisha.
Uh-oh. Jumps left. They're pinging it.
I mean, his TP's on cooldown. That was put to a stop there by the jumper Saxon, so he has to make his way back to the base with a few remnants, but of course he's still got many to play with that Aghanim, so he'll be fine. Secret able to get everyone back to the base, but indeed Global's down. Be a bit of an opportunity for Tundra to once again try and take this game to the next step, look to push down for another set of barracks. We'll see how much they want to force it.
I think they're kind of on chill mode until Skeeter hits 25. If someone walks into them, they can look for the fight, but Skeeter, it unlocks a whole new potential of the hero when you hit 25 on this Dusa, especially versus this Naga.
I mean, it's true, and sort of the big thing that's standing out as well is just sort of the levels. You know, Tundra, they're able to get so much XP from the map with these kills. Skeeter just about to hit level 25.
Yep.
Meanwhile, for Crystal, of course, all of his farms pretty much done by the illusions, split pushing out the map, still stuck on level 19. Still a ways to go before he's really going to be feeling in a position to be able to stand his ground against the cause of Tundra in the team fight.
And a ways to go, really. Zayats, you know, he was getting close to BKB, what, 12 minutes ago or something? He still doesn't even have it done, so the scaling for them has completely stagnated. While for Tundra, it feels like all of them are scaling more and more with these small little items to protect each other.
Not really sort of any easy target that, even with the BKB on Zayats, that he can sort of just commit in on with the Unleash.
No.
They've got ways to kite him out. Zax has got the items, Blinks, Forces, Yules.
And multiple ways to get that dispel, as we see. Witchbane's done, or Witchbane's picked up from the Medusa, and they did, I believe, have the Stormcraft on the Tiny, so yeah, ways to just reset away constantly, which has been kind of the bread and butter for Tundra, resetting, retaking fights over and over again. And 25 now. Dusa, Skeeter, he's got the talent, so they're ready for their fights if anything comes to them. Playing it safe probably, though. Final game perhaps for them. Playing around this Roshan timer, it's soon to spawn.
That's it, exactly. They can taste that victory.
Yep.
They know how close they are to claiming that Aegis of Champions. Every single time we see Tundra take the safest route out. They do not let these leads slip away, and they're going to do everything to make sure that nothing changes from that in this all-important Game 3.
It's got to be frustrating for Secret at this point, knowing that they can't make any move outside, but at the same time also, if they give up the Roshan, they probably just know that there's no way for them to bring down this Medusa twice.
So the big item pickups that they are going to require is Chrysalis. And he's next time done. He's going to be opting for the Nullifier after Bloodthorn, so some further aggressive sort of setup that they can play with.
Hard for him still just committing into these fights at this point. Tundra just has so much to deal with him.
Coming out with a smoke. And he's trying to get in there with the jump on a 33. See if they can take down this beast, but we're getting the roll. They're in on top of the 33. They're getting the BKB off. They're down the side. They turn Skeeter. It's too much damage from the Medusa. Nisha jumps in. Will be able to finish on 33 in return. And we'll see the buyback coming straight away from Resolution 9. It's got him pretty deep here to try and chase down Puppy. Still with a bit of time there for the Rolling Thunder overlords. Resolution did buy back for this. He's able to sidestep the arrow in time. 9 out with the swashbuckle. Secret, they'll look to chase, but the Blink's there before the Slight Fist connects. He's out to safety 9. They want to get back in. Saxa in with the top star on the side. This is one to lock down Nisha. Nisha out for 100. As Tundra, they'll chase him down. Rezo gone without buyback. It's only Puppy and Chrysalis.
And the arrow.
The arrow's there. Tundra catch him out. They're ready to run down mid. There's a lack of buybacks on Secret.
Secret felt the need. They had to chase to try to get more of the Beastmasters dead, but they get hit.
There's no buyback. No buyback on Resolution. And Nisha, he's 200 gold short. It's Tundra.
They're going to try to get some wrap.
They're going to Tundra. Some sort of surprise, but it's 2 against 4. As this push is not stopping.
Tier 4's dropping.
They've got a fortification, but still such a long time without Resolution, without Nisha, a full minute.
And the creeps are coming in top. They can't even cut the waves.
It's the tier 4s. Tundra, they're pushing on. Secret, they've got to make their move now. It's going to be now or never. If they want to try and stop Tundra.
They got to just run in.
And they got to do something. The Ancient's exposed. Tundra, they're looking to end it. Science jumps in, but immediately to his death. Chrysalis has got the illusions out, but he's surrounded. Taken out. The Ancient is exposed. They're looking for the game. Tundra, they're on the Ancient. There'll be a buyback from Chrysalis, but surely there's nothing.
He's just getting control.
Nothing to be done here from Secret as Tundra. They're closing it up. The Ancient, it falls. It's on.
Oh my God.
Tundra have done it. The 3-0 clean sweep to